Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Clash Royale Crown Championship Global Series. My name is Final Craaap, and I am your host of the North American region. So if you missed out on last week and you haven't been keeping up, let me catch you up to speed. So this was a 5-phase tournament. Started about a month ago, actually. First phase, just over 27 million unique players playing in the 20-win challenge and app. Most of you probably did it. The idea was to get to 20 wins before you got 3 losses, and you were able to move on to phase number 2. Now, just over 8,000 players made it into phase number 2, and in each region, we separated them into their brackets, and we narrowed it down to just 16 players that moved on into phase number 3, Elimination Week. We took those players, we put them into groups, and we just cut that in half yet again. Only 8 players made it out of phase 3 into phase 4, and they joined our finalists from last season, Oxalate and C-McHugh, to get the top 10 here in phase 4, which is a double round robin, and they will play all the way through, get as many points as possible, and move on to phase 5, which is the live fall finals for North America. And they're playing for quite a lot of money. Part of the $1 million prize pool that was set aside for the competitive year of Clash Royale. $1 million, and we're going to get first place $15,000, second place $10,000, and even just making it to phase 4 alone, you win a staggering $3,500. So these players are going to make sure that they go home with a pretty penny, and they're going to, no matter what, at least go home with something that is worthwhile. But remember, this is the top 10 players, the top 10 players in North America. So if you missed out on last week, there were some really cool trends with a lot of the card usages, and we're trying to hone in on more stats this season. So if you take into account North America, Europe, and Latin America, there were a total of 121 games played in all the matches. Now if you look at the most popular card choices, in this order you have Miner, P.E.K.K.A, Mega Knight, and Balloon. Now obviously you're ignoring cycle cards and common spell cards because that would stagger all this, but those are going to be your favorite archetypes. But that doesn't take into account win rates. If you take into account win rates, then you're going to have Sparky at number 1, but to be fair, it was only in a single game, and it wasn't actually played on the deck, and it actually won. So if you really want the card that had a 100% win rate, that was Sparky. But right after that, you have Golem, and then Hog Rider and Goblin Barrel in that order of the decks that won the most. Now make sure you stay tuned, because BBXH is going to have a special guest here, and they're going to talk about what these trends mean and what they're doing to the CCGS, meta. So as far as leaderboard's concerned, last week, 13 matches were played and 13 points were divvied out. J-Montie with a staggering 3 wins and no losses. And he brought out a Cannon Cart Graveyard deck, which I'm a huge fan of, and he's after my heart right now. Wings coming in at 2-0. He had a couple of close matches. Right behind him, you see Craaap, Oxalate, and Colton all tied for 3rd. And they're actually all here in studio, and we're going to get to watch them play against each other. But surprisingly, down at the bottom, you have C-McHugh and Bernstein Cat. So C-McHugh, everyone expected to probably, be a really big factor this season, because last season he made it into the finals. Bernstein Cat, a new face. Will he be able to get his first win this week? So the matches today, we have 13, as I said. The first 5, Wings and Oxalate are going to kick off our day. Will Oxalate be able to try and put himself in the green of that leaderboard? We see Craaap facing Wings later, and we see Oxalate again against J-Montie. Will he be able to take down J-Montie in his undefeated streak? And in the latter half of the day, we're going to get to see C-McHugh. Now, we had a little bit of a struggle with C-McHugh last week. We thought he may have been DQ'd, but he wasn't, and he was able to earn his points. But he wasn't able to actually earn any points. He went 0-3. So will he be able to make sure he gets some points? He goes against B-Rad and Bernstein Cat as well. Bernstein Cat might be a win for him since he's struggling as well. And for the last 3 of the day, I know I'm probably the most excited for the Oxalate and Colton match, our final match of the day. But Wings and C-McHugh should be just as close. J-Montie and Colton. J-Montie right now at the top of the leaderboard. Will he stay there given all of this? So remember, last season, the rule set was pretty simple. It was just a blind deck choice. You would get your deck, you'd essentially move on into the match, and then you'd hopefully just beat your opponent with what they have. But we've changed things just a tiny bit this season, and I want BBXH to explain to you guys exactly what those rule sets are. So BBXH, take it away.
Thanks, Carpet. I'm excited to be back for week number 2 again. And like he said, let me fill you in just in case you missed our rules last week. We've got one new rule this time, double blind ban rule. What does that mean? When players go head to head, each player chooses 1 card to ban. The players won't know what the ban card is until just before they're about to build their decks. What happens if they ban the same card? That means that 1 card only is banned for that matchup. Last week, we saw 16 unique cards banned. Now, Miner was one of the most popular cards played, but only got banned 2 times. Maybe we'll see it banned more this time. We'll see. Make sure that you follow us on our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, all at Clash Royale. Let us know who you're rooting for this time, or share your embarrassing pictures of Sui Generis and Rumham. Speaking of those 2, let's get into the matches with those 2. Take it away, guys.
We are the most photogenic people in this entire show, BBXH. Welcome to the caster's booth, high above Royal Arena. I'm Rumham, joined by Sui Generis, and we are going to be casting the matches, walking you through the player thoughts, and giving you the insights that we can, well, the best insights that we can muster. What do you think is going to happen in this opening match?
Yeah, I think with the meta last week, right, we saw Golem have such a high win rate. So I think Golem cycle we're going to see show up more often. Miner was super popular. Played 15 times.
Unbelievably popular.
53% win rate. Didn't have the highest win rate, but it was a very popular deck because players are really comfortable with those control type of decks. So we might see Miner continue to be popular. And then Logbait actually had a 55% win rate. So that was a very popular deck type as well. However, it didn't have as high win rate, like I said, as Giant Beatdown or Golem Beatdown. So expect to see the meta slightly shift for this week.
I'd like to see more Miner bans. We actually had some great matches last week where Miner and Goblin Barrel would be banned. And when that happened, the 2 most popular control decks, Miner Poison and Spellbait, were both unavailable. And we saw a ton of just heavy sellout beatdown, and that was a lot of fun. Our first match is actually going to be what was our second match on Carpet's leaderboard, but we're going to sit here and get to this one first. Music Master against B-Rad. Last week, Music Master really impressed me with that P.E.K.K.A. Expo deck, and B-Rad, he showed a little bit of deck diversity and innovation. Who do you think's going to win this match?
Yeah, well, it depends on what Music Master's going to ban. He banned Sparky twice, or almost every time last week. So if he bans maybe potentially away a specific card that B-Rad plays really well, it might work in his favor. But Music Master loves siege decks. He loves these Golem, high elixir decks. Plays it really well. Just pushes his win condition and just beats down his opponent's tower. And then B-Rad actually has been playing since his Miner has been banned, right?
Yeah.
Lava Hound decks. He's done Hog Lightning decks. So he's actually been a little versatile. So I'm excited to see what B-Rad's going to pull out against Music Magic, because Siege was countered by when Wings played Music Magic. He played Giant, beat down twice, and won against Music Magic 2-0. So are these players going to switch up their decks, or are they going to stay the same from week 1?
It'll all depend on the bans. Now, B-Rad is considered the best Minor Poison player on Earth, but if you actually go back and look, he hasn't played Minor Poison that often, partially because of bans against his favorite deck.
Yeah.
He's been playing Hog Lightning this season more than any other deck. He tells me he's a new man. People see him as a one-deck pony, but that's not the case. He's got a lot more diversity than people give him credit for. And in this match, we are going to have to see that diversity, because Music Master is banning the Minor, and B-Rad is going to counter with the P.E.K.K.A.
Yeah, I love Music Master's ban here. He's not banning Sparky. He has adapted, and the prediction has come true, guys. The weather forecast has been forecasted. So, Balloon has not been banned. The Balloon was the most popular card banned last week. And I like the P.E.K.K.A. and Minor bans, because these two cards were extremely popular played last week when they were not banned. So we could see potentially Golem, Giant Beatdown come out because the P.E.K.K.A.'s gone. Yeah,
that ban of P.E.K.K.A. actually might benefit Music Master a little more than you'd think, because Music Master likes Golem so much that now he can play Golem and not have to worry about P.E.K.K.A. ruining all the fun.
Yeah, so if a Golem deck's going to come out, we may see maybe double Golem. We actually saw that last week as well. So if Golem comes out and there's no P.E.K.K.A. and someone plays like Logbait, then we definitely will see Inferno Tower come out to counter it.
Yeah, I mean, Inferno Tower is not banned. Actually, I don't think Inferno Tower has been banned once.
Yeah.
So that's kept that defense very open, right? Like, there's Inferno Dragon, there's Inferno Tower. You can play one or both in your deck and make it really hard for tank decks to push through. I actually kind of prefer P.E.K.K.A. as a defender there, and I think that's why it's a more popular ban, because P.E.K.K.A. can't be reset with a zap in the same way.
Yeah.
It's not like if you zap a P.E.K.K.A., her damage goes down to 50% for a while or anything like that.
Yeah, in this matchup, though, what I want to see Music Master do, because last week he had P.E.K.K.A. against a Giant Beatdown, and he always dropped the P.E.K.K.A. in the back and didn't say, you should never play P.E.K.K.A. until the Giant's dropped, right? So I'd love to see Music Master makes up some better decisions, because I thought he had great deck matchups, but just didn't play the cards the right way.
Yeah, I don't know if that was tilt or if that was just, you know, the nerves of playing in your first CCS match, but you're right. There was some... I never really criticized the players because I know they know more than me, but boy, I was really confused by some of Music Master's play last time, so I'd like to see an improvement this time. It'll be important, though, because B-Rad also winless, has yet to win a match, so it's going to be a lot of pressure on him if he can't close it out. Oh,
Bandit is actually one of the most popular cards played last week. It was in almost everyone's deck because it's so good with Minor, it's so good with so many different type of archetype. So let's see how... Oh, then the Bandit comes down and the Knight's going to take that away.
All right, Knight defending on Music Master's side. Okay, the Electro Wizards are going to come down. This is another really popular ban. Actually, a ban that became very popular in Latin America was to get rid of the Electro Wizard, because so many different decks use it as the centerpiece of their defensive strategy that when you take it out, it's much, much harder to mount a serious defense.
Yeah, and it's so good on defense. I mean, for 4 Elixir, it provides so much defense against tanks, against so many type of units. The Zap, you know, stops the Bandit's charge if it's zapped before she builds up the charge, etc. So that's why I think Electro Wizard has been so popular.
Right. So the Log's going to knock it back. The problem is the Log only buys a little bit of time there.
Oh, look at Music Master. He leans back there.
I think that his Bandit got caught by an Ice Spirit, and he kind of was a little exasperated, like, oh, good one, got me. He wanted it to hit the Ice Wizard and then immediately charge again onto the tower. The jumping into the Ice Spirit slowed that all down.
Oh no!
Minor.
What's going on?
Music Master did
that's
it.
Why.
He played Minor. I think as soon as he realized the Minor came out, he did an oops and ope, and that's what the exasperation was.
Yeah, the Minor came out, and now B-Rad is kind of smiled and smirked a little bit, and he's like, I'm gonna go ahead and take this game away because of that ban.
Gotta respect the bans.
Look at his facial reaction. He's like, oh well.
And he's like, I'll take it. Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't like that win though. I mean, as a pro player, you always don't want to take a win like that. Unfortunately, it is going to be a win for B-Rad because he played a ban card.
Yeah, that's always the challenge of the bans. I mean, you have to, you only have so few seconds to pick your deck, right? You hear the bans, you go, all right, that's what's banned, I got to go in there. It's funny because Music Master is the one who banned Minor. You know what I mean? It's not like B-Rad banned and he forgot this opponent.
Yeah.
He banned Minor for the match.
Exactly.
And it came back to bite him there by immediately playing the Minor deck. It's not a one-way ban, but that's okay. So B-Rad's going to go up by 1 game, and it is best of 3 series, so he's not totally out of it yet. but of course, that's a very demoralizing first game to have happen to you.
Yeah, for sure. And I was so excited for that match too because the Music Master didn't play like a siege type deck or like a heavy beatdown deck. He was playing quick elixir, cycle, miner deck. So that's something I've never seen him play that style of deck before. So it'll be interesting to see if he's gonna maybe change his deck up for the second game, right, and maybe go back to what he was known for, or play these quick cycle decks.
Yeah, I feel like he could have taken the Golem deck, and that would have been like a fine strategy, especially if you think there's not going to be some real like high impact miner deck coming at you. Let's take a look at the replay and see how this this crucial moment came about. So during this replay, here we go. This is just sort of the moment he realized it. He throws the poison, the miner poison on the tower because he realizes that he'd already played the miner. And the thing is, it's not even like you can get around not playing it in your deck. The rules of the CCGS or the Crown Championship Global Series clearly state that if it is in your deck, that's a forfeit loss. So even if he saw it in his hand, he didn't have the option of not playing it. He was just done at that point.
Yeah, this would have been a more skill matchup too if they were to play that. Oh, whoops, we're this way. If we were to play that game out, Hog Miner is more of a skill matchup. So it'd be interesting to see how they battle it out. But we unfortunately weren't able to see that.
Well, we are going to see Game 2 here shortly. Music Master obviously has to pick a different deck. Can't use that one. But I think from his standpoint, he could just comfortably play Golem 2 games in a row, and it's fine. I guess you could also play Expo because you don't have to worry about P.E.K.K.A. But what I like is that if your opponent plays Giant Beatdown because they're worried about you playing Expo, if you play Golem, Golem has a great matchup against Giant Beatdown because you're just the bigger,
bigger
fatter deck, right? Yeah, like they put a Giant behind their King Tower, you're like, sweet, Golem behind my King Tower, I'll match you, and then you just win the head-to-head push. So I feel like Golem is a good matchup if they play Giant. If you play something like Spellbait or any sort of Inferno Tower-based deck, you've got, Zaps, Lightnings, you have tools to get around Inferno-based defenses. So when I saw that P.E.K.K.A. ban and the Miner ban, I was like, oh man, definitely play Golem. But
yeah, also Balloon is good too into Siege.
That's a good point.
A Balloon putting right on the Expo or against a Mortar, it'll take it out in a few shots, and then you can then push with it. So Balloon actually could come out maybe in this next game.
Yeah, we could see Lava Loon maybe. All right, we're in game here. And Music Master in red along the top, B-Rad blue along the bottom. Music Master looking a little disappointed already.
Oh, he drops the 3 Musketeers early, just revealing his card right away. And then the Lightning comes out. So much value there on that top right tower there.
Definitely get the damage through. It's equal elixir trade, right? 6 for the Lightning, and that was 6 for 2 of those Musketeers. But you're right, the 340 some odd damage dealt to the tower. Executioner's going to sit there and hold off the Barbarian and Musketeer.
Yeah, and very well played there. And it has a Tombstone against a Battle Ram. That's such a good card to counter the Battle Ram, since it's 3 elixirs, cheap, absorb the damage, and then it basically allows the Barbarians to get distracted by all the skins. And wow, he drops the Golem, and he doesn't have an elixir, a huge elixir advantage with the Golem being dropped there.
Yeah, it's a good point. So the Hog Rider is going to come in and punish, and I think this is a Hog Lightning deck because you've already seen the Lightning, you've seen the Executioner. It just, it seems like it's a Hog Lightning deck. So he expected that Hog Rider to come in, so maybe he was just willing to take it, just take the damage, and use that to get down his Golem.
Similar, I knew this would come out. He actually played this deck last week.
Yes,
he had double minions, and it was such an expensive deck because of the Battle Ram, because of the 3 Musketeers, and he needs to basically convert a Golden push into a successful tower being taken. So this is going to be really tough for Music Master because he doesn't have a pump, and he's against a quick Hog Cycle deck.
Yeah, B-Rad gave a little fist pump there. He was clearly happy with how that played out when the Golem exploded before being there. He keeps looking around, though, and I can't tell if B-Rad's just sort of nervous or if he's, I can't believe that thing went that way. Remember last week when we saw B-Rad actually lose a match, he actually covered his face. He turned around away from the camera. So.
Yeah, and this is a Battle Ram's being dropped there, and the Hog takes that tower, and then Music Master needs to basically build up elixir at this point because he's actually behind slightly, and so the pump gives him the extra elixir, and he needs to successfully get a solid push here on the left lane.
Now that we're in double elixir time, the Golem is much easier to place. Normally when you play a Golem, you go down to 2 elixir, you're really vulnerable. This time he can play a Golem and immediately pump back up to, a healthy amount to defend with. So that Golem's going to come through across the river, and it looks like it hasn't been punished at all.
Oh, the 3 Musketeers get dropped right there, and then the Golem's going to take 1 lightning hit. Oh, wow, he drops the Battle Ram just in time. So he has 2 Musketeers pushing with a pretty healthy Golem down the left lane.
And he's actually almost back up at 10 elixir again, so there's going to be even more support for this. We might see another Golem at the river. No, the Minion Horde's going to come through, but those double Executioners are going to do work.
And that Tornado just does wonders there, just capturing all the Minions and the Musketeer, taking them out, and then boom, just like that, B-Rad has such a good defense.
I think B-Rad's going to sweep this match just here because he already had the Executioner. He played the Golem at the river, but when you have another Tornado, another Executioner queued up like that, with 7 seconds left, you can just Tornado, and that time that buys is all you need. And there you go.
And there you go. B-Rad,
Sweet.
his first win.
That's true. B-Rad's first match win. He started off 0-2 in week 1. I think it's a very disappointing performance for somebody who came in with a lot of hype, a lot of expectations. People considered him one of the best minor players in the world. Expected a great performance out of him week 1. 0-2 is kind of, wah, wah. Well, that's unfortunate, right? But he secures a match win here against Music Master, who already did have a match win over Craaap.
Yeah, Craaap of all people. Craaap was looking so strong last week, too.
Yeah. Craap's only loss was to Music Master last week.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah, so it's great to see B-Rad. And that Tornado Executioner was not played as often last week. No. And he played it really well on defense in this matchup against Music Master.
Let's take a look at the Three Musketeers replay because obviously that was Music Master. It's one of his favorite decks. He was trying to rely on this right early in the game. He goes for an early split and eats a Lightning on the 2 Musketeers and the Tower. While that's not a huge and splashy play, that's the sort of value that you grind out on that Tower cycle after cycle. Every time both of you are going through your decks, he was trying to put a Lightning on the Tower, picking up some Musketeers along the way, and that's what dropped the Tower low enough for those Hog Rider pushes to be very effective.
Yeah, he also did a good job when Music Master dropped the Golem. He dropped the Hog immediately because once you drop Golem, that's 80 Elixir committed to the arena, and then you have 2 Elixir to counter a 4 Elixir Hog.
Let's take a look at the Tower going down because the Lightning would soften it up a little bit, but here you have a 1300 health Tower. The Knight is absorbing the Tower shots. The Ice Spirit's going to freeze it. It only took a few Hog shots to get in there. Music Master knew that he was just done and overwhelmed didn't hardly defend it at all.
Yeah,
just sort of let that
he
happen.
had double minions. He couldn't really drop minions because the Ice Spirit would hit them, and then the Executioner just take them out. Yep. So that's why he dropped the Battering Ram there, because he didn't have any other cards to really cycle to play some defense against that Tower.
That's what beatdown decks are trying to do, right? Like, you're trying to create an offensive combination of cards that preemptively defend against anything your opponent might play. You've got the Knight up front, so if they play like a mini P.E.K.K.A., the Knight absorbs the mini P.E.K.K.A. shots. You've got the Executioner playing Caboose, so if Skeleton Army or Minion Horde comes out, just boom, immediately cleared up. And it puts your opponent into a situation where they only have 4 cards in their hand, and they can't play like 3 of them because they would just automatically get killed. And that's the sort of tension that you're trying to build as a beatdown deck. That was a perfect push right there. Took the Tower, delivered B-Rad the Tower, and the 2-0 victory.
Yeah, and I like how B-Rad changes decks up. He played Lava Loon last time, right? Hog Lightning. He had Hog Lightning here, but with Executioner and Tornado. Yeah. But Music Master didn't really change it. That's the same deck he played last week. So B-Rad actually picked a pretty good deck matchup into that Golem deck that Music Master played. So he did some of his homework, and it paid out.
Yeah, B-Rad may have done his scouting and just sort of expected his opponent to play something like that. And yeah, you're right, it paid off for him. And that's I think that's the sort of nuance or preparation that's going to be very highly rewarded in CCGS. It's in the earlier stages, especially like the 20-win Grand Challenge, you just pick your deck, you show up and jam games. And if you win, you win. There's not a lot of preparation or scouting. You just have to be really good in the game. But the Crown Championship is going to reward researching your opponent, making competitive bans, making the sort of strategic decisions that can give you that slight edge over somebody else who's also in the 1% of Clash Royale players.
Yeah.
Our next matchup, though, is starting very shortly. We are going to have Oxalate against Wings. Now, these 2 players combined for a 4-1 match record in Week 1. Wings 2-0, Oxalate 2-1. So both of them are competing for spots near the top of the leaderboard. They want that favorable seeding going into fall finals. Who do you think is going to win this match?
I'm super excited for Wings because he was, claimed as top 5 global players in the world. He finally made it through this season, and he really showed up. He played Logbait, he played Giant Beatdown. He actually countered his opponent's deck for the most part. He would build his decks knowing his opponents would like a certain type, like playing Giant. And there's Oxalate there in the studio getting ready for his match against Wings.
Yeah, they're building their decks right now. They're trying to decide what to ban against each other. This is going to be, I think, a little tough for Oxalate because, of course, you're in the studio, you got the cameras on you, the lights in your face, but he's been here so many times, both from spring season and then he was already here week 1 for fall season, that I think it's good to come to the studio every week because you get used to it. Eventually it doesn't phase you, and not only does that help in the fall finals, which is a everybody here live event, but also it's going to pay off in any other big tournament you play in. You want to go play in some of these big tournaments in Europe, some of these big live events, you want to go to the King's Cup or something like that, you're going to be on stage, millions of people watching you, and you can't let that phase you. So I like that he's in studio and
Yeah, and I think he performs better on stage, honestly. I think he doesn't really have anxiety or stress, and I think he's so confident that he will perform very well against Wings Air. And Balloon is banned, and then Three Musketeers is banned against Wings Air. What do you think?
Balloon was the most common ban in week 1, and when I asked the players who were in studio, I said, why was Balloon banned so much? The answer they gave was pretty straightforward. Pros don't like playing against Balloon. They just don't like the card. It's frustrating. It's hard to defend. Sometimes you're caught without your air units, and it just wipes out the whole game. I think they find it really frustrating that sometimes if it gets close, it does about a fireball's worth of damage just from the Death Bomb. Meanwhile, Oxalate takes out Three Musketeers, one of Wings' definitely favorite and preferred deck. So I think that Oxalate, even though he plays a little bit of Three Musketeers, Wings plays a lot of bit of Three Musketeers, and it's just easier to wipe it out for both players.
And it was a pretty popular deck archetype too last week as well. Three Muskies actually played pretty often, and it's just like a lot of players actually interviewed with us, and they said that they like Three Muskies because it's so versatile.
Yeah, going back to even to spring season, it was a top 3 deck archetype. Even back then, I mean, it didn't get as much hype in the spring season because everyone was about the bridge spam decks, but Three Musketeers was easily the second most played archetype of the spring season.
And their Wings is, along with Oxalate, look at that demeanor. I mean, they both look pretty confident. Oxalate looks really serious. He's out to win.
I think Wings is in it to win it because he's got that cat poster behind him, Paw Wars. Get it? Nah, man, I'm in. I like puns.
And there's a double bandit being dropped here.
They're going to charge right into each other.
Oh, it looks like they have maybe a similar deck almost.
It's hard to say because so many different archetypes are running bandit, and then goblin and bats are always seen together often as well. But you're right, no win condition cards have been revealed yet. This could go either way. I'm expecting maybe a Mega Knight.
Oh, a pump comes off from the side of Oxalate. You know what?
Giant
I think, yeah, Golem or Giant Beatdown, I think.
It's Giant Beatdown. Oh, Nightwitch gives it away.
Comes out.
Nightwitch gives it away because you see so many times that the opponent wants to do something along the lines of like Giant Nightwitch at the river in response to something like an Elixir Collector.
Yeah, nice tower damage, the poison and miner getting there uncontested, taking down that tower down to 1747.
Now Wings has the miner not banned in this match.
Ooh,
it was
and
Golem.
It's Golem.
All right. Oxalate cooler dude than I gave him credit for.
Oh, he's
I like
dabbing.
Golem decks.
Oh, and his P.E.K.K.A. comes out.
Wow, yes, right. P.E.K.K.A. not banned this matchup. So that's going to be very tough for Oxalate because, I mean, obviously, how do you get rid of a P.E.K.K.A. on when you're on offense and they play a defensive P.E.K.K.A.? What can you even do, right? You can't rocket it. You can't lightning it. One of the most effective things I've seen is things like Minion Horde or Minions just to burn it down, or things like Tornado just to pull it away from your tank.
Yeah, for sure. And look at that P.E.K.K.A. just doing such quick work. But the Golem is going to get that death damage on the tower, so that was somewhat of a good push for Oxalate, taking that tower actually down to 1,700 health here.
Yeah,
below.
the Golem can make it to the tower, and just from the explosions and the few random shots alone, he's already taken the damage lead, but Miner coming in to tie it back up for Wings.
Yeah, and Oxalate needs to answer against his miner. He cannot let a miner just attack the tower like that, uncontested. And look at how much health this is taking from down. Taking down is 1235.
The good news for Oxalate is that Miner is out of cycle, so he can put down that Elixir Collector, and it forces his opponent to just have a poison for it. Now, poison's actually going to be, I mean, it's good against pumps, but I think the goal here is that he can now put a Night Witch and an Electro Wizard behind his Golem, and he's not going to have a poison to deal with.
Yeah, those goblins got a few stab on that tower, and it takes it down to 1023 here. Ooh. And then the P.E.K.K.A. gets dropped, taking out the Electro Wizard and the Night Witch, but the Golem is going to hit that tower for one shot, 2 shots. He's going to get another hit.
P.E.K.K.A. forgot there was a Golem to fight. Yeah. The explosion of the Golem wipes out the goblins and deals more damage. That tower is now down to, well, I'd say fireball range, but there's no fireball in Oxalate's deck, so he's got to get that thing down to zap range. It's just a little out of zap range.
Yeah, very close to zap range. Do you think he's going to cycle to zap? Yeah, he's going to try to cycle to zap.
So let's count the cards. He needs 4 cards. I don't think there's anything Wings can do. I don't think he can do 1,000 damage in the next 5 seconds, but I could be wrong here. There's 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards, 4 cards,
and he cycles back to the zap, and GG. Wow, well played by Oxalate. I mean, such a good job there, connecting the Golem to tower. And you think that if you have a P.E.K.K.A., that the Golem shouldn't be able to connect to tower, because the P.E.K.K.A. should make short work of that Golem.
And you'd think that, but Golem literally has so many hit points, so much health, that even with P.E.K.K.A. chopping it by a significant percentage every swing, the Golem just makes it. It just lumberjacks. It takes 5 P.E.K.K.A. swings to kill me, but luckily that's enough time for me to get to the tower. So it usually still blows up there unless there's some other support or a tornado or something to buy more time. I thought that was played really well by Oxalate. You know, when you are the champion, everyone's coming for you. And actually, in some ways, people forget about you. It sounds silly to say, but it's like, the Oxalate hasn't been playing the last month. Everyone else has been. You've been playing the qualifier week, the elimination week. We've been watching Wings. We've been watching B-Rad day after day. That it's easy to sort of forget that Oxalate is a monster, and he's not going to be a pushover against anyone.
Yeah, he plays so well when Oxalate doesn't make mistakes. He just executes and he's able to get tower damage, and he does it really, really well.
Let's take a look at one of those ways he dealt tower damage by getting the Golem all the way up to the tower. So here we have the P.E.K.K.A. This is the P.E.K.K.A. that lost its way. The P.E.K.K.A. got a little too far away from the Golem. As you love to say, she's got a short sight range, only 5.5 tiles.
Yeah.
The Golem was about 6 away, so it got too far away, and this Golem was able just to wear it down low enough. You'll see the first zap come in from Oxalate here on the Miner and the tower very shortly.
Yeah, what makes Golem so good is that death damage does so much damage, and then the Golemites come on. They do actually pretty good chip damage on a tower too, so you have to take care of the Golemites and not basically let them go unanswered. So
do about 100 damage each, and there's 2 of them, so if you just, they seem like they don't do anything, but if you ignore them, it's like, fireball, fireball, fireball. And at some point, you're like, I probably should not let my tower get fireballed by rock people. But, tough life. So we're going in to game 2 shortly. Now, of course, Oxalate would love to sweep Wings, but I don't think Wings is going to go down like that. So what does Wings? Does he continue to play the same deck, or does he switch
I think
it
he's
up?
going to switch it up. He's played Beatdown because he actually played Beatdown really well against Music Master last week. And I think he wants to do maybe a Beatdown versus Beatdown matchup and then see who's going to be able to play and cycle better.
He could play Spellbait against Golem because Spellbait A, has an Inferno Tower, and B, plays a high-tempo enough game style that it takes a long time for Oxalate to get his Elixir Collector out. You can't really play an Elixir Collector if it's constantly getting rocketed and if it's giving opportunities for Goblin Barrel and stuff on your tower.
Yeah, I'm just kind of happy that Golem won because it had a 75% win rate last week. Played 4 times and won 3 times in NA.
Wow.
So right now it's 1-1.
It's one of my favorite decks.
50% win rate.
It's so fun to play on the ladder. I love seeing the innovation that people come up with for it in tournaments because you have the wide range of legendaries that are easy to play with it in challenges.
It looks like Oxalate is following the trend. He may be playing a very similar deck because he won with it.
Yes.
And he may be playing Golem again. And this has happened last week. As soon as the player wins game 1, they will play normally the same archetype, switch up a few cards, and then play it in game 2.
Oxalate, great job there. Used his defensive bandit to catch the Miner, so even though the poison did work down the Elixir Collector, he still does have a few pumps left in it, so he's going to get a little bit of an Elixir advantage.
Yeah, and he has a Ice Spirit and a Bandit to counter the Miner really hard. And there's a Golem coming out again. And does Wings have the P.E.K.K.A.? Yes, he does.
So they both stuck on the same deck. Oxalate gave a little exhale and an eye
this time
wiggle.
Wings didn't dab. He didn't dab this time. He like shook his head and smirked. He's like, I got to play this properly to make sure that Golem does not get to the tower here.
Yeah, I think he knows that it took him outplaying a not great matchup in the last one, and he's going to have to do it again. It is not easy to beat some of these players once, and definitely twice in a row is not going to be a cakewalk.
What a beautiful Ice Spirit by Oxalate there. He puts it right in front of the Bandit so it doesn't get a charge up, and the Bandit only gets a few shot in tower, and then he's able to focus and put more Elixir on the left tower, and he's going to get this tower with that play here. Beautiful play by Oxalate here.
Yeah, the log came down for Wings. I think one thing that we've seen in both of these matchups is that if Wings uses his poison on an Elixir Collector, that opens him up. It's a vulnerability against the Golem deck. When the Golem deck has Golem, Electro Wizard, Night Witch, you really need the poison on the bridge to keep that push from getting too
Yeah, and I
big.
think Oxalate just built his deck so well. Think about Bandit, Ice Spirit, counters the Miner really well. And if you use poison on the Elixir Collector, you don't have poison for the Night Witch Golem push.
Right, and that's exactly what's happened twice now, 2 games in a row. You're seeing the poison being used to keep the Elixir Collectors from getting out of control, and then, you're going to see a Golem here in the middle, and maybe like a Night Witch behind it. He's just not going to have the tools to stop it. A log isn't good enough because all those bats that are coming out or the minions in the sky aren't hit by log. And if you log the Night Witch, he just makes more bats.
Yeah, and Oxalate is just going to play defense here. I don't think he's going to drop a Golem.
No,
he's going to play really, he doesn't have to play defense. Just let the timer go down, and he's going to win this game. And he knows it right there.
Yeah, it's a little fist pump for Oxalate as he sweeps Wings, giving Wings his first match loss of the Crown Championship fall season. We got 15 seconds to go, but I think they're both, the exhale has occurred for both players already.
Yeah, and that just shows you, like, Oxalate came in this matchup prepared. I guess he must have figured out the deck. Wings played the same deck from game 1, thinking that maybe Oxalate will switch to something different. And he dabs
the dab back.
Then the dab comes
The
out.
reverse dab sweep. Yeah. that's maybe that's one of the things that they do when they scout each other, right? Is that it's not just so much about what decks do they play, but what are their tendencies as players. If I watch and I go, this player doesn't throw poison on the Elixir Collector every time, but Wings does, I can take advantage of that tendency in his play. It's
and a few things I saw happen, right? When a Miner was dropped, Oxalate had a Bandit and an Ice Spirit, and then he would poison the Elixir Collector. Then he would drop the Golem. He didn't have the poison in cycle because Night Witch with Golem in front of her, that's a pretty strong combo that we've known before, right?
And
So-
Poison was the antidote in spring season, but it didn't quite work. So let's take a look at a replay here. Let's look at the first tower going down, and I think we can see what we're talking about here. So Poison is just not in Wings' hand because he had just used it. It's a little too late now, so he has to rely on P.E.K.K.A., which is a slow attacker, and the Electro Wizard, which gets overwhelmed. You see the log come through as sort of a desperation, but the bats are still attacking. Some of those minions are still around.
Yeah, and that bandit just survives. I mean, the right play was beautiful, though. He dropped the Ice Spirit right at the bridge. The bandit hit the Ice Spirit once. Ice Spirit froze the bandit. Tower took a few shots, and bandit only got, I think, a charge attack and like 2 hits on that tower.
Yeah.
And Oxalate spent 1 elixir, then was able to invest all the other elixir with the golden push that he had in that left lane. So that was a very smart play by Oxalate.
It's a positive elixir trade of 2, right? So you spend 1 elixir instead of 3. Sure, you take some damage, but if he felt like that was not the tower that was going to matter, right? Like it's clearly all happening on the left side of the screen. Whether my right side tower has 2,500 health or 1,500 health, is who cares, right? So it's much easier to save that 2 elixir and push it towards the contributing game-winning push than to be like, oh, I really got to stop this bandit no matter what. That's definitely something I see new and inexperienced players do a lot, is they feel like they don't want to take any damage on their tower, but knowing...
Yeah, and it's okay.
Yeah, when to treat your towers like an ATM and take damage to withdraw elixir
Towers are ATMs.
is worthwhile. Well, that's going to do it for our first 2 matches from the casting booth. We will be back in not too long, but until then, let's go to Findable Carpet in the locker room.
Oxalate with the counter dab. Apparently that's just too strong for his opponent. But now we see him trying to gun for that top spot again, trying to prove himself on the leaderboard. So 2 more points have been divvied out so far today. And as remembered, last week 13 points got pushed out onto the leaderboard. Now Oxalate trying to find that #1 spot yet again. We see J-Montie still at the top, 3-0. Oxalate now 3-1, putting himself in a 2nd place. Can he keep that up so far? And remember, later in the day, we get to see will C-McHugh and Bernstein Cat get their first wins of the CCGS this time. So I talked about it a little bit earlier. We like to delve into stats. And I've got BBXH on standby with a special guest to talk a little bit more about what's been going on in the CCGS. BBXH, introduce us.
Welcome once again to By the Numbers, where we use pure mathematics to break down CCGS trends. We're going to look a little bit at last week, but of course, I don't want to do this by myself, so I got a special guest with me today. Come on out, Grey Tort. He's kind of a jack of all trades. He has done competitive gaming, producing, analytics, and as well as commentating. What's up, Grey
Hello,
Tort?
BBXH. Great
You've done
to meet you on set. It's so nice to be here.
You've done so much stuff. I'm like listing everything like blah,
I
blah,
dabble,
blah.
but the true thing is I like to look into my passions, and Clash Royale happens to be one of those. And I've actually had a really good experience talking with the guys at Stats Royale and been able to just mine into the data and really look into, CCGS and the pro players and what they're doing.
For sure. And I mean, you and I had a chance to kind of chat a little before, and I mean, you really know your stuff about these stats. So I want to ask you a few questions about them.
Sure.
The first one being, which Carpet brought up earlier, the fact that the Golem had such a high win rate last week, a 77% win rate. So can you explain why was that over the other decks?
That's really interesting. And you would think with a meta that's so P.E.K.K.A. based, that Golem wouldn't be doing too well. And even we saw last game, there was a P.E.K.K.A. on the field, but somehow the Golem was still able to do damage. I think what that comes down to is timing, number 1, making sure you're pushing before that double elixir time. And additionally, when you do ban it, a lot of these players are relying on that Mega Knight. And only rely on that Mega Knight, it's just not enough DPS to go ahead and remove that Golem. There's a lot of different tricky plays that they can do based on that. 7 elixir is a ton to actually commit to a Golem.
Very true. And you mentioned bans a little bit, and we've already seen 1 Balloon ban today, but Balloon happened to be our #1 ban card last week. Why are players choosing to ban the Loon?
Okay, so this is from a little bit of my experience, a little bit of what I've seen. I think there's not a lot of anti-air and fast anti-air. Now, if we think in Season 1, we saw things like Tornado, Executioner. You don't want to mess with that.
No.
You don't want to throw out a balloon and expect it to do damage. But now we see a very minion-heavy board. It's minion hordes, it's just standard minions. And then outside of that, maybe it's Electro Wizard, we have lightning, we have arrows. There's a lot of ways to directly deal with that. Take the 3 Musketeers deck, it's really 3 Musketeers and minion horde. That's really their man anti-air right now. You can really play that pretty well. So get rid of balloon, you're able to play your 3 Musketeers a little bit better.
Very true, very true. Last topic I want to talk about is the Miner. I mean, the Miner was statistically the #1 played win condition, but looking at your stats, it had less than a 50% win rate. So where does that discrepancy come from? How can you explain that?
This is hard. I think the Miner has one of the hardest play styles overall in Clash Royale. I think in the best hands, it has the best capabilities to win the games consistently. But that's the thing. There's a lot of things that these pro players are just throwing out there. We have very creative players, and you can definitely tell the top of the top from kind of the medium tier elite players. But you're seeing creative plays. Miner can get really hard to predict and really hard to actually execute. And if you fail once and a P.E.K.K.A swings at your tower, that's like 3 iterations of the Miner. That's really tough to catch up.
Very true. Well, thank you so much for filling us in. I mean, you're the one that breaks this down for us week after week. So to really get inside your thought process, and because you're the one analyzing it, is a true help to us. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Happy to be here.
All right, guys, let's get into match number 3. I know Sui Generis and Rumhammer standing by. Guys, fill us in. Get us ready.
That's right, BB. We got a 3rd match coming for you. And this one is Wings, who's back, against Craaap, who's also back, but this is his first match today.
Yes, it is.
He'll be in studio for the first time, so I know Craaap has a lot of fans out there. He's definitely been someone who's in the tournament community for a while, very active on Twitter, so if you looking for some entertainment, you can go check him out there. But also, I think it'll be fun to see him on stage. People act very differently once, the lights are on you and every reaction you make is there. I think that having the cameras has been a great development for the fall season.
Yeah, when he was at home playing via Skype, he was doing a lot of emotes, a lot of facial expressions, and he played so well too. I mean, when he lost 1 series, and is one of the top players, I think, in this CCGS for this season.
Yeah, I think if you were betting on who would make the fall finals, both of these players are very safe bets. The top 6 players obviously all make fall finals, but only the top 2 get that preferential seeding. When you're talking about 2 players who you can reasonably expect to see in the fall finals, that means any match between them has serious playoff implications, right? Like, these could be the 2nd and 3rd seeded players, and you go, if that one match had gone the other way, the other player would be in favorable seeding. So even though it's early in the season, only week 2, this could be a very impactful match a month from now.
Yeah, and every series matters. And there is Craaap in the studio. Look at him right there, smiling. He looks confident. He looks like he's having a good time. And look at that smile.
He's got a lot of family here supporting him. Mom's in the back in the green room watching, rooting on her little man.
Yeah, and maybe he played last week. He played a lot of P.E.K.K.A Hog, right?
Yep.
P.E.K.K.A Miner, and the arrows are being banned here,
bans.
and the Bandit is being banned, and I like that ban because that's been a very, very popular card in almost everyone's deck.
And Craaap loves Bandit too. Like, that's just one of those cards. Like, when you play against really good mechanical players, the higher skill cap cards are the ones that they tend to like. When you see these players, they really like Bandit, they really like Miner, because they're the ones who can make the absolute most of those cards. But I really like this ban of arrows by Craaap because that hurts Spellbait very badly. Because a lot of the Spellbait decks want to run arrows instead of Zap or Log. They just prefer to play arrows. So it hurts that archetype. But also it opens the door for Minion Horde, minions. Like, there's a lot of cards, even cards like Goblin Gang, that are really high risk, high reward, and of course the risk is, well, if they have arrows, I'm blown out. At least you're worried they don't have to have arrows. They're never going to have it this time.
Yeah, and the Giant, right, with double minions has been really, really popular as an archetype. And you have to decide: are you going to put Log in your deck, or are you going to put Zap?
I would. It's hard
with
to say,
arrows being
right?
banned.
I know. I would say.
But Fireball is going to be popular. Maybe
Log.
Fireball Zap.
I feel like you'd have to play Log, because if they play Spellbait and you don't have Log and you just have Zap, you're like in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But then again, if you have Zap in your deck, or sorry, if you have Log in your deck and they just play things like
Hordes or Minions, Bats.
Bats are super popular. Bats, the only thing that keeps Bats like fine and balanced is you just zap them, right? As soon as they come down, boom, zap them right off the board. But when you don't, if you're playing Log, you don't have that option. Suddenly Bats become insanely good. So it'll be hard to say. What kind of deck archetypes are these players like really into? Oh, okay, they're getting ready to get into the game.
He's played 3 Musketeers, but I think with Bandit being banned, I don't think 3 Musketeers is going to be as popular because it's so good with 3 Musketeers, right? Bandit, Battering Ram, etc. That's a deck that, we saw a lot of them play last week. And there's the emotes, there are the smiles coming out here.
We have the podium cam so we can get the real emotion coming out of Craaap's face as soon. Wings is giving him the little BM, giving the cry face back and forth. We actually, I think, saw both of these players be real loose-fingered with the emotes in week 1, so I'm glad they're keeping it up.
Look at Craaap. Took a deep breath there. They're waiting to see which opponent's going to drop their first card here. It's going to be definitely a low-cost Elixir card, but I think they're just going to wait it out.
I don't think there's any emote limit in friendly battles, so they can just keep going. He didn't follow it up with anything, so he just did the Ice Spirit to cycle cards out of his hand. We've mentioned this a few times, but this is your first time watching Tournament Clash Royale. It's not unusual to see them wait at the start of a match because neither of them want to commit a big Elixir card to the board for the fear they're going to get punished in the other lane.
And he picked Zap in his deck, which is perfect against the bats here.
All right, here's the key card you want to play. He wants to play Royal Giant because you can run Zap and Log in that deck, and then you still have a win condition.
The Miner does get a few chip damage, and he puts guards down there to counter it, and then there's Mega Minion. They both have Mega Minions in their deck, and that's going to make quick work of these guards.
I imagine both of them have Electro.
Ooh, Balloon dropped it back and Ice Golem right in front of it.
And he did that because the Electro Wizard was already played, revealed out of cycle.
Yep.
So now the Mega Minion's going to come down, and you have to zap the bats out of the way. The Balloon's going to make it past the Mega Minion, but not going to get the drop.
It doesn't get a hit, but it does get the death damage.
You're right, it will get the death damage in, so it's kind of like a fireball there after all that effort. Zap used on the bats and Mega Minion, and that should keep Craaap's tower looking good. Psych! He takes one swing.
Yeah, now he's down to 20-48 on his right tower, and Wings is looking like he's winning the tower trade so far.
He's a slight damage lead on both towers, but still early in the game. We're about to hit double elixir time. Okay, there's a giant beatdown deck.
Giant beatdown from Wings. This is one of the decks he played and worked really well against Music Master last week. And there's the same combo coming on again. Electro Wizard will probably be dropped here.
I would imagine an Electro Wizard's going to fall down.
There we go.
Electro Wizard's so good against Balloon because that stun effect allows the tower to put so much more damage on there.
Yeah, it doesn't even get a hit on that tower. And then there's a zap coming out, and the Night Witch just makes quick work of that mini P.E.K.K.A. And look at it, it's Night Witch and a Giant. Giant's with counter hit gets one hit on the tower, 2 hits, and another Giant gets dropped. Wow.
Craaap has already had to play so many defensive miners. That's not the position you ever want to be in.
Oh, the Goizen deck comes out. This is actually the deck a very similar deck he played against Music Man. And look at that dab coming out.
You know what's funny is they both made the exact same nod at the exact same time.
Like
they both were just like, yep, that's how the cookie crumbles. Like, it's too bad.
Oh, and Craaap, no, he just fireballed and zapped the area there, knowing he lost his game.
So we got 15 seconds left, but both players know the outcome. Craaap's got a grin on his face because he knows that we're going to a game 2, and he's got to turn this one around. Oh, 3 crowns by Wings, the disrespect.
Well played in Wings, was very comfortable with that deck last week and showed it up again in this game.
And you mentioned it had one of the highest win rates, so, it makes total sense that you'd want to play that. Wings giving the grin there. He's done so well. Whoa! Psych! Woo! But yeah, I mean, Wings, I think, has done a great job so far, showing that he's definitely, not a pushover. I mean, just lost to Oxalate, comes right back with a win over Craaap. He's got to win the next one to seal the matchup, but I thought he mechanically impressed. He played very well in that game.
Yeah, he actually defended the Balloon so well. The Balloon was not able to get one hit. It was so close, though, so close. It did get death damage twice, but just couldn't get a hit on the tower. And then the placement of the Mega Minion and the Electro Wizard just really worked out really well.
I think that's why pros hate playing against Balloons. It's such a swingy card. It's like Miner is sort of the opposite of Balloon. Miner's a very consistent card, and you get to play it like a dozen times in a game, and it's just you get a lot of shots at it. Balloon is very like hit or miss. You get 3 shots. If it makes it, you win. If it doesn't, so let's take a look at a replay there from game 1. We have the Giant here taking the tower, the old double Giant play. Night Witch is such a stickler in this deck because if you don't kill it early, the bats just take over.
And the Poison comes out too. I mean, Poison along with Zap just makes such short work of those, the bats. So it's such a good play. I mean, Goizen, right, the Giant Poison deck, looking pretty good here.
Just before that replay started, too, there was a moment where I think the first mini P.E.K.K.A. had come down to defend the first Giant, and a Night Witch with 2 bats is
and a Zap
comparable to a mini P.E.K.K.A. Like, it's not, it's more like a Lumberjack, right? But it's like if you had a Lumberjack attacking the mini P.E.K.K.A., the Lumberjack's going to make short work of it. All right, let's take a look at the stats, the post-match stats recap. Craaap in blue on the left, Wings in red along the side. What do you see here? These are very evenly played.
Yeah, I mean, Craaap had a more win condition. He had Miner played, right, along with Balloon played as well. However, Wings just had a better solid push with the beatdown deck. That's what makes beatdown decks like Giant so strong with Night Witch. We're seeing that coming back into the meta here with Golem Night Witch, Giant Night Witch, and it's doing very, very well.
I'm so glad that Night Witch is still in the meta because it was a very fun card in spring season. Oh, we got a new one for you. We're excited about this one. This is a heat map of cards played. Now you can see all the cards here played by Wings. A few spots have been played multiple times. Very split pushy though. Didn't build too many pushes back behind his King Tower. A lot of it was defensive in the front yard and then started a counterattack.
Yeah, defend against the balloon on the left and then the giant drops in the back. Build up the elixir and then have a solid push with the Night Witch right behind it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can see some of the aggressive plays there, the spells being cast on Craaap's side of the board. Let's go take a look at Craaap's heat map, and you could sort of see the inverse of this, the other side of it. So Craaap was defending heavily on the right side, but definitely trying to spend more of his elixir building up pushes behind the King Tower.
Yeah, he dropped like a Ice Golem a little bit behind there, and then as soon as he dropped like the balloon on the left, you can see there, and then he'll drop Ice Golem multiple times. That's why you see the orange there. Ice Golem is dropped right at the bridge with the balloon pushing right behind it. And, you know, I felt like maybe if he comboed the Miner with the Ice Golem and Balloon, maybe that would give the Balloon enough time to get an extra 1 or 2 hits on the tower.
The hard part was just that he had two spell-proof cycle cards. There was a Mega Minion and there's an Electro Wizard.
Yeah.
Generally, if you're a Balloon deck, you want at least one thing that you can like arrow away. So smart move by Craaap banning the arrows, because if he's going to play a Balloon deck, you know what I mean? Like you want them to be in a situation where it's like, I have just like these fragile cards that can get zapped away. I think he was hoping that like bats would come out or something. But instead, it was Mega Minion. No good way to get rid of a Mega Minion.
And Electro Wizard.
Electro Wizard, we're going to lightning the thing. Like, it's just tough, right? Tough card to get rid of. So we're going to go into game number 2, and the pressure's on Craaap to tie this one up. You don't want to get swept.
Yeah, and I think Wings will play another giant beatdown because he's been showing some good skills with it lately.
And that's what we've been seeing, right? When players win with one match, they repeat with another. So I'd like to see what happens here. Did Wings not accept the match? It looks like it looks like a spectator might have accepted. Oh, Wings is getting up in the camera. He's looking real close.
He's like, what's going on?
All right, psych. Say, real careful. You know there's a button.
Yes.
It says play, and then when somebody else hits play, it says spectate.
Exactly.
Don't hit it until it says spectate. That's a toughie.
Yeah. I mean, I did that a few times. I've done that a few times. It's just, sometimes you just misclick. You just touch the screen. You're like, oops.
You get really excited. Boop, and get her in there. So, yeah, that match will wrap up real quick as there'll be an instant 3 crown. And we'll...
Yeah, you think Craaap's going to continue to play Miner here and maybe not play Balloon with it? He did play Miner Balloon last week and actually won with it. So do you think he's going to switch it up this time or maybe keep the same deck? Because Wings actually did the same thing. Wings actually, he lost, right, just recently? Yeah. He did the same. He kept the same deck even when he lost with that deck.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're going to switch it up or going to keep the same deck.
If I'm Craaap, I don't think I play Balloon again because I would expect there's like a better than coin flip chance that my opponent's going to stay on Giant Beatdown. And that Giant Beatdown deck, I don't think you can beat it with Balloon because there's just too many. I mean, Night Witch, Electro Wizard, Ice Spirit. Like, there's just a million minions, there's a million counters in that deck. So I think if he expects his opponent to stay on it, you got to switch. Now, switch 2.
Maybe P.E.K.K.A. Hog, I think, would come out here. If Wings going to play Giant, then P.E.K.K.A. Hog looks really solid. And Craaap played that deck pretty well last week.
Could see some Mega Minion, too. I mean, P.E.K.K.A. counters the Giant a little harder, but I don't see... The deck that has like minions and Minion Horde and all these air troops doesn't have a lot of things to block the counterattacking Mega Knight. So if you can defend with Mega Knight, keep it above 50% health or so, counterattacks, what are they going to drop? Like bats or whatever? Cool, bats will do some damage, but not before the Mega Knight thumps onto your tower and earns his elixir cost back.
Yeah, that one jump would do so much damage to their tower. And I like how they have Fireball, Zap in their deck. Makes sense since Arrows is banned. You want to have Fireball just in case they have that Minion Horde coming out.
And it's a safety
and Poison
against
as well.
Three
Poison.
Musketeers.
It is.
So if you're worried about 3 Musketeers, especially because Craaap knows that Wings plays 3 Musketeers, so like he might have been hedging. You might expect the 3 Musketeers deck. Actually, maybe that's what he was doing, right? You play the Balloon deck, you expect 3 Musketeers, and then you just Fireball Zap them, right, as they come out. You get the blowout victory, the Balloon rides it, everyone's happy.
Yeah,
but
and it's really smart deck too. Since they know Arrows is out, no one's probably not going to play Lightning because it's very risky. You have Lightning and you don't have Fireball and gets like a Minion Horde, etc. That's why Mega Minion was in both people's decks, right? We saw Electro Wizard as well. And I felt like that was a very smart deck build, given the bans that they received.
I feel like Spellbait would be a good pick because like in that last game we saw both of them had Zap. Well, if they do that again, just a Knight Goblin Barrel push becomes very hard to deal with.
Yeah, Goblin Barrel didn't come out. That's a very good point.
Right, because like Knight Goblin Barrel, it's sort of like they have to defend with troops. Or if they defend with troops, then they open themselves up to a poison countering them and hitting the tower and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So We'll see. I mean, I know both these players do play spell bait, so we might see it here. Let's see what. I think the more important thing is what his Wings playing. If he's sticking with the same deck, then he's letting Craaap counter him, right? Like,
Yeah,
I'm going to play the same deck twice in a row. If Craaap assumes that, then you're going to go ahead and counter him. But
yeah, maybe he'll play Miner, Bats, Bandit. Oh no, Bandit was actually was taken away, but that's also a deck that Craaap actually played last week as well.
So far, looks the same.
Yeah.
Craaap has switched though. Maybe Hog, Executioner, Lightning, maybe. The
Yeah,
Hog Rider decks.
Hog Lightning with Executioner has been a pretty popular deck.
Interesting that Wings just kind of quit playing stuff.
Hog gets dropped, and it's getting to the left tower. It's going to make one hit. It gets one hit, and it's going to get 2 hits here.
Yes, sir.
And the Giant gets dropped. Wow, beautiful placement there. It distracts the Executioner, and it lets the E-Wiz take care of him.
Craaap gives the thumbs up because Executioner got one more swing on that. Along with the Ice Spirit, that Giant does not take a swing on the tower. So Craaap basically gets away with that first Hog push, getting the opposing tower down to 2006 while not taking anything on the counter.
Yeah, Knights with Goblins, they do so much damage against the Giant, and he didn't even touch the tower.
Right. Miss log is unfortunate. Let's see, Craaap is leaking a little bit of elixir here. I guess he was waiting for the guards to come across so he can play the Hog Rider. This Hog Rider, though, is going to definitely get countered. Yeah, no chance.
Yeah, Ice Spirit is such a good counter into the Hog, along with like a Night Witch being dropped there. That's so good to counter the Hog.
Let's see where the Executioner goes, because I think that he's trying to split push. I feel like Wings is trying to get the Night Witch set up as a defender in one lane. If it's good, you can throw the Giant in front and have the Giant Night Witch push. But I also think that he's waiting for Craaap to put down that Executioner so that he can go like Giant Night Witch or Giant Electro Wizard in the opposite lane.
Yeah, and there's Craaap smirking a little bit. The Giant did take 3 hits on that tower, taking down to 1837.
Both towers are looking pretty even. We got 1910 on the top left, 1837 on the bottom right tower. Craaap can't stop looking at the camera and smirking.
And Wings, I think, is playing the very same deck. He has Poison, I believe, as his last card, if not mistaken. And he's going to go and continue to put pressure on this right lane.
That could even be Lightning.
Nope. Oh, there's a Poison coming out. However, he does have to turn with Executioner, and he's going to drop it just in time there, so the Mega Man does not take it out along with the Poison damage.
Right, you're right. The Poison was Wings' last card. I think the last card for Craaap is going to be Lightning. We might see it here, because a Hog Rider could come in behind this Knight, and then you could Lightning maybe the Electro Wizard and the Night Witch.
Nice
Boom!
Lightning there. Wow.
So the Hogger's going to get in because nothing's attacking. He's going to get 2 swings.
2 swings and a third. No, it does not. Wow, very good defense by Wings there.
Downside, though, is that Craaap has been splitting up his damage. So even though he has a significant damage, actually, he doesn't really look at all 4 towers have nearly the identical damage.
Yeah.
1910 to 1951, 1597 to 1564.
Yeah, that was a smart push on the right side, but he's going to then push this left lane again here. Look at the Extra Wizard taking out those goblins so fast, and the Hog only gets 1 hit.
And now we're going to have to see another Executioner Tornado here on the left side because that Electro Wizard gets cut off by the Knight.
Yeah, the Knight comes out
that's
here.
That's a big push, right?
And the right lane, Tornado comes out just in time to save and stop the Mega Man from connecting to that tower.
Super
Very good
impressive.
defense.
I mean, nothing got there. I mean,
the timing was just great.
And they did the exact amount of damage they needed to kill
this is
every
such
single
a
thing
good push
except
here. And Lightning comes out, takes out some of the guards and the Mega Man, and it takes the tower down to 1300.
And that's a great log, right? Because you want to take out the shields off the guard, so that any sort of splash damage is going to take him out.
Yeah, he's putting like Executioner right in front, and then he's got a Tornado or pull the Giant. There we go. Yeah. He does not want the Giant to hit or touch the tower at all.
Yeah, he's got to use the Tornado and then the Ice Spirit. And good job with the. There was a point in time where both towers were shooting it, and the Ice Spirit froze it right there to get a little extra damage.
Yeah, Craaap here needs to get Lightning on tower again, right? Get a few Hog hits so that he can get a hit. But he's going to actually push on the right lane here and put some pressure.
Yeah, this is tough because I feel like Wings can push in either lane because the Hog Riders are sort of starting the whole thing, right? So Hog Rider comes first, he defends the Hog Rider, and then counters after that. Okay, this one's getting real close.
Yeah, and Wings is constantly just putting poison down, poisoning, focusing that left tower. He's just investing his elixir and his poison constantly with the Giant on that left tower, and it's paying off for him.
He's saying thanks. The prediction Lightning, but he didn't hit the tower.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that tower's gonna be still sitting there. Now, if he had hit that with the Lightning, it would be within range of another Lightning to finish it off. So that was a very kind of fatal mistake there, but we'll see. Another Hog Rider Lightning shot could do it right here.
Yeah, and Craaap, I think he knows he's lost here because another poison.
Nope, he's tornadoed it.
Oh, but the Hog Rider takes a few shots. 412 on the top right tower here.
Yeah, he's gonna have to do a long Lightning, but no, Giant Night Witch, get there.
And that's gonna be a game.
Wings with the sweep over Craaap. Oh, thanks comes up from Wings.
He has in the wrong direction, though.
Those I don't think he realized the webcams are mirrored. Paul Wars, though, looks great.
Yeah,
Paul
Paul Wars.
Very readable. Maybe it's Wop War or something. Maybe I'm reading it backwards. I'm not really sure. But, yeah, so 2-0 sweep for Wings. He bounces back from his loss to Oxalate, goes up to 3-1 in his match record.
Yeah,
So
still at the top of leaderboards.
yeah, still doing very well. He's going to have a bad week where he loses more than one time to really lose his spot near the top. But he's going to have, I think, another match later in the show.
Yes.
So we'll see if Wings ends up with a winning record or losing record today. But at least right now, he's a winner.
He's bringing Goizen back in the meta. But Giant has such a good win rate now. You add it up from last week to this week, has a pretty solid win rate, over 70%.
Let's take a look at that tower going down. This was the first tower to go down. I mean, I was really the only one here in overtime. The tornado pulls it away. And actually, I thought here that he could get a log lightning to do it. And you see the lightning come in right before the game ends. You see the lightning, but it's just too much. Like we mentioned with that Night Witch, the problem with Night Witch is you have to kill her. There is no like, I get her low and something else will deal with her, because if you don't kill her right away, bats come out, more bats come out, she
and that's
dies,
where
drops
she's
more
a problem,
bats.
because the Giant's in front. If she dies, the bats come out. You have to deal with the bats as well.
Yep.
And that's just something that's such a strong combo that we're seeing today so far.
Post-match stat recap. This was a very long game, 150 elixir spent by both players.
Yeah, and look at the effective rotation there. That means that they were able to cycle through the cards about evenly with one another. That means this is how long it takes them to cycle to the last card they just played.
Sure.
And it looks like both of them were able to cycle about the same rotation.
Craaap played more spells because he had 3 spells in deck as 2. Let's take a look at this heat map now. We got enough things played to get a real good heat map here. All over the place for Wings' board, but you can see the pressure there on the left side that ended up winning. Those were things like the spells, the poisons you're putting down, things like that, the zaps to help finish it off. A lot of stuff, though, played in the front yard. Not very much stuff built up in the back.
Yeah, not very much, and then a lot of Giants were dropped right at the bridge there.
Yes.
As soon as they were able to take care of the Hog, and Electro Ridge is still alive, or Night Witch was still alive, a Giant we put right in the front of them, and that's why they both pushed both lanes there.
Yeah, you see, like, all the yellow are the Night Witches that defended, and the Electro Wizards that were defending against the Hog Rider. Then all those red and oranges at the bridge are the tanks, right, that go in front. I wonder what Craaap's looked like. Yeah. I will have to keep wondering. Oh, no more wondering. My questions have been answered. So we have Craaap built up a few more pushes in the back. You can see a lot of desperate defense there at the river.
Yeah, and he also split his push a lot. Oftentimes he would just split it, and I felt like maybe he could have focused more on the right tower, and they could have edged out a win here.
Yeah.
Because
what were those back left ones? What do you think? Those corners?
Yeah, I don't remember what units he played in the back, but
like Electro Wizard,
probably. Yeah, Electro Wizard, I believe. But he had Hog with Lightning. Oh, Executioners.
Oh, you're right. Executioners. So a lot of the Executioners are starting back in the corner. Well, that's enough for our third match. We're going to our 4th match of the day, and we've got a star-studded occasion event. We have Oxalate, defending spring champion, already won a match today, going up against J-Montie, who's yet to lose
undefeated.
a match. 3-0, pretty good.
Yeah.
J-Montie was probably the most entertaining person in week 1 on the webcam.
Oh my god, I loved his deck. Yeah,
waving
entertaining
the
on
emotes.
webcam, cannon cart with Graveyard.
That's right.
Played Expo. Right, played P.E.K.K.A. Hog and all this really awesome decks.
Well, we've got a little video package to show you before we get into this match. Let's get to know these players a little better.
My name is Justin Montalbano. My in-game name is J-Montie, and I live in Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, J-Montie takes it!
Beautiful play!
I would say my family is like pretty crazy, even like the extended family. You know, I have goats, and I have a weird-looking dog. My dad's name is Andrew, my mom's name is Lori. They've just been so supportive. Regarding Clash Royale though, they're like any parents, I guess, so like maybe I would play too much or something, but now that I'm winning money, it's like, they're just like, you know, it's it.
Good job, buddy.
I have a little brother, he's adopted and he's from Ethiopia. Growing up with Hyrule is probably like one of the best things I could have done because you just get a diverse outlook. I got him. He's just so happy all the time. He can cheer everyone up, and I'm just so happy to have a little brother. I've been playing Clash Royale since the beginning. Actually, the release date was March 4th, so that's how much I love the game. I've got it memorized.
Man, what a play by J-Montie.
I'm an aggressive player. That's really how I started playing, and that's how I like to keep playing.
So dangerous and scary to play against.
My favorite deck is any deck that has a Hog Rider in it, because I can just be aggressive, I can make you play defense. If I see an opponent use a card that's maybe good against, you know, Hog Rider or Giant, sometimes I'll just feel like going in with a full push, which is really risky, but I think there's a lot of reward in that, because if they don't have a card that's good against that full push, being aggressive is very beneficial in that situation.
That Hog is going to take that tower out with another swing.
J-Montie is going to take the series.
Wow.
To all my opponents, you just really gotta watch out.
And here's Oxalate. He's building his deck in studio, figuring out how to give J-Montie his first loss. Can't be that afraid, though. He already did it to Wings, dropping Wings from 2-0 down to 2-1. Can he bring J-Montie down to earth as well?
Yeah, he's coming with some momentum here. You know,
yeah.
Wings was undefeated, and now is Oxalate, the former champion, going to beat another undefeated person, which is J-Montie. And J-Montie sounds so confident in that video.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, they're from very nearby places in Pennsylvania. They live about a Nerf football throw away from each other. Maybe not that close, but they live closer than you think to each other. So this is a Pennsylvania boy match. Oxalate is going to take Fireball out, and J-Montie is banning P.E.K.K.A. I think that P.E.K.K.A. ban hurts Oxalate. Oxalate was known for playing P.E.K.K.A. a lot in the spring.
P.E.K.K.A. Hog, right?
Yeah, P.E.K.K.A. Hog,
really
P.E.K.K.A. Battle
popular.
Ram. So that targets at least the deck that I think most people have scouted Oxalate to play.
Yeah.
But of course, new meta, new season. Who knows what he's going to break
and
out?
he hasn't played P.E.K.K.A. so far. It's because he is playing some Golem
When I see a Fireball ban, though, I think you're Three
what
Musketeers.
is that? Three Musketeers?
I think you're Three.
Yeah,
I think
because
that's what you're
he's
trying.
known for his Three Musketeers. So that means
Yeah, he
Oxalate
played it
can
second most, yeah.
put some Mega Knight in there. That would be a good
that would work
counter,
as well. If
right?
there's no P.E.K.K.A., I think it's safer to play Golem and safer to play Mega Knight. Safer to play
exactly.
Hog Rider, which J-Montie's a big fan of. Right? He's probably banning the P.E.K.K.A. not just for Oxalate, but also because if Hog Rider's your favorite card and what you want to play in every deck, I'd love to play 0 P.E.K.K.A.s in my life. So that's I would expect J-Montie to play
So
Sport
what
Hog
if
deck.
J-Montie plays Quick Cycle 3 Muskies, and then Oxalate plays Golem 3 Musketeers?
That's going to be a lot of Musketeers on the board.
Yeah, a lot of
We'll
Musketeers.
see what happens. J-Montie is back in bed, bobbing the head already, letting people know that he is a chill dude.
He's having fun.
Real, we're like, oh, he's singing. He's got karaoke going. No, man. It was pantomiming sad faces. He's still crying.
Yeah. One of the most enjoyable players for sure to watch. Oh, and a Tombstone comes out. So I'm wondering, does he have Battle Ram 3 Musketeer deck here potentially?
It's possible. It also could be something like Mortar or Expo. J-Montie seemed really disappointed to see that Tombstone, so that tells me that he's, got Battle Ram, Bandit maybe, or even something like a Siege weapon that's going to get hung up on the
Yeah,
Tombstone
because he
skeletons.
did play Expo last week. Oh, Graveyard comes out.
Hey-o.
A naked Graveyard, nothing there. And a Poison's come out to counter it completely.
Yes, that is a defensive graveyard that's going to take out most of the skeletons. A few of them are getting pokes in here and there, but I think you got to be happy only taking less than 200 damage.
Oxalate's happy to Mega Man got one swing off that tower. They're about even elixir, and a Barbarian Hut gets dropped, and a Lava Hound is responded on the bottom.
Barb Hut Graveyard. If you've never seen this deck before, the goal here is to defend with the Barbarian Hut, usually against things like Hog Riders and stuff. You get the Barbarian Hut down, and then near the end, when like wave after wave of barbs come through, finally when your opponent's low elixir, you throw a Graveyard with the Barbarians tanking for it to finish off. It's a very grindy control deck, rewards a lot of patient play, so we'll see if J-Montie, the self-acclaimed aggressive player, can be patient enough to take this game.
Yeah, Electro Wizard comes out there. It's going to take away those minions. And, Poison gets dropped right on the Electro Wizard and the Barb Hut. And then a Graveyard gets dropped. However,
no Poison now on
Oxalate have
defense,
something
though.
to respond. Yes, he will zap it. But look at the damage it does to that tower.
It's
Oh
still
my
building
goodness.
up.
It takes it down to 1197. It forces Oxalate to then play Goblin Bear. And another zap hits the Goblin Gang and the tower as well.
Yeah, J-Montie responded to it almost instantly. As soon as he saw that Poison came down, Graveyard went on the other side.
Yeah, he just turned it around so well. And all he needs is that one barb. That one barb was literally tanking all that damage and letting the Graveyard then ramp up to do all that damage to the left tower of Oxalate.
And they're both back at the same elixir cost too, so it's not even like, oh, I took a bunch of damage, but now I get to cast the first thing. I'm going to hit 10 first. They really both hit 10 at the same time, so we'll see. We got the lava coming in. We haven't seen the balloon yet, but I think
there's the balloon coming out, and a Poison probably will be dropped here to take care of those archers. Yep. And look at that beautiful placement there. Gets the Barb Hut and both archers.
There's not a lot of stuff in J-Montie's deck that can stop it. Sure, you can play this Barb Hut here, but all of the Barbarians and Knights are getting gobbled up at the bridge by all
Yeah,
the
and that's
flying
tough
units.
because Barb Hut costs 70 elixir, and that balloon just destroyed it.
And it might still even get the death damage here on the tower. It
Yeah,
does.
oh wow. It takes the tower down to 624.
And just like that, good game is coming out of
J-Montie.
J-Montie. but I think good game because he feels like he can't defend this.
I mean, all he needs is one good graveyard, though. He might be able to make this happen, but it'll be tough. And there he is. He's going to go offensive here and force Oxalate to play some defense. And the poison's going to come out. However, it's not going to be enough, is it?
It could be. The 2 Spear Goblins standing out of range really helped.
Wow.
That's in range of another poison. He could cycle back to poison. He would
game.
win, but Oxalate gets a balloon there first.
Such a close match.
Oh, the arm spread. That's Oxalate has already taken 1 game off J-Montie, 1 game away from giving his first match loss. The defending spring champion is not going down without a fight.
Yeah, the champion is back. He played so decisive. And the only time where he got caught off guard was when he used the poison right on the bar putt, the Electro was in the tower, and then J-Montie's like, that's my chance. I'm going to get a graveyard off, and took well over 1,000 damage on the tower.
And I think, you know, you're playing against Lava Loon. The tank is an air. It flies. Right, sorry. The tank flies. The balloon flies. You need a lot of stuff that hits air troops if you have any hope of winning that matchup. And he only had
Archers and Electro Wiz.
Archer and like Ice Spirit, and then I guess you can drag with the Barb Hut, but that's like those are desperate options. Let's take a look at the replay to see what we're talking about. Let's look at the balloon dropping Barb Hut after Barb. No, this is the graveyard push near the end here. The 2 Spear Goblins, if you notice, are standing just outside of
right
poison range.
And that was very fortunate for Oxalate because
that tower would have gone down.
If those skeletons were on it, it would have gone down for sure.
Yeah, definitely. He survived. There would have been 1 more poison would have taken it out, but you didn't have time to cycle back, even though he had played a few more cards. You have to A, get back to your poison, B, wait 8 seconds, and when there's just a massive balloon coming at you.
And he had nothing to counter. Archers and Electro Rays won't be able to stop a Lava Hound tanking the damage and a balloon that's pretty healthy going straight for your tower.
And you see why things like Tornado and Execution are so popular, because when the Lava Hound is taking all the damage and you have the balloon behind it, it's like you need something like Electro Wizard that shoots 2 things to actually hit the balloon at all, because if it's just a Musketeer, it's like it's shooting the Lava Hound, the balloon goes right by and gets to the tower. I think cards like Musketeer and Dart Goblin have kind of fallen out of favor because of the popularity of Lava Loon.
Yeah, and that's why we saw, you know, Tornado Executioner coming back a little bit here last week and today so far. And that's a really strong card against a lot of these air decks.
Yeah, I'd like to see it return to Splash Yard, but Graveyard's in such a tough spot right now.
Splash Yard.
So here we are in game 2. J-Montie already throwing the emotes out. Thumbs up for Oxalate. He's happy with that first game win.
It was very close though. J-Montie could have taken that game away. So
yeah, I didn't feel like that match was like a counter deck in any way.
Oh, he's playing a log bait deck here against.
Could be I bet you this is Mini Pekka.
Oh, you think
Mini Pekka Hog Rider? Yep, Mini Hog.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He said he likes playing Hog Rider. The Princess is seen in Spell Bait, and then also that Mini Hog.
Oh, that Hog Rider gets 1 hit on tower, 2 hits, 3 hits. And then the 4th hit. Wow.
That makes me sick. It makes Oxalate unhappy. He's shaking his head.
Yeah, he's like, darn.
Yeah, you gotta. That's not how you want to open a game.
Ooh.
That's like the opening Expo, right? Like sometimes you play against Expo deck and you're just not ready for it. They get an Expo done like right at the start, and you're like, oh, this sucks.
Princess gets 1 hit, and the log comes out just in time. Gets 2 hits, and then the 3rd hit. Wow, and he's going to get 4 hits on that tower. That is so much value
and this
coming
is exactly
from this Princess.
What J-Montie was saying. He's like, I like playing aggressive because if they don't have a card for it, it's just beneficial. You get this huge damage lead. You don't get to pull off moves like that if you do what we see a lot of these players do. Wait till 10 Elixir, cycle through your kind of dumbo cards. J-Montie just went for it right at the start, and it paid off.
Yeah, J-Montie switches deck up. Oxalate actually is playing a very similar deck, or if not the exact same, from the last game here. Does he have a Tombstone here in cycle to be able to lure that hog away? No, I think he's going to just trade towers at this point,
I would actually
which is fine.
Not rule Oxalate out of this game yet. Lava Hound is a very good matchup against Hog Rider, specifically because of how good it is in double elixir time. It's so hard to stop in double elixir time.
Yeah, the balloon gets connection to the tower. He's going to get another hit. It is, because the Lava Hound is tanking all that damage, and he's going to take the tower away. And just like that, Oxalate comes right back in this game.
Now, we're in a double tower situation, but here's the thing. If this is still 1-1 going into double elixir time, that tower doesn't go down real soon. This super duper favors Oxalate, because he can start building Lava Hound pushes on the right side, and there's really not a lot that J-Montie can do about it, because there's 2 towers. And you get the
he has no buildings to pull the balloon, so he can drop, once the Lava Hound is tanking the tower, he can just drop the balloon, and it's going to go straight to the tower, because nothing else is going to pull it. He has no buildings.
Yeah, back, I actually did a YouTube video of this where I grabbed some players and said, hey, let's play this matchup out a bunch of times, and the Lava Hound deck wins like 75–80% of the time, because the Hog Rider will take the first tower almost every time, but the problem is that the lava, you just can't stop the Lava Loon deck.
Oh, he didn't predict that log in time, and the Hog barely makes it to the tower, but look at this push here. That balloon, the lightning comes out just in time, and the balloon does not make it connect to, but the death damage will hit that tower.
Yes, it will. Brings it down to 10:41 after the zap finishes off. The Princess looks like one of those lava pumps, just kissed the Princess a time or two and dropped her low enough for the zap to finish it off.
And look at that, he's going to go straight for the King Tower.
You have to.
And I think he's saying good game. He's saying, you know what, I'm going to concede this. It looks like I'm going to be at loss. Lava Hound gets dropped. Princess is locked onto that Lava Hound, unfortunately. So that means the Mega Minion and the Goblins will take care of her, and the Poison as well.
And yeah, in this situation, even if a Hog Rider did get to the tower, when you have 2 defensive towers shooting it, it's only going to do so much damage. We could see a Lightning here, maybe, but
yeah, probably Lightning, but it's going to be too late here. I mean, look at the damage of the Lava Hound and the Pups there, and he's going to take the win. 2-0. The defending champion returns and takes out both undefeated players from last week.
That's
huge.
You couldn't come up with a better statement for Oxalate. Defending champion, it looked like last week you had J-Montie and Wing starting off 5-0 and being like, nah, we're coming for him. We're not afraid of Oxalate. Well, Oxalate, be humble, sit down, newcomers. And they dropped them both back down into the loss column as Oxalate moves up now to 4-1, and I believe
that makes
sole possession of the first place spot.
He is #1 on the leaderboard now because of these wins here. That's huge.
I asked him if he was going to repeat his fall season champion. He said, nah.
Nah.
No, he said, yeah, he said he's going to. He said he's going to, and that's the best way to go about it. Let's take a look at the replay of the tower going down. This was late in the match here. This is at this point, we kind of mentioned this earlier, the longer the game goes on, the longer the double elixir time, the more advantage the Lava Loon deck can build because it can safely play its Lava Hound, and there's just no punish you can do. We saw it right there. We tried to see these Hog Rider punishes, but it's just, I have elixir. I'm gaining it twice as fast. You can put the Tombstone down, you can put the Goblin Gang down.
Yeah, and although Lava Hound doesn't do as much damage as the Pups do, it's like a Spear Goblin, though, attack. Yeah. It's like a Spear Goblin attack every time. You can see it whittle that tower away slowly, and then Oxalate's able to take that tower. It's
kind of easy to ignore the Lava Hound, but you're right. At this level of competitive play, every 100 damage is very important because the matches usually come down to a single spell. So let's take a look at the post-match stats recap. 3 buildings there. All 3 of them were Tombstones, but each one of those Tombstone casts represents a failed Hog Rider push.
Yeah, and that's surprising. I thought the effective rotation Oxalate would be a little lower, or a little because Hog Rider decks that J-Montie played would have cycled a little faster, but it looks he's able to cycle just as fast as J-Montie here.
There was a handful of times where I think we saw some lightnings come out. But you're right. I definitely think that Oxalate must have cycled a little bit faster than by having things like, the bats and the minions, cheap stuff like that. All right, let's take a look at the map here. So you can see Oxalate playing the Lava Hounds in the back behind the King Tower there. Most of the stuff, though, was meant to defend on the left side. That early push came on the left side, and a lot of defense had to go there.
He also let J-Montie take the right tower and invested in that one Lava Hound push that secured him the left tower as well, so that's really smart. He basically traded tower for tower before double elixir, and it knew that in overtime, he would take the game away.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned that right off the start. Great Hog Rider push, takes the tower, and at that point, Oxalate just said, look, I'm going to win this game 2-1. Let me start playing like I'm going to win this game 2-1, and that means you can't defend every ticky-tacky miner or a Hog Rider push that comes down your lane because that was done for, right?
Yeah.
Well, that is our first 4 matches up from here in the commentary booth. We'll be back shortly. Let's go to Findable Carpet in the locker room.
All right, J-Montie, if you want to get more creative with graveyard decks, please keep doing it. We've seen now a Cannon Card graveyard for him and a Barb Hut graveyard deck. I'm just becoming a huge fan of what he can do. But a lot of points have been distributed, and if you haven't been keeping up, remember, this is Phase 4 of the CCGS, and we saw 27 million players whittle down to just these 10. Now you see Oxalate finally retaking his #1 spot. He is the reigning North American champion. J-Montie right beneath him. That was J-Montie's first loss, and against Oxalate, I'm sure it's not actually a huge surprise. But now Oxalate's starting off the week strong, 4 wins and 1 loss. We've still yet to see C-McHugh. Can he get his first one in the CCGS? You'll see Wings, Colton, Craaap all standing in the middle, just trying to make sure that they can try and find their way into the green. But remember, if they're in the blue, they still will make it into the finals here, the fall finals for North America. Oxalate and J-Montie want to make sure they can stay at that top spot. And remember, this is 27 million players that have gone just to the 10. We're in Phase 4 of the 5-phase tournament, and they're all playing for the portion of the $1 million. So Wings and Oxalate, we saw them go off early on. Oxalate starting off so far its undefeated week. We will see Music Master and Berenstein Cat coming up soon. Oxalate and J-Montie just finished up that match, and remember, later in the day, we'll see McHugh get his win. How is Colton going to perform? Him and Trainer Lewis are both in studio today, and they're both gonna hopefully be able to play each other out, and they've become good friends, so hopefully not too many bad manners there. Trainer Lewis again against Music Master a bit later, B-Rad and Craaap. And rounding off the day in the final 3 matches, J-Montie against Colton. Can he try and keep it to just 1 loss so far this week? And ending off our day, we will see Oxalate and Colton So anyways, we've gotten to see a lot of good replays. We've seen, you know, Seth and Sweej cover theirs, but I know BBXH has something special to break something down for us. So what do you got for us, BB?
All right, that's right. So I want to highlight one particular replay that we saw earlier. This came from match number 1, game 2. This is B-Rad versus Music Master. So you and I sat and we watched this, and there were 2 moments within just about 25, 30 seconds of each other that we really wanted to highlight for you. So let's get into this replay and let's see what happened, shall we?
Yeah, so a really, really heavy elixir deck. When you get when you see the beginning of this, just in general, it's a golem. Three musketeer deck, right? So if we get the replay started, you'll get to see immediately just a lot of placement on the half of Music Master's side. And he's going to be pushing down the lane.
Here we go.
So if we stop it right here, so you'll notice 3 musketeers right behind Golem.
Oh my God!
That's a lot of elixir on one side, so not much can B-Rad do to defend this. B-Rad has lightning in hand. That's pretty much all he can do from the opponent's side. But notice what happens. If we get it rolling, you'll see Music Master place the battle ram just as the lightning starts, and it eats up one of the lightnings as well, but he'll still continue to defend just as strongly.
Yeah, now we're looking at B-Rad. What is he going to have to defend this push here? It's a lot. He's got an Executioner down. He's got a Knight down as well. It's not going to be enough because he's still got these 2. All right, now let's pause right here. This moment, perfect. Oh my gosh, this is the moment I wanted to highlight because he's got the 2 musketeers still alive. He drops a minion horde as well, but unfortunately for Music Master, B-Rad has Exonado. So he had 1 Executioner who died, of course, but we have another one that comes out, which Executioner, he costs 5 elixir, which is the same as the minion horde. And then he's got the 3 elixir tornado down. That tornado sucks everything together and just wipes all of them out. So if we continue the replay, you'll see how B-Rad just cleans up the rest of it. Crazy. What a good ending. I mean, this truly shows how well these players do and how well they can handle a defense of, like you said, such a heavy elixir push. That's a 17 elixir push that B-Rad just shuts down. Make sure that you guys don't forget to follow us on our social media, all at Clash Royale. Let's get into match number 5. Next up, we've got Music Master versus Bernstein Cat.
Thanks, BBXH. That's right, we have Music Master Bernstein Cat. 2 players looking for a win right here. Bernstein Cat has yet to secure a CCGS match win.
Yes.
And Music Master is 1-2. So
kind of up and down. But the reason why I love this matchup, and I was super interested in watching it, because Bernstein and Music Master actually make similar mistakes. Music Master drops P.E.K.K.A. Down when he's facing a giant deck instead of countering it. And Bernstein Cat actually made a few mistakes too last week. If you remember, he dropped goblins onto a casted poison, and he dropped bats onto a casted ice golem instead of dropping on the side of the hog.
Yeah, I remember
so
that.
I feel like sometimes both these players maybe are a little anxious, and they make these plays that cost them.
I'm excited for it because these are 2 of the most creative deck builders in the North American field. We saw Music Master playing the P.E.K.K.A. Expo deck last week. Bernstein Cat in the qualifying rounds was running like Mega Knight and P.E.K.K.A. in the same deck, like 2 massive tanks. So I hope that they both bring just interesting, cool, diverse decks this time. I'm sick of miners. Let's see tanks. I want to see double tanks in both decks. 4 tanks, 2 players. That's my vote.
And I think what's going to come down to who is going to make the least amount of mistakes here, right? If you're against a giant deck, Music Master, are you going to play your P.E.K.K.A. or are you going to wait for the giant and then you're going to drop that P.E.K.K.A., right? So I think it's going to come down to that play because that's huge for pro players. If you play your counter condition like a P.E.K.K.A. against a giant, but you play P.E.K.K.A. earlier than giant, you put yourself in a tough spot.
Oh, and the first time this has happened, both
ban.
players banned Miner. Remember, it's a blind ban. They don't know what the other person's banning. So Music Master said, I'm banning Miner. Bernstein Cat said, I'm banning Miner. And the admin said, you both ban Miner. It's just 1 card ban for this match. So they can play anything their little hearts desire except for the Miner.
The Miner. And that takes out the Miner control decks that were so popular last week. But it didn't have the highest of win rates. You know, it had about a 55% win rate. So now I think Giant Beatdown looks really, really tasty right now. Hog Lightning
Golem.
potentially.
They both like Golem.
They both like Golem as well, so that could come out as well. Maybe
I'd be fine
some
with
3
Golem
Musk.
match. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
3 Musketeers.
So let's see what happens. We're in Jungle Arena here. Bernstein Cat in along the top, Music Master in the bottom. I think Bernstein Cat knew that he's going to be the red player this time, so he got the little red curtain
the
out.
pump gets dropped early. Let's see what they have to counter. Poison potentially? Nope. Ooh, this is rough. Such good defense on Music Master. And with that pump and no tower damage onto Music Master's tower, such a good trade for Music Master.
Underrated thing too, check out his 3 cards played. 3 cards, 5 elixir. With the next card he plays, if he zaps right here or something, he's got pump back in his hand.
Oh, he doesn't have a spell. He doesn't have anything.
There it is.
Expo gets dropped. Expo with the Elixir Clay. And the P.E.K.K.A gets dropped here to counter and tank up that damage.
Now, P.E.K.K.A's actually not a bad... I mean, it's good because it's got the health to block the Expo, but if you're an Expo player, you're actually kind of happy with P.E.K.K.A because it's going to get hung up on things like Goblin.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
And look at the amount of damage it does there. Ice Golem comes out and that Expo just connects to the tower there. Getting a tower down to less than 2,000 health. Wow, the Mega Man connects also, and it gets on 13-16.
Ice Golem wants in on that, giving a few hugs. A few big old frosty hugs.
Yeah.
And before it's playing Bursting Cat
oh my goodness, that Mega Minion did so much damage to that tower. Got 2 swings, I believe.
And here's the only downside. Music Master has 1 card left in his deck. I haven't seen a spell yet. I'm willing to bet that that spell is something along the lines of like Zap or Log, and probably not Poison or Fireball.
Yeah.
Big. It could be like Rocket or whatever, but just looking at it, it looks like it should probably be a Zap or a Log. I can't remember the last time I saw a deck that didn't run
And
Zap or
wow,
Log.
look at
in it,
that
or
Ice
Tornado.
Spirit with the Goblins. Just completely counters the Battleram and Minion there.
Yep. We'll see if
And then
another
here we go.
Expo comes
Expo's
down.
going to come drop here.
6, maybe.
He does have the Elixir advantage now
log.
because the pump is pumping away.
Okay, so what I was going to say, so it is a Log now. It's been revealed. So the downside to me is that's a rocketable tower, but there's no rocket in your
There's
deck.
no rocket in this deck, right. Interesting deck by Music Master, but brilliant ban strategy. Ban Miner and then put pump in your deck.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's
Smart move.
You're right, he doesn't have to worry about, I guess he could worry about a rocket, but
Oh, he pumps again.
insane.
Wow, this is gonna be big for Bernstein here. He's gotta get a good push here. Otherwise that Expo is gonna tear that tower down. Oh, the defensive Expo comes out here to play against the P.E.K.K.A here.
The Music Master, I think, is actually in a pretty good spot here. Offensive P.E.K.K.As have never, ever been good ever in Clash Royale's history because things like Goblins will come down, just distraction troops, things like Ice Golem can buy you a lot of time. So I don't see this P.E.K.K.A, if you play it like that, like a tank, like I'm going to invest it behind my tower, ever actually reaching Music Master's tower.
Wow, he's going to continue to log and whittle away at the tower. Oh, it misses the tower. Wow, I thought he would place it a little, just one more tower up. He would have got it.
2. Maybe he had to play it deeper on his side because the units are already that far. Good news for Music Master, he's got 2 pumps going, so he can very quickly get to an Expo like this.
Wow, there, Expo's dropped. It's going to target that P.E.K.K.A here. And
This
let's
Expo
see how.
won't hit the tower, but the next one will.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he's going to cycle back to Expo, and right as this P.E.K.K.A dies, another one will come in.
Yeah, and look at that Poison Battle there, hitting the Archers and the Expo and the tower there.
Ooh, freezes it. Great log there, pushes down. The Battle Ram's going to go down. The
Again,
bandits
the
are caught
log
up.
doesn't hit the tower. I'm so curious why he isn't trying to move it just up a little slightly, launch it a little early, and then the second Expo comes out and he connects this to tower. He's going to secure the game, but the P.E.K.K.A is going to come out here. But there's a lot of troops.
Yeah, you're right. This could go against him because if you've noticed, so many of Bernstein Cat's poisons have hit the Expo and the tower.
Yes, exactly.
That happens 2 to 3 more times. That tower's very, very low. It doesn't take
and
much.
there we go.
It's
It connects the
locked
tower,
on.
and that's going to be GG.
Game 1 goes to Music Master. I believe all of his, maybe not all of his game wins, but I think a majority of his game wins have actually been with Expo decks. I mean, we mentioned
P.E.K.K.A, right? Last week.
We mentioned before his very first match that he is the most siege specialist of the players who are here. Out of these 10, he's the most Mortar and Expo favored player, and he's showing it by racking up wins with Expo.
Yeah, that's why Mortar was banned against him last week.
Yeah,
and he
that's
actually
right.
got into this phase and where he's now playing a Mortar bait deck that countered the log bait decks.
Yeah, I'd love to see Mortar played more in the Crown Championship Global Series because it's so good against Spellbait, and we see Spellbait often. It's not like,
and it's cheap.
it's not like it's a rare deck, right? Yeah, like I mean, it's not like, oh, Spellbait. It's not like that Bowler Furnace Rocket deck you see like once per 5-hour broadcast. You see Spellbait a lot. Let's take a look at the replay here though and see how Music Master was able to do it with that Expo. So here we have. This was after the first Expo, so it gets in there.
Yeah.
The Expo had already died. The Mega Minion had swung twice on the tower and gets it down to 11:06. Later on, though, he had P.E.K.K.A was played like a tank. Expo comes down. The Expo is shooting the P.E.K.K.A. Right as that P.E.K.K.A dies, another Expo came down. And even though he was able to cycle back a Bernstein Cat and get that other P.E.K.K.A in front of the tower, that was it. That was all of his elixir.
Yeah.
And there was so much stuff coming through, the Ice Golem, the Archers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The P.E.K.K.A just got gobbled up, locked onto the tower.
And Battleram never made it to tower. I mean, the Ice
not
Spirit
once.
was used. Yeah, not once. So
Battleram didn't get within like 4 tiles of the tower. It was a ways off. I don't think Battleram even got charging. Well, game 2 is going to start any second now.
I think he's going to keep the same deck.
He's going to keep the same deck? I think Music Master could actually switch to P.E.K.K.A. Like, if you
Oh,
want,
okay.
Like, because if you think your opponent's, if you're playing Expo, your opponent's going to keep playing tanks of some variety. If they even stay on a P.E.K.K.A deck and you can drop the P.E.K.K.A to their P.E.K.K.A.
I think both should play Elixir Collector here. We saw how strong it is with Miner being out of play and banned. Elixir Collector looks really, really strong.
Maybe Expo should be played with a Rocket if you're worried about that, right? Like instead of the pump, you play the Rocket, because if you think your opponent's going to be playing Elixir Collector this time, catch him with a Rocket. So here we go. Music Master, one game up, opening with a pump in the middle. And another punish is going to come through Bernstein Cat. When your opponent goes low down to 4 Elixir or less because they played the Elixir Collector, you have to go in with some sort of punish. And unfortunately, Bernstein Cat only has the 4 Elixir.
Oh, he does have a pump as well. And there comes the Battle Ram coming right up the right lane here. I mean, Zap takes him right out.
I actually think I was going to say Bernstein maybe wasn't happy with that punish, but for only 2 Elixir or 4 Elixir and 2 cards, getting over 500 damage is good.
Not bad. Yeah, not bad at all. Oh, the Golem gets dropped. This is his 3 Muskies Golem Battering Ram Minion Horde deck, I think. Double Minions deck that he played last week and just earlier today.
Battle Ram's also in that deck, and that's sort of the tell for me. So Musketeers, Bernstein Cat's playing 3 Musketeers. No word on if there's a Golem in there
he puts it in the same lane. This is such a huge and scary push. Look at Bernstein Cat. He like bites his lips a little bit here. He's like, man, what'd I do? Looks like he's gonna try to get the tower on the left though. They're gonna trade towers here, I believe.
I don't think either of these decks play a big spell. I think the Bernstein Cat just has the Zap, and I think Music Master, because he's playing the Minion Horde and the 3 Musketeers and all that, those take up the spots that would normally be Lightning or Poison. So we might be seeing 3 Musketeers in the same lane against each other.
Oh my goodness, look at the Minion Horde. Just gets on that tower and Golem is tanking all that damage. Minion Horde takes it down to 1610. Battering Ram comes out as well.
The Goblin
and that's
went the other way.
tower. Oh my goodness. Wow.
This is the world's fastest 3 crowd. Coming in here. Bernstein Cat saying good game as he's getting overwhelmed by all the Swarm cards. He only has Zap in his deck, and there's so many cards in that deck that don't die to Zap. Music Master with the 2-0 sweep.
Look at that smile. He's like, I got that game.
He's got to be really happy with that game because, I mean, you lost a match earlier today. You're feeling kind of bummed. You're like, man, I really need to pick up some wins.
So unfortunate for Bernstein, though. He came into this phase 4-0, right? I mean, and he came in as like the dark horse. And he just hasn't been able to live up to the hype.
Bernstein Cat was the only player. What Sweetj's talking about is during Elimination Week, when we went from 16 players in the region down to the 8 finalists who would join Oxalate and C-McHugh, he was the only player to go undefeated through Elimination Week. He went 4-0, just like crushed his group. And we were all like, oh, this Bernstein Cat guy's for real. But Bernstein Cat now falls down to, I believe, 0-3 or 0-4. 0-4, ouch. Putting him solidly in last place. Let's take a look at the replay and see how Music Master was able to take the sweep. So this was, you can notice the left side tower is shooting the Golem on the King Tower.
And the Minion Horde just free to reign there.
And the minions cleared out the Goblin, and one Goblin actually ran away, so it couldn't even stop to fight the Battle Ram or the Barbarians that came out of it, and he just kept putting down Zap-proof troops.
My goodness, but you can see Golem is so good. It's the most elixir per hit point. And you can see why it's such a crazy tank if you don't have like an Infernal Tower or P.E.K.K.A to counter it.
I like Golem more than Giant because of the Death Explosion. I mean, the Golemites are cool, but it's really the Death Explosion that does it for me. Because the thing that frustrates me as a beatdown player is when I play Giant at the river, they defend with whatever, and then the Giant dies, and you're like, oh, I gotta deal with this? Like, you're gonna lay this in my lap? I was attacking you, don't attack me. But with the Golem, it's like no matter what they defend with, you take out some of it. Like Goblin Skeletons, they get blown up, Minions get blown up. Even stuff like Mega Minion will take some damage, which makes it less threatening on the counterattack. So yeah, great job Golem, great job Music Master playing Golem. He's going to take a match win and move to 2-2.
Now Golem has, I think, 3-1 win rate so far today. Not bad.
Is that the new meta? I'm into the new meta.
Into the new meta.
So we're moving on to our next match here. We've got C-McHugh and B-Rad. This is a very anticipated matchup. B-Rad, C-McHugh, both players for Nova, longtime friends, both great players, considered some of the best players in North America, but kind of an auspicious meeting. B-Rad,
they both haven't won a series.
C-McHugh 0-2, right? So these players...
CMC not winning?
Yeah.
Wow.
One of these players is going to walk away with the match win and get up on the big board, but of course, you just didn't want to be in this situation where your life is on the line in week 2. Now, not really life on the line because you have 18 matches. You could lose the first 8, win the next 10, and you're in the fall finals comfortably, right? But nobody wants to go down to 0-4, 0-5. It's just a hole you just don't want to dig yourself out of against these players.
Yeah, and let's see. Miner is not banned against B-Rad. The Rocket is banned against CMC, and Knight is banned. That's an interesting ban. I think this is the first time we've seen Knight being banned here.
Me too. Most people like to play with the power of the mustache, but not in this case. The Knight, probably just a well-rounded defense card. I'm not really sure why McHugh was banning it. Maybe he wants to play a Miner deck. Of course, Miner against
Yeah.
B-Rad, pretty brave.
Miner
but maybe
versus
he wants to play
Miner.
Miner so
That's
he gets the
brave.
night out. The Rocket, though, definitely a target towards McHugh's Spellbait deck.
Yes.
He plays Spellbait a lot. He actually played Spellbait twice last week, so it's a very targeted ban there. But when I watched the EU Crown Championship, the European Crown Championship this week, Adam had somebody banned, I think Nem Sensei or someone else banned Rocket against him, thinking it would take out the Spellbait deck.
No,
Adam
but-
just played it with Fireball instead of Rocket
Yeah.
and won the game. So if I'm McHugh, I might still be like, Spellbait's fine.
Yeah, I think you should respect these like master players in their archetype, right? Like B-Rad just so good with Miner. Bar the best in the world, and Adam, the best with like Logbait, with Goblin Barrel. Like I feel like you gotta watch out for these players and like not give them their most comfortable decks.
And if you're going to ban something, make sure you kill that deck. Like, banning Three Musketeers, that kills Three Musketeers. You ain't playing Three Musketeers deck. But if you're going to ban something out of Spellbait, ban like
Words of
Princess.
wisdom. Words
Yeah,
of-
well, ban like Princess. Right? 'Cause
Yeah,
like, that's
ban
a very
Princess,
unique
right.
card. Don't ban the Rocket, because it's not like Lightning doesn't exist. It's not like Fireball doesn't exist as a card. I can replace that spell, but I can't really replace the Princess. We'll see. Maybe McHugh, though. If I had to wager, we got Giant Beatdown here.
Giant
Maybe
Beatdown
Golem.
or Golem Beatdown. And
I mean
then
Giant.
the Executioner Tornado combo with Hog.
This
so
is
this
the
is a
Hog
Hog
Lightning
deck.
deck. So
Hog Lightning deck.
B-Rad mentioned that he's been playing Hog Lightning more than Miner Poison, trying to diversify. So I would almost guarantee this is the deck.
Oh, he doesn't drop the Miner. Oh, he drops the Miner right onto the Elixir
Oh,
Collector.
the two minions lock onto the tower. The Miner came out just a perfect time. And gets that tower down to under 2,000 health.
Yeah, that was a good trade there for B-Rad for sure. The Executioner will get 2 hits onto that tower.
The Goblins code could tie it up very quickly. An ignored squad of Goblins can do a good amount of damage, but B-Rad blocks it with the Bandit. Bats are going to take it out right at the river before a charge happens. And here comes the balloon for B-Rad.
No Hog, but balloon instead. Wow. Let's see if this is going to connect the tower. Is it? Oh, the Ice Golem takes out both of those bats there, and the balloon connects the tower. 1 hit.
And drop
Do
again.
it! Oh, man.
The death damage is going to bring that
Ouch.
tower to within spell range. Even
Oh,
if it
and
doesn't
there's-
kill it, that's 2 Miner swings. That's a poison. It's a Miner and a zap. I mean, there's a lot of ways for that tower to go down. So McHugh's got to figure out a way for him to make a counterattack, because at this point, B-Rad can just play defense the entire rest of the game.
Yeah, I wonder what 2 other cards they have left, though. It's definitely spell cards, but I wonder what type here. Oh, the prediction does not land, and a Fireball comes expertly, hitting the Goblins and the Elixir Collector. And then CMC just gives away the right tower here.
If you've never seen a lot of Miner decks played in tournaments, that's one of the best fake outs, the best setups that whole deck can do, is that you throw the Miner on the Elixir Collector and you let loose your spell, because they have to block the Miner, and when they do, you get to hit
get
the
so
tower,
much value.
pump, and the defending troops.
Yeah.
That Fireball would have been worth it if the Miner wasn't there, you know what I mean? Like, and it's even better because, yeah, you free up the Miner to get a little bit more damage. All right, here we go. Golem. Ooh,
Mega
buddy.
Knight.
You wonder what the
Wow.
last 2 cards were. They are these big boys.
Yeah, and their Tornado's gonna come out. Doesn't drag the Mega Knight, but does take the Golem back.
Those tanks still have a lot of health
Yeah,
on them.
a
Those
ton of
minions,
health.
though, those minions shred the rest of the Mega Knight and prevent the double tanks from getting there. But the Golem is going to connect. The Mega Minion's right
Wow.
behind it. Taking
That is
out
such- and
minions.
look at the
The
Golem
Mega
Knight.
Minion's going to connect. No, the
Tornado comes
stops
out.
it.
However, woo! Yes,
Nightwish
Nightwish takes
connects.
care of the Bandit and is gonna connect to that tower here.
Wow, and
But
just like this,
the
is
Miner
turning
comes
around
right in
very
front.
fast.
It actually
B-Rad-
blocked. Wow, what a nice defense by B-Rad there.
Yeah. And I think B-Rad's finally stabilizing. He's got to play defensive troop after defensive troop, because as long as your tower's shooting, you've got a good chance here. The Goblin's going to get a little closer. Oh, no! 7 seconds, 8 seconds left. There's nothing in the
Wow,
deck.
look
B-Rad,
at Bear. He's
wow.
relieved. He's like, he almost like lost that tower. It was so close. But that Miner coming right in front of the Night Witch, repositioning her so that she then re-aggroes onto the Miner instead of the tower, was a beautiful play by B-Rad there to save the tower.
It looked like McHugh was going to get that critical mass and bulldoze.
Yeah.
Bulldoze over the. Welcome back. We're going to bulldoze over the tower with the critical mass, but it didn't happen there because B-Rad did a good job of just continually throwing out troops.
Right.
And as long as your tower is shooting, it's generating elixir every second, right? Like if you figure killing a goblin every second or so is like, all right, that takes out, 0.75 elixir or something like that. As long as you can just keep that tower firing and just distract, the tower will eventually overcome any elixir disadvantage you have. And
there was one
clear it
key
out.
point when the Golem and the Mega Knight was at the bridge. The Tornado pulled the Golem back and put the Mega Knight in front so the Golem wasn't tanking, and the Mega Knight was taken out. If the Mega Knight was alive and behind that Golem, that would have been a different turnout for CMC there. But unfortunately, that Tornado placement was just very well done by Brad.
And that's where the minions come into play, right? So the minions were zapped, but they were still kind of alive over on that side.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the replay here of a tower taking some massive damage. So here we go. This is the balloon that sealed
he
this
didn't have
tower.
anything to respawn.
Yep.
No bats. We're in cycle here, looks like. And then Mega Minion, not enough. And then look at the amount of damage that takes. I mean, 2 hits from balloon. That is huge.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations where we mentioned, like, you can just play defense the rest of the game. B-Rad won that game because for the last minute and a half, he never had to cast another balloon or miner. Everything was just spent on, the defensive cards here. Let's take a look at this heat map. You can see the red on B-Rad's right side is that early, balloon ice golem sort of push that we saw there. And then after that, all of the other placements are around the tower trying to defend. You know what stands out to me about B-Rad's deck? Not only is he making absolutely ideal placements, but he's doing it expertly every time, right? There's not a scatter plot of all these different placements all over. It's like he made the exact right play in the exact right spot over and over again, which is why there's not as many dots on the field.
Yeah, and that Ice Golem works so well because when Ice Golem exploded, the death damage, it took out both bats from the Night Witch. And he only had the Mega Man, which was distracted and did not get on that balloon, and that's why B was able to connect the balloon with 2 hits on that tower.
That's part of the reason why Ice Golem is such a popular card.
So strong.
It's great on defense, it's great on offense. It automatically kills skeletons and bats, and along with a zap, it kills stuff like minions. So you're seeing the situations there where if they can get an Ice Golem to splash on some of those troops, it's just brutal. It just hurts you. Here we go, B-Rad.
Oh, Elixir Collector is played again on the CMC side here.
Gotta go for the punish.
Oh, the Hog this time. So it looks like he's gonna play maybe a similar deck with Hog, and a beautiful log comes out there. However, Hog will get 1 hit, 2 hits, and then 3 hits onto that tower. Well played.
I mean, B-Rad, he loves the decks that he loves. So even though he's not only playing Minor Poison, he's picked up Hog Lightning as a second deck. He loves this deck. He's going to play this as much as possible, right? So what I like about B-Rad is he's a
Expo
master.
comes out on the right side there. And an Ice Golem in the tank in front of it. And wow, that Ice Golem is going to be perfectly placed there. Expo is locked on to that Executioner. And is going to take out in time here, is it?
It does.
Oh, it does, but wow, look at the amount of damage it does. And the Ice Golem death damage. And then Expo doesn't have to connect the tower. It does. Only 3 hits, though. Wow.
He's back to a pump, though, so he gets the second pump out. He's got to defend this Hog Rider, but if he can hold off against this Hog Rider without taking critical damage, the next Expo is going to be that much better because he has so much collected elixir to combine it.
Yeah, only he takes 1 hit on that tower. Nice Ice Spirit there to respond quickly to that Hog Rider. And allows the archers to do maximum amount of damage, so they only get one hit on the tower.
Gets the Ice Golem down. Executioner comes. The Executioner's not hitting the Expo because it's focused on the Ice Golem.
Yeah, he's going to drop Mega Man here to take care of that. Yes, he will.
He's going to keep distracting it. And Mega Man's going to chop up that Ice Golem, too.
Yeah, and the Tombstone will probably be dropped here. He needs to drop... Oh, the Hog gets dropped, but he dropped another Elixir Collector instead here.
I have a feeling McHugh's counting Elixir and realizing that B-Rad is expending so much to stop these Expos that he can take advantage of the low Elixir that B-Rad is at and just get the pump out.
Hog is out of cycle.
Hog's gone.
Hog's gone. Now he's going to win with this push here. He's so ahead. 2 Elixirs, and this is going to secure this tower, I believe.
Great placement on that Executioner, this time in a spot where it's going to hit the Expo as well. He has to log to knock it back. And it freezes that.
Beautiful Ice Spirit there. Dodges the Executioner and freezes the Ice Golem. And a Hog comes out again. Does he have something to respond? No, he doesn't. Does he have another Expo, though?
Yeah, that's why he played the Mega Minion back.
There.
He played the Mega Minion back on purpose so that it would time well.
Oh, the Lightning comes out, hits the Expo and the Mega Minion, but Expo's still pretty healthy.
That's a 6 for 6, but the Expo costs 6 as well and survives with a lot.
Yeah, and look at the amount of damage in there. Now CMC needs to counter. Beautiful log again comes out, takes out the Goblins and the Ice Spirit, and now B-Rad can't drop the Hog on the left side. He's got to drop the Hog on the right side with Execution here, because he cannot let that... Wow, he hit the size of Tornado, okay.
I mean, you get the extra damage in there. I think it's a good job there by B-Rad trying to stall it out.
Oh my goodness, what a beautiful log. These logs from CNC have been so good. And he connects the tower and he takes the game here.
I was just going to say, McHugh does not have a rocket or a big spell, so the longer you hold out, it's actually okay, because you can block Expos for a really long time if he can't spell cycle you out.
Yeah.
But Expo did lock on. The Elixir advantage eventually just got to be too much. There wasn't any real big tank to finish it off right. There wasn't a giant or like an Ice Golem or whatever. Yeah.
But those logs have been so good by CMC, getting so much value off it. And then he just was able to build up the Elixir, and I knew that next push, he had it. And then B-Rad couldn't even respond with Executioner and Hog. Wasn't even enough. He cycled to another Expo and secured the right tower.
At the end of game 1, we saw B-Rad make a huge, like, ooh. And he did that because he knows how hard it is to take a game off McHugh. It's like there's no, doesn't matter if he's out of practice or whatever. Right? It's just not an easy person to beat. B-Rad knows that better than most. So when he got that first win, he was like, whoa. And here we are, going to a game 3 because it's just not that easy to beat this dude 2 times in a row.
Yeah, it isn't. It isn't.
Let's take a look at the replay from the last game here. One of the critical moments for C-McHugh.
Yeah, this is when he had double Elixir Collectors down, drops the second Expo, and even here, even with the Hog and Executioner, wasn't up. But look at that log there.
Yeah, wow.
You know, every time he lands such a high value log, hitting tower, hitting the Goblins or Ice Spirit, and just doing so well to counter B-Rad.
And it locked on perfectly. And the thing about Expo is even if it only has this much health on it, that represents hundreds and hundreds of damage.
Yeah.
So that Expo only had like maybe 20-25% health on it, but once it locked on, gone, right? Way more than enough. You're done at that point.
So both of them now are in a really tough spot. I would not want to be in their spot because they need to win.
I'm glad we're here. I'm glad I'm here in the caster's booth.
They both have 0 wins so far in 2 weeks. So they're like, I don't know, they're nervous or what, but they got to win this series and get 1 win and not be that guy that has lost every time.
And it's just a bummer to play your friends too because like only you could, it's not like if you're lossless and you get that first win against somebody you don't like, it's like, oh, that was awesome. That's the best thing that could happen to me. But that's not the case here, right? Where if for every amount that B-Rad might be happy, McHugh's going to be disappointed and vice versa.
Yeah. So it looks like maybe they're going to switch up the decks a little bit. Yep, Bandit's going to be picked up here on the side of B-Rad. Bats on the side of CMC.
What a great addition to the game.
Wow.
Bats, I'm
Electro
so glad.
Wizard. So are they going to be playing similar decks with Bandit? And beautiful
Great defense ball. Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, that's 7 elixir
awesome.
right there at the river. It takes them both out. I'd say Bats was such a great addition to the game. I'm so glad that Bats got released, which reminds me that tomorrow, Flying Machine is getting added to the game. We'll be seeing Flying Machine in the Crown Championship Global Series.
I like his shoes. Whoever's wearing those shoes.
Yeah, he's got a nice little set of clompers as he's flying around.
Infernal Dragon gets dropped here. B-Rad is slightly ahead of Elixir, though. He's going to try and make a play with it. Yeah. Oh, and the Goblins get dropped right. I love the drop right at the bridge there, so you don't let the Bandit charge up at all. And that's how you want to counter, because the charge range has a 4 to 6 tower radius. So if you let the Bandit charge and you drop, that Bandit's going to basically be able to take out whatever you're going to drop in front of him.
And great job with the Miner going in there. He had to take out that Electro Wizard, because if you don't take out the Electro Wizard, it stops everything.
What a beautiful Ice Spirit there. The timing of that.
Far away, so far away too.
And like that was great.
But overall, I think McHugh's happy with that. He's at 10 elixir. He has about a 3 to 4 elixir advantage now, and a lot of that derives from that 4 elixir Inferno Dragon, forcing his opponent to drop Ice Spirit and Knight and Bandit, all these cards to
Inferno Tower comes out, and then is CMC gonna drop Bats here and then use a Zap? Yep, the Bats will come out to distract Inferno Tower. Electro Wizard comes out.
Not hitting anything though. It's not hitting the tower.
The Mega Knight's gonna go on the left side here. Miner comes out right Electro Wizard. Perfect placement there by McHugh.
There's no Zap.
Yeah, there's no Zap. And then Mega Knight just gets vaporized.
Meanwhile, the Miner's outside of range, so he's able to get a little bit of damage in there. Looks like it's a Miner duel. That's a brave,
beautiful
brave for McHugh, man. You didn't ban Miner, and now you're going to have to deal with it in Game 3. If you want to win this match, you have to beat the Miner God in a Miner mirror match.
Yeah, I know. This is going to be a really close game. Inferno Dragon is dropped here. That means CMC is going to save his Mega Knight. Oh, Fireball instead? Yeah, he's going to Fireball cycle a little bit. That's actually really, really smart.
I think, he's just not going to push it. In fact, he might just let this Inferno Dragon go and just call it a lost cause, right?
Yeah, and then you can just save Mega Knight for at the bridge. As soon as that Electro Wizard Ice Golem shows up, drop the Mega Knight right on top of them.
It's another Fireball comes out. I just say well played.
There we go.
Mega Knight. And now the Inferno Tower, I'd say it's out of cycle, but he's got it back by now because he had played so many cards.
Oh, that's an unfortunate placement with the Miner there.
Oh, the bat. Oh, he reset it, but then that was a little too early use for Zap.
It was.
He reset it when it was going over the bats. You want it resetting on the Mega Knight, not on the bats.
The Miner placement and the Inferno Tower placement. The Inferno Tower getting the Miner there is so much value for the Inferno Tower. B-Rad's part.
Yeah, he's winning this game just technically, mechanically.
Yeah.
C-McHugh made a few out of character mechanical mistakes. He's usually considered like just an absolutely perfect mechanical player for the most part. But B-Rad seems like he's just taking advantage of knowing the Miner deck a little better.
Oh, he misses the Miner prediction there.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
Slowly but surely, the damage is going in favor of the logs, the poisons,
this
the Miners
is a tough spot now because you're behind tower health against, and you have Miner.
But you want to be down deck though. So here's the thing, right? Expect Bats in the middle. You got the Zap, you got the Miner that can maybe pop a case. I thought he might put the Miner in front of the Inferno Tower, but here come the bats on the other side. Oof. He's resetting it, now they're targeting that, and just like that, the Mega Knight's got a lot of health left. Oh, but the Inferno Tower's still a little healthier.
He's got to try to get rid of that Inferno Tower because it's just wrecking his Mega Knight every single time.
He just doesn't seem to have a good
and
way
look
to
at
get
the
through it.
Poison Miner, and he's going to have this game here.
Yep, and that shows why. If B-Rad's going to take the game here, the sweep, although it was really close.
Oh my God,
Look
at B-Rad, like, yes,
I'm so happy with that. Fist pump. It's got to be nice to get into the win column, especially against a player of C-McHugh's caliber.
Oh, he's excited. He's like, yes, yes, I'm not that guy. I won a series.
Ooh, yeah, letting everyone in his bedroom know who the champion is.
Yeah, that's why you don't play Miner against B-Rad. Why give him his master card?
Nem Sensei learned that in the European CCGS
against
this week.
Adam.
Nem Sensei played Spellbait against Adam, the Spellbait master, in a mirror.
And got wrecked.
And Adam wins, right? And I think that same thing. C-McHugh likes playing Miner, didn't want to ban Miner on the off chance that he wanted to play Miner at some point in the match. Came back to bite him. Didn't work out, and B-Rad takes the 2-1 victory. We got a replay for you. The tower going down. Let's take a looky-see at this one.
Yeah, this is where it was close between both sides. If C-McHugh had some more tower damage, maybe he could have tied it there and gone into overtime, but it just wasn't enough here.
And that just shows how good Inferno Tower is, why Spellbait is such a popular and resilient deck that just sticks around from meta to meta, is that I looked at McHugh's deck. He had a million answers to Inferno Tower, right? Like, you have the Mega Knight jumps. So I wonder if we see the Inferno Towers replaced. They all had to be placed right there in the middle, right? Like where that yellow spot is, that had to be it.
Yeah, for sure. And you can hear B-Rad here. It looks like, I think the towers flip, but you can see there the Miner placements, right? He switched it up each time, was able to get more chip damage and connect to the tower. And then CMC constantly got countered. I mean, his Miner got hit by the Inferno Tower twice, which that just stinks. And then the Bandit drops too by B-Rad, was able to predict those Miners and basically keep the Miner off his tower. And that's why you don't want to play against a Miner god. He's going to know where that Miner is.
Yeah, definitely. But I want to go back to the deck list. So Inferno Tower is super good because C-McHugh had the Mega Knight, which jumps. It's not like P.E.K.K.A. It's not like Golem. It moves fast enough that it'll get to the Inferno Tower. He had Electro Wizard to reset it. He had Zap from hand to reset it. And he had Bat to distract it. And it was all just not enough. Like, B-Rad's deck was able to stall, distract, use Ice Golem to pull the thing over here, like whatever. And that Inferno Tower just held strong against, felt like a half dozen Mega Knight pushes.
Yeah, every time.
Well, that was another 2 matches from up here in the commentary booth. For more analysis, let's go to our favorite host, BBXH.
I'm the favorite? Thank you. What a close matchup there. That was our first game 3 of today, but B-Rad taking the win with what he knows and uses best, which is Miner. Let's take a look at our leaderboard, see how the points have shifted around today. We now see Oxalate in first place, the reigning champion, leading it so far with Wings just tailing behind him, tied with J-Montie there. And then, of course, Colton and Craaap, B-Rad sitting in the blue, and then the rest of our players sitting in the red. But again, this is still week number 2. We have a lot of room for movement as we go on. Before we get into our next match, though, I know Carpet's got a special guest with him. Who you got with you, Carpet?
Thank you, BB, and no thank you, Rumham, as much as I appreciate your compliments. Not today, buddy. But while we have them in the studio, we really like to showcase them as much as we can. So I've got Trainer Lewis here. We're going to ask him a few questions. So Trainer Lewis, why don't you come on out? He's shown well. He might be kind of new to this competitive scene, but he's doing a grand job right now, dealing with his nerves and playing against these top dogs. How's it going, man? Thanks for coming.
Good, how you doing, man?
Doing all right. So I have to say this first of all. So when we got the pictures in from you guys, you guys made your player cards. Your picture was the best one by so far.
Thank you.
I also thought you were like 22.
So you see me in person, I look like 27 now?
At 27, 28, give or take. Where'd you get that shirt? Why aren't you wearing it?
Actually, my girlfriend got it for me. I didn't want to be repetitive with the shirts I was wearing, so.
Fair enough.
I was gonna wear a Lilo and Stitch one, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Left it at home.
You got to make sure you be picky. So, you know, your face hasn't been seen as much in the competitive Clash scene. So, you know, as you were kind of becoming a new player, were there any specific people or players that you watched or looked up to, or just kind of like saw their content and stuff?
Oh, totally, man. I would say that Clash with Ash has been a huge impact in my sort of progression in the competitive scene. I think he's managed to sort of create this structure in his YouTube channel that allows players that are aspiring to be pros to have access to all this high-level gameplay. And honestly, I think that most of my strategy and sort of development as a player came from that. that sort of got my foot in the door. And thanks to guys like Richard, he's the manager over at Nova, who's really supported me through every step, sort of made sure that I'm well taken care of. And thanks to those two people, I think that I've been able to get to where I am.
So I know you're not used to hearing it, but what does it feel like being in the top 10 North American players right now?
It's insane, man. Like, just like even sitting here right now, just like having this interview, I just can't believe it. I think like a lot of these guys sort of like if you ask a lot of them if they thought they were gonna make it, then a lot of them would say yes. But I think for me, it's kind of like still a shock just sitting in the studio. But honestly, I think that if anyone was to take anything out of this, is the fact that if you learn your matchups and you work hard, you can get to exactly where I am and even do better than I'm doing.
So as far as the 5 phases, right? So we're in phase 4 now. Was there any between phase 1 and 2 and 3? So between the 20-win challenge and then the bracket play and then elimination week, which one of those was the most threatening for you?
Oh, it's definitely okay. Obviously, this one's really tough because everybody that's here is incredible. But I would say that phase 3 was the previous one, yeah?
Yeah.
It was so hard. I was in a bracket with Tin2, who was undefeated most of last season, yes. Tag, who's an established beast, and then B-Rad. And so going into that group phase 3, I just didn't think I was going to make it out. But thanks to my training partner, Daniel, so shout out to Daniel, oh yeah. Thanks to him, I was able to get in some reps, and thankfully I came out victorious.
So now that you're here, has it changed your practice regimen? Does this give you motivation to continue on with Clash Royale?
I haven't been able to practice as much as I wanted to in the last week with the whole thing that happened in Puerto Rico. I'm actually I'm the captain of the Plex Chat Puerto Rican national team.
Yeah.
So I've been having to deal with sort of that whole frenzy and kind of figure out where my players are at. So that's been sort of stressful because and I grew up in Puerto Rico. I spent a lot of time there.
Yeah.
So kind of dealing with that, it's been sort of not ideal. But I would say that for the most part, I do have a lot of practice hours on my shoulders, and although I'm not saying I'm the best, I do think I have a shot at it.
So I don't reveal too much, but you're going up against Colton next, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Colton as a player, and what is something you're looking forward to?
Man, Colton's a fierce competitor. You see, like if you were like a third, kind of like watching us from a third person point of view, you would see like the difference in style, how we carry ourselves. And I think he's like I think part of it has to do with the fact that he's sort of like a seasoned competitor. This is not his first rodeo. For me, I'm still excited. So I'm still looking around. Before this, I was messing around with a little night sword and just stabbing people with it. So I'm actually glad you guys fixed it because I couldn't figure that out.
All right, well, Trainer Lewis, thank you so much for talking to us. I really appreciate it. And seriously, good luck in your next match.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So we're actually going to get to see him go against Colton, and we'll talk to Colton a bit later, but let's just get right into it. Sweet J and Rumham, what do you got?
Thank you, my second favorite host. But
Second favorite.
That's right.
He's my favorite, though.
Okay. Agree to disagree. Nah, I'm just kidding. I love you, Carpet. Okay, so we have Colton against Trainer Luis.
Yeah.
They're both in studio.
They are.
They'll be coming out shortly to get ready and onto the podium. I like it when both players are in studio because they can point,
Is Colton
jab,
gonna
and talk.
dab at him,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, I'm
We'll
too
see.
old. Back in my day, it was the Charleston. Okay, so we've got Trainer Luis, and that's right. That's a good picture. That man is rocking his finest Sunday best Tommy Bahama shirt in this photo, and he definitely looks like a model. I like it. Yeah, Colton Wall hailing from the heart of Texas.
Yeah.
Good old Texas boy, though. Living in California, though, going to school.
school in San Diego.
Yeah, he's down in San Diego, just about 2 hours south of here in Los Angeles. Made
there they are. Look at them, smiling, confident. Colton, look at him. Look how tall he is. He got to like hunch over.
Yeah,
that
Colton-
phone. He's like 6'3", I believe.
6'9".
6'9".
Yeah, yeah. Plays power forward for the Clippers when he's going to leave here, head on down to the Staples Center. Yeah, true
Exactly.
story.
We're gonna lose him to basketball.
Yeah. Trainer Luis, though, interesting fact, standing on 4 phone books. So.
Okay, so what I'm interested about this matchup, Colton last week, like figured his opponents out. He would his opponent played Lava Balloon, like B-Rad played Lava Balloon, and he played like all anti-air. Like he had a Golem with like a Mega Minion with arrows, with a Baby Dragon, and then another time he built the same deck. He just was able to counter build decks so well against his opponents. So I want to see what type of deck he's gonna pull out here.
Colton bans Goblin Barrel against Trainer Luis as the Trainer Luis bans Elixir Collector. I think Colton might be taking bans the most seriously out of these 10 competitors. He hasn't thrown any away on like a Bomb Tower or Clone
no, he
ban.
hasn't. Yep.
the ones that he's picked seemed very targeted at his opponent. So to Trainer Lewis's point during the interview, it seems like Colton, he's a seasoned competitor. He's doing his scouting. He's knowing what he wants to ban. Trainer Lewis has banned Elixir Collector a few times now.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you're actively targeting Three Musketeers, Golem.
I wonder who's going to play the balloon deck and who's going to play the anti-air deck here.
Could both play balloons.
They could play both balloons. That would be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I would imagine. So with Three Musketeers, I would say Three Musketeers is probably not going to be played the whole match. But I could see like a Golem deck or a Giant deck because you don't have to necessarily play Elixir Collector. Like Giant Beatdown, for example, doesn't need Elixir Collector to be effective. But you really want that Elixir Collector and Three Musketeers to cast the man
I know,
to draw
exactly. You want the
spells away.
Elixir advantage, right? So you have that one successful push.
So let's get into game number 1. I'm excited for this matchup. We've got the close-up views, so we can get really into we can almost see into their minds with
One's
these
got
camera
the
angles.
wired earpods, and Colton has. Oh no, he's wired as well.
Yeah, they don't want to hear us jabber John, so they've got the earbuds in there.
Look at Trainer Lewis. He's just smiling. I think he's pretty confident. Feeling pretty confident here.
We were talking to the players beforehand. They're really happy to be here, definitely confident in their skills. They were practicing back in the green room before coming out here on the studio. You have a little bit more time to practice because, of course, the show's been going on for a little bit.
Yeah, it was funny in the green room. They were talking about each other's decks. I'm like, you guys are facing each other, so it was a pretty interesting conversation.
These two players are actually leery about showing each other decks. They were trying to practice with each other in the other rooms. Like Colton and Oxalate would go practice in one room while Trainer Luis would go practice.
Oh, the tornado pulls the miner
Great
to the King
tornado.
Tower and activate. That was such a beautiful tornado. Look Colton's face. He's like, oh crap.
And not only is that good, but you want to do that early. Because, for example, if your tower already has 1,000 or 1,500 damage on it, the tornado is kind of like whatever because there's not that many future
Trainer
pushes.
Lewis is like, man, that bandit did get a charge off of that tower. Shucks.
Yeah, exactly.
So
You'd
close.
love that charge, get an extra 300 damage on there. This time, Bandit's going to hit that miner.
Yeah. So I'm going to get 2 hits on that tower.
Very little chip damage has been dealt to either tower. Minute 15 into the game.
Yeah.
They've done a great job at intercepting each other's pushes. No one's really gone in with a big commitment. The
P.E.K.K.A.
biggest
comes
commitment
out.
is that P.E.K.K.A.
Look at Trainer Lewis's face. He's like, what's going on? But he has Tornado against a miner deck, and Colton's going to struggle to get chip damage on that tower with the Tornado there.
Even if he ignores every other miner, these miners do about half
he's like,
damage from here on
shucks,
out.
P.E.K.K.A. versus P.E.K.K.A.
And I think he's kicking himself for playing that Executioner because it's 5 Elixir that's really not...
Yeah, it's not going to be able... Oof, takes out that
It did more than I thought it was going to do.
Yeah, it did.
To be honest, that P.E.K.K.A. doesn't look like it's going to do much on the counterattack, but you're more afraid of the Bandit after.
Oh, wow.
Wow, they charge into each other. The two towers
but that was a
take
great
them out.
placement because the King Tower and the other Princess Towers, all 3 hit Colton's Bandit there.
Yeah, that Bandit has such a large charge range, it's easy to bait it into the kill zone.
6 tiles.
Too. Yeah. Minor Poison comes up.
Beautiful
from Trainer
placement
Luis.
there. It's going to get 3 hits on the tower, looks like. Maybe another one? Nope.
Big opportunity for Colton here, though, because he did not lose any troops to the poison.
Yeah,
so whatever
he did
counterattack
not.
he puts in is like, he's got a lot of elixir for it. The Executioner gets turned around, hit with the poison.
Wow.
The minions might tear it up. While it's turned around, it does turn around, but does go down. So
It's not. What a
good
nice
job.
defense there. And look at Colton. He's like, his reaction's like, oh man, I thought that push was going to get me some more tower damage. But look at
Minions,
Trainer Lewis.
Bandit
He's just
coming
getting the miner onto that tower, just chipping away. And is Tornado coming on the top miner? No. Lewis is going to go ahead and take that tower damage.
the Executioner, though, really seems to be the MVP. I feel like Colton has control of the match, maybe tempo-wise, but he's having a really hard time getting through the Executioner. All of his pushes are just getting stonewalled by it.
Wow, beautiful archer placement there, and it's gonna take out that bandit. Oh, the bandit gets a hit on the Electro Wizard. The value from that bandit.
I think the most important thing there was he was just trying to distract the bandit until the P.E.K.K.A. could get in front.
Right.
Normally, if you see a bandit at the river, you'd like to see the P.E.K.K.A. at the in front of the tower to block it. It didn't happen. It was behind the King Tower, so he's got to figure out a way to buy time to get that
Oh,
back.
the goblins come out. It's gonna take care of that miner there, and looks like Trainer Lewis is
bandit!
ahead.
No!
Yeah.
The bandit charged in front and ate that final P.E.K.K.A. shot. If it had hit the other P.E.K.K.A., the bandit would be alive and might be able to charge the tower.
Yeah, and look at that.
There's
The
where you
miner's
want
gonna get
P.E.K.K.A.
2 hits, 3 hits. 4 hits on that tower. He is winning the tower trade right now, but Colton is slowly catching up though.
Less than a poison separates their two towers. So now that we're in overtime, it really is just going to come down to tempo. Who can get that big push and stretch for the kill?
Yeah, who's gonna get more value out of their elixir pushing? Is he gonna use Tornado here? No, he does not use
What a
Tornado with the
poison,
exchange.
though.
Wow, that poison is great.
Just like that, he's taking leads. As well played from Trainer Luis. Not out yet, still has enough to defend with, but that's not the kind of damage you want to take here in overtime.
And then the beautiful poison. Whoa, it takes out the minions
Wow.
and the archers, and the bandit's gonna get a charge!
Oh, no!
Oh my goodness! What a beautiful play by Trainer Lewis there.
And that is within poison zap range, but there's no zap in Trainer Luis's
there
deck.
isn't.
He's got to hit with
But
a minor poison.
He got
It's not
minor
gonna be
poison.
enough.
He's got minor poison. All he needs is a great placement there, not counter. Oh wow, beautiful
That's
placement.
going
And
to
that's
do
mid
it.
game.
Trainer Luis takes game number 1. very big fist bump, and you're right. You can see the difference between them. Colton, a very stoic player, just, you know,
Yeah, Colton
takes the
was
loss, puts his head
super
down.
laser.
Trainer Luis,
He was laser focused. I mean, I was watching his face the whole time, and this guy was like in the zone.
Yeah.
In the zone.
And I can't count him out yet either, because Colton, in a lot of his tournament experience, has gone down the first game in a match only to learn the patterns of his opponent, fight back, and take the comeback 2-1 match victory. So Trainer Luis really has to focus, really have to think, you know, knowing what the bans are, knowing what decks Colton plays, what can I do to seal this match? That first game wasn't easy,
Yeah.
and I don't think the second game's going to be any easier.
He did such a good job with switching up his minor placements. He was able to get minor 2 to, even if it's 2 chip damage or 3 chip shots, it gave Trainer Lewis the lead.
All right, so
One
let me
by
set
one.
the scene for you. Minute into overtime. Let's check the replay and see what Trainer Luis did to finish this game off. He had... The tower health was so similar between them. Both players felt like they just got berserk poisons back to back. And this bandit, watch this bandit.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm sorry, that was the one that went down. The bandit
before
before that,
yeah, that was
the
it was
one
beautiful because
who
the
brought down
miner
300.
was just tanking the damage. The bandit was so low health, but it took out the archers and then got a charge hit on the tower and another hit, and that's when Trainer Lewis won that trading. And then you can see Colton, he's like, darn it.
Yeah, that was it. If that
Yeah.
bandit hadn't charged, then the tower's still sitting at 600 health. You might be able to hold off another push. But once
Exactly.
it gets down to like
Like
poison,
270-ish health.
Yeah, like-
Poison's like 240, right, on the tower.
Like
and then a
poison
minor
plus
hit.
a minor hit's so hard to
Boom.
stop because if
Yeah.
the miner is standing in the poison, even if you intercept it, he goes, oh, that goblin's dead. Okay, this is dead. Okay, oh, one random hit on a tower, done.
Yeah. There they are. Look at them. Colton, see, refocusing here. He's trying to make sure he doesn't tilt here. He looks very serious, very focused right now. I wonder what deck he's going to pull out.
I'm thinking about it. I'm not really sure. I would expect, I mean, they are definitely ready to play. We're going to see game 2 here quick. If I'm Trainer Luis, I think you got to switch, though. I know we've seen so many
Yeah, they
players
play the same
stick
deck
to the
because they're
winning deck, but I think... But I think you're asking to get counter decked if you do that, so
Yeah.
might see a little bit of a change here. Game 2 starting right now.
Let's see, the Minor Poison is going to still be played with the Bandit combo here, or we're going to switch up and see potentially Elixir Collector beatdown decks. You know,
yeah.
different type of play styles. They're going to just hold on to Elixir and just relax here.
If they have an Elixir Collector, they're holding on to it. They're being a little coy about it right now because neither wants to go low and leave themselves open to an assault. They also could both be playing decks that are good in double Elixir time.
Yes.
Hence, you're very comfortable just...
3 Muskies, maybe?
I could see that.
Yeah, you could see that.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't think Colton plays as much 3 Musketeers.
Look at, they're so focused.
I know.
They're looking, they're doing nothing, and look at their faces.
He's like
They're just
waiting, like, yeah, you don't
no,
want to
he's
miss
smiling.
that first card. But if you're Colton,
He's gonna play the emote though. It costs him 0 elixir.
that's
but
true. No,
he got the
it
emote
just
out there.
cycles the emotes out of your hand. You play the cry face and you play the angry face to get to the thumbs up face that you wanted. It was just the fifth
Colton's
card
like,
in your
go
deck.
play a card. I dare you.
Yeah.
And Trainer Lewis is like, haha, I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Oh, maybe I think about it. Maybe I should.
So far, it looks like we're going to double elixir time. My guess is that Colton is running something like Golem.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
he loves
Maybe.
beatdown decks.
Yeah,
he is a beatdown player. So I don't expect him to play 3 Musketeers, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, back in King's Cup, the first one, he played this similar Golem deck to Team the Yao Yao. It was a beatdown Golem deck.
Yeah,
He
liked
played it
Golem
so
Graveyard.
well.
He was
Yeah.
telling me in the green room that's one of his favorite decks. and he's
Oh,
about
it
making
is going to be the Lava
Lava.
Hound, Lava Loon deck here. But Trainer Lewis has the Inferno Dragon, but he played it a little early here. So if Colton is able to take that out before he can lock onto the Lava Hound, he should be in good shape here.
Yeah, the minions come down to distract. We might be seeing an Electro Wizard right at the river. If there's an Electro
Ooh,
Wizard in the
beautiful
deck.
Fireball. Takes out the Spirit Gob so that the Inferno Dragon can go ahead and lock onto that lava.
Goblins are on the tower, though. Goblins are on the tower. He has to zap to slow that down. The balloon's coming in.
Oh, my goodness.
He's letting, I guess, the lava pups distract and fight the
Oh.
Inferno Dragon. It does go down.
He knew he made a mistake there. Trainer Lewis is like, oh my god, that tower, is it going to make it to it?
It's not going to
Oh,
make
it's
it,
not.
but it will get the death damage.
But look at the amount of damage it does to that tower.
And now we're in double elixir time, where the Lava Hound decks do well. It looks like it's a
Wow,
Lava
they
Loon
both
mirror
are
match.
playing
Yeah.
Lava Hound decks.
And Trainer Luis should have the better matchup because he has the Inferno Dragon, but it's all going to come down to if he can get that Inferno Dragon locked onto the balloon and Lava Hound uninterrupted.
Exactly, and that's the key there. He does have that Tombstone, though, to drag the balloon away. And the balloon is going to come out from Trainer Lewis. It's going to make his way down. What is the counter? Come out from... Oh, Colton has a Tombstone as well.
They're playing nearly identical decks. I mean, not
Whoa,
100%
he misses the
identical.
rocket.
No!
He misses the rocket.
Oh,
That is really
wow.
tough.
Yeah, that's the sort of
Oh
mechanical
my
play
goodness,
that's gotta
yeah.
hurt. Second
Oh
drop puts
my
down the death damage. You're gonna take out the minions too, just to rub it in. No, minions got
wow.
away. But here we are.
Fireball is going to secure that
Fireball
game right
did it.
here.
Now, actually, Colton does have a rocket, but it's not going to be
Oh,
enough.
it's
Rub
so
his face.
unfortunate.
That is
Yeah.
frustrating.
That is frustrating. You got to aim for the shadow. I mean, maybe it's a misclick or something.
It's sorry, the rocket has the tiniest little hitbox, and the balloon moves kind of fast, and it's just a tough defensive play. You also have to be good at predicting the arc speed of it, because rocket travels far when it takes a long time to go.
Across the map,
but short, it's like,
but it's short, it just lands right
it's
there.
right there, like flops out of your hand onto the field.
So maybe that's why he didn't aim for the shadow, because he's like, okay, it's really short, and the rocket's going to hit it right there.
And that's a tough match. Another sweep today as Trainer Luis takes a 2-0 match win over Colton. And Trainer Luis, who just said in the interview that he thinks he has what it takes definitely to make the fall finals and maybe even to win.
So far.
A win over Colton really, really helps. Super helps. So let's check out a replay from the last game. This is when a ton of damage was done to the tower. This was one of the crucial pushes in the game.
Oh, look at that rocket.
Oh, you see it? It was going for the minions behind, so that gets the balloon to the tower. And even with the zap, he uses a zap, actually, Luis uses a zap to clear out the bats and minions, and that allows the second drop to get through. The death damage brings it really low, within fireball range.
Wow.
Luis just has to hold on at that point.
Just at this level, just one mistake like that. Cost you your tower. I mean, it's you gotta just play perfectly sometimes.
I'm as disappointed as Colton is, you know what I mean? So here we go. Trainer Luis pulled that game off. You're seeing the Lava Hounds being played in the back, right? Yeah, I think it's mirrored a little bit, I think, in the head. But that's all right. But the Lava Hounds are being played in the back, and then you're seeing all those other supporting troops, like the Mega Minions, the Minions, and things like that.
Yeah.
They're being played to defend, and then Lava Hound or Balloon is being played at the river.
And Inferno Dragon's played right behind the King Tower, because it's slow moving. He doesn't want it to get in front of the Lava Hound. He wants to put it right back so it counters Colton's Lava Hound.
Yeah, especially when you see like a Lava Hound by your opponent in the very, very far back. You want to put your Inferno Dragon in the very far back because they're slow enough they'll meet somewhere at the bridge.
Exactly.
Somewhere bridge-ish. Yeah, I mean, that was... you know, it's always a bummer to lose a match on a mechanical play like that.
I know,
you miss the balloon. But, you know, hey, on the plus side, it might take some of the heat off of Chief Pat. Chief Pat gets razzed a lot for missing rockets. Maybe, I think today, of all the people in North America, Chief Pat's watching and going like, glad it wasn't me.
Now someone's going to meme it.
Yeah, clip it.
With Colton's face from last week, right?
Yeah.
With the facial expressions he made from last week.
Yeah. Well, that was our 7th match.
Yeah.
We are
7 matches ready.
Officially halfway through the broadcast because we have 13 total matches for you. The 8th match is starting very soon, and it is B-Rad against Craaap. 2 clanmates again, both Nova Esports players for a very long time. So, and actually both big ladder pushers. Craaap is someone who's on the ladder a whole bunch. B-Rad, famous for his ladder play with Minor Poison. So this will be a very tough match between 2 formidable competitors.
Yeah, and B-Rad has momentum here. B-Rad just won against C-McHugh, so he must be feeling good.
And Craaap's looking as confident as one can be there up on stage. He's happy to be here in the studio. And, you know, maybe B-Rad will come down from Canada sometime.
Yeah, maybe.
The first Canadian we've had in the North American Crown Championship Series. He's got to bring the cold weather down with him.
And that Minor respect ban comes right out there.
Yep.
And then Poison being banned.
I think Craaap saw what happened to C-McHugh and was not playing around, right? So we'll definitely not see Minor Poison, as both Minor and Poison
are taken out. So no Minor control deck. So are we going to see potentially P.E.K.K.A. Hog?
Well, from B-Rad, I would assume, until he proves otherwise, Hog, Lightning, Executioner, Tornado, right? He's played that, I think, every game?
Yeah, he's played a lot. B-Rad will probably go with Hog, and I think Craaap is going to catch on to that.
Yeah.
And he's going to play a deck that is going to work really well into it.
What can you counter Executioner or Tornado with, though? Is it Rocket? You just play Rocket in your deck? Maybe like a Hog Rocket deck or something? Because... Executioner or Tornado counters everything, right? Like Tornado counters Goblin Barrel, Minor, Executioner counters all sorts of Swarm cards.
Yeah, it's 5 and 3 elixir. That's a lot of elixir.
But who's pushing with like less than 6 or 7 elixir? You know what I mean? Like I guess we actually did see Bernstein Cat do a very successful push with just Ice Golem and Goblins. Maybe the way around that is to do just lots of those little cheap Minor Poison-y style pushes. But again, you don't really want to play... Well, A, you can't play Minor because you'll lose on a ban. B, you don't want to play Minor because the Tornado would pull it to your King Tower.
Yeah, there we go. Craaap with the emotes, just setting the mood.
Letting people know.
Goblins get dropped right at the bridge, and Knight comes out for defense.
All right. The Knight is going to intercept and start this counterattack here. Bats coming down for Craaap.
Oh, the Princess comes out from B-Rad.
I'm thinking Mini Hog, the Mini Hog deck. I don't think it's Spell. It could be Spellbait, though. It is Spellbait.
Oh, it is Spellbait. There you go. Does he have Log? He does not. He does have the Elixir. He misses the timing on that Elixir Wizard, so it stuns all 3 Goblins there, barely missing it. And he's shaking his head there. And the Princess gets 2 shots, no 1 shot.
It does get 1 hit, though, on the Electro Wizard, weakening it a little bit. Obviously, it's going to reset the Inferno Tower, but Does a little bit of
he's
damage before
smiling
going
here,
down.
and wow, beautiful ice.
Wow, it did get one hit on
Yeah,
the
it
tower,
did,
though.
it did.
Electro Wizard is a trickster.
Now they're about even in Elixir here. So I wonder, P.E.K.K.A gets dropped right in the back.
Now,
Does
Craaap-
he have lightning? It's Hog Lightning for sure, right? It's got to be.
No, I think it probably runs Zap, but I'm not convinced
Let's
that it's
see,
going to
let's see that. If he has
could
lightning,
switch
he's gonna
it
be
up,
in a
though,
really
you're
good spot.
Like if he's predicting that his opponent's going to play Spellbait, he could have switched from something like Poison over to Lightning instead.
Beautiful log coming out there.
I like the split push here. You know there's only
Wow,
one Inferno Tower,
yeah.
so you have 2 ways to get in there. So the Hog Rider's
One
going to go on
hit,
the other side.
just one hit.
Just get the one swing. Goblin Gang's coming back. Same size. He's going to log it, and he's going to let it happen.
I think he's going to just take the tower damage at this point.
Wow,
He's
that's
slightly ahead, but he's ahead by 1 elixir only right now.
huge bad news for Craaap. That Inferno Tower still has a ton of health.
Yeah,
right?
it does.
I mean, it's just, you know, the idea is that if the Inferno Tower goes down or gets played on defense, that's fine, but you want to deal enough damage to it that you can just hit it right after with a cycle. Instead, it provides another like 20 seconds of defense.
Oh, God,
and it just sits there.
and then the log's going to come right out to counter.
Yeah, it's hard to cycle. It's hard to outcycle this deck, but even worse than that is every time you make that Goblin Barrel into log play, it's a -1 elixir trade.
Yeah, if Craaap has a lightning here, he's going to set himself really so. He can drop a hog, a lightning net tower. Let's see if it's lightning here. Oh, it is lightning, and it comes out. Wow, and the hog's going to get 1 hit. Just 1 hit, though, on the left tower.
Great Ice Spirit there, holds off the P.E.K.K.A. The Inferno Tower just barely survives. That log is not down, didn't have it in time. And he's going to clear that out and gets
the
the
Prince
splash
gets 2
damage,
shots.
too. That shot on the Ice Wizard
Yeah.
splashed onto the tower, so that's
Yeah.
real good for B-Rad.
Worked really well. It's getting 2 splash damage.
Lightning
Wow,
comes
look
down.
at the lightning coming out there.
Will he get 1 hit?
Oof.
It does, bringing it down to
does.
1050. And just like that, Craaap
Craaap
takes
is
the
back,
damage
he's
lead.
back in the game. He's back in the game here. He's just got to continue these cycle plays with Hog and Lightning here.
Spellbait is the sort of deck that actually does better in single elixir time than double elixir time and really wants to take a tower 1-0 than just play defense. The longer it goes into double elixir time, I think the better chance Craaap has to put together some sort of big push that can get through a tower, or at least do things like Hog Lightning over and over and over
Yeah,
again.
look at Craaap's reaction. He is saving the log for the Goblin Barrel every time. That's really smart for Craaap because he has to save it to counter the Goblin Barrel. And
Just
then
makes it tough for
Lightning's going to
offense.
come out again here. Let's see.
I like that
It
distraction.
could
Is it needed?
potentially,
Oh,
yes, it does. And wow, the Hog is
The
going to
bats
make
are
it to
taking
the
him out.
tower.
One
He gets
swing.
1 hit. 2 with the bats taking the tower. Wow, no, not yet. Almost, but that's going to be a game with just 1 more log.
You're right. Just a log, a lightning, a hog, anything will do, as Craaap is going to take game 1 of this series against B-Rad.
Yeah,
Gives the
B-Rad is
thumbs
just
up.
thinking. He's like, man.
He's giving all of his favorite emojis. Thumbs up, then the OK sign. Next up is the 2 hands praying. We'll see. Giving all the emojis. Once you're in person, you can't just do emotes. You have to do real life
Yeah,
emotes.
but Hog Lightning, that Lightning made the deck. And I like how later on he just stopped playing P.E.K.K.A. Because honestly, he wasn't connecting the tower. Like you couldn't get it, you couldn't damage the Inferno Tower. Even after getting Lightning, it was still pretty healthy. So he stopped playing P.E.K.K.A. and just continued to use Hog Lightning onto the left tower, and then that basically got him ahead and then came back. That's one thing that Craaap is really good at. Because last week he did the same thing. He would come back from the mid game and then just win in double elixir.
Okay, let's take a look at what you're talking about. Craaap was weakening the tower in the replay that we're about to watch right now. This was one of the ways he got it really low. Like you mentioned, why play P.E.K.K.A. when you can just play Lightning? They cost almost the same. The Lightning is guaranteed damage. This is the one that brought it from 1,000 down to, wow, those 2 hogs brought it.
42 health.
That 1,000 health in 1 push. That's all he needed to get it low enough and finish the game off. I think another reason why I quit playing P.E.K.K.A. is that there's nothing in the Spellbait deck that you would counter with P.E.K.K.A. Like Knight, maybe. But if they drop Knight and you play P.E.K.K.A., they're just going to throw the Goblin Barrel on you. So here's the post-match stats recap. Same exact number of cards played, but a huge disparity.
Yeah, look at the win conditions, though. The number of hogs played there, dropping 11, and he was rotating a little faster, and that's what I think put him ahead with the hog and lightning hitting the left tower.
And we see the Inferno Towers coming down for B-Rad. They held off several pushes, and you're right. Like, it was really hard to get those Hog Riders through at first because the Inferno Tower, he had to switch strategies. And once you get double elixir time, it's a lot easier to play the bats and the lightning and the log and all the other support cards that you need in order to actually get the Hog Rider to
and
connect
BR
to the
was doing
tower.
so in the beginning. He was getting Princess like 2 shots of the Princess off, you know, connecting and getting more damage, and then Craaap was able to turn it around there after the mid game.
And I got to credit that to Craaap's game vision, right? Like, it's okay. We actually saw that earlier when Colton lost his early tower to the Hog Rider and then stuck with the Lava Loon plan. Like, he goes like, look, I know how this matchup plays out. I'm not going to freak out if I lose the other one. It seemed like what Craaap was doing. He was like, I took some damage. It's unfortunate. But at no point was he ever like, oh, it's all over for me. He's sort of like, all right, I know what I have to do to get back into this game. Spellbait, not great in double elixir time compared to a lot of other decks.
Yeah, it isn't.
And he just kept dragging out double elixir time, kept the pressure on, and eventually B-Rad cracked.
Yeah, he did. He did. And Craaap did the same thing versus Oxalate last week. He had a 3 Muskie deck, was losing early because it was P.E.K.K.A. Hog, and he came back with a 3 Musketeer deck in the double elixir phase. So like a double elixir is something you gotta watch out for Craaap. He just plays extremely well in overtime.
So B-Rad goes off of Hog Lightning, punishes for it, right? Drops the game. Does he switch back to Hog Lightning in this game?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're gonna stay. They're gonna keep to what's working. I think that's what players like to do here, and that's why they don't just try to switch up too much of their decks.
Well, we can tell their decks pretty quickly after just a few cards. Looks like he might still be on Spellbait here. We'll see if the Inferno
and the
Tower
Hog
comes out now.
it's played again, so it looks like he's gonna keep the same deck.
Oh!
Wow, B-Rad so smart, switching his deck up, and Tornado just, that's really tough for a Hog now. Now you can just Tornado to the middle, and all 3 towers can take the Hog out without even touching the tower.
Right.
And he has a Tombstone.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
This is definitely the Hog deck
is
that we saw
completely
before.
countered.
Yeah, so Craaap's gonna have to either figure out a way around this.
Oh, and he's playing a Hog deck as well.
This is the
Oh,
Hog
P.E.K.K.A.
Lightning
comes
deck
out
for
though.
sure.
He's gonna get 1 hit though. Yep.
So Craaap's feeling good about that. You're a little disappointed about the early Tornado, but Craaap had an ace card of his own, which was the P.E.K.K.A. against the Hog Rider. So we'll see. B-Rad's deck now does have Tombstone, doesn't have Inferno Tower though. So we'll see if he can hold off this P.E.K.K.A. Tornado maybe in the middle.
Wow, there we go.
All together, but it doesn't hit the P.E.K.K.A. So the P.E.K.K.A.'s just slowly getting closer.
And then look at that Tombstone drop. Wow, doesn't get any dent. Nothing connects to any towers. Beautiful defense by B-Rad there.
Elixir lead for Craaap though. He's ahead now, but the Executioner on board kind of makes it more, not as even as you'd like it to be.
And Hog gets 2 hits. B-Rad is winning a lot of these trades, and he gets the tower and the goblins. That's so unfortunate. Look at Craaap. He's like shucked.
Well, you can see the gears grinding in Craaap's head. Like he's trying to figure out, like, what do I do in this matchup? Like I have a slow tank.
Yeah.
I only have a few things that can actually hit the tower, so I've got to figure out a way to like get that Executioner Tornado out of his hand so I can go in on the other side. But it's just tough because B-Rad's deck is so cheap. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, he can easily make a cycle that's less than 10
Oh,
elixir.
he's gonna
in a
push for
variety
the
of
tower.
different
Oh,
ways.
he's not. He's gonna drop the Knight in the front, and then the Hog comes out. Okay. But that's interesting. The P.E.K.K.A. is gonna make it in time there. Gonna take out.
Right, dude, the
Ooh,
skeletons.
The Hog does get a few hits though.
Yeah, the P.E.K.K.A.'s only good if it's hitting the Hog Rider. As long as he's getting hung up on Tombstone Skeletons, not gonna be as good. This Tombstone's gonna go down there very quickly though, leaving an opening for the Hog Rider on the left side. No, he's actually gonna go ahead and log that side. Do we see?
Wow.
Oh, there's the Hog
The
after.
Hog is gonna come out here.
Lightning
and
takes
Lightning
it
comes
down.
out. And the Tornado comes out to counter the Hog. And an Ice Spirit. Oh my goodness.
But that P.E.K.K.A.'s still bearing
yeah,
down.
That P.E.K.K.A. is
so now
really
the Hog
healthy.
Rider's taking damage, but this P.E.K.K.A. might connect on that Executioner.
Is it gonna get one swing? No, it does not.
Wow. And B-Rad's practice with this deck is paying off as he is masterfully defending. Has only taken a little bit of damage on that tower, and a lot of that damage is coming from the Lightning.
Yeah, and let's see if Craaap's gonna use a log this time to take care of the Tombstone immediately and then drop the Hog and get it. Oh, look at Tornado is used here.
What an
Right?
interesting Tornado pulls him into
Yeah.
Lightning range so he can Lightning all 3 of them.
Is he gonna log that Tombstone here and get the Hog onto a tower? No, he's not. He's gonna instead go ahead and like, there you go. And
There's
he's
the
gonna cycle
log.
back Tombstone just in time here. Wow.
Yeah, Craaap sort of gives that like,
Yeah.
that's the way it goes sort of thing as B-Rad's tying up. You're right, B-Rad had so many counters to the P.E.K.K.A. Hog deck in that
Yeah.
matchup. So strong. And he played it really well, though. Like, it's not just having the counters, but it's having the counters and knowing what to do with them. And in that case, I felt like Craaap did exactly what he needed to do. He was very experimental, very innovative.
Yeah.
He was trying out a variety of different cycles and trades and whatever in order to get an attack onto the tower, but just none of it stuck. B-Rad was adaptable. He kept changing up his defense. He wasn't falling into the same patterns over and over again.
Just a deck matchup. Like, beautiful. Like, Tornado, Tombstone, like, just beautiful deck building into Craaap's Hog deck.
Yeah, and it's crazy because Craaap won the first game, but I don't think he had a real great deck matchup. So by staying on the same deck, it is really brutal.
Yeah, see, players are catching up now. They're
Yeah.
like, they're gonna play the same deck game too. I'm just gonna counter it.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that you want to play the same deck 2 games in a row if it's something that's easily countered like P.E.K.K.A.
Yeah.
Hog Rider. Let's take a look at a replay from the last game. B-Rad tied up the series. This is a whole bunch of damage there. Gets the tower down to 229. Even though there's some blockers around it, it's not enough to stop the Lightning. The Lightning hits the tower, takes it out, fresh into overtime. B-Rad ties it up at 1-1.
Yeah, B-Rad, resurgence here. I mean, he's getting off momentum. If he wins against Craaap, he's got to feel really good because
Goes from
last
0-2
week
to 2-2,
he
yeah.
lost both, right? So,
Yeah. And here we are, the stats recap from the last game. Way more buildings this time for B-Rad as those tombstones were holding off, I mean, everything. When that final tombstone came down, you saw Craaap be like, yep, of course you have it, yep, of course you have it, you know what I mean? And he's using it to stop P.E.K.K.A, stop Hog Riders. It would stop Bandit, there's no Bandit in the deck, but it stops so many cards.
So good. Yeah, it's so good against P.E.K.K.A because once a tombstone is destroyed, all these skeletons pop out, and then P.E.K.K.A is just constantly being distracted by all these little skeletons. And even the Hog Rider just drags it away, and then when the skeleton pop out as well, they chase the hog and do a significant amount of damage.
Got a little shower thought for you. We are now in our 8th match of the day. Have we seen Mega Knight?
No? Oh, we did. We did what the Golem.
Okay, you're right. McHugh played it.
McHugh, yeah.
I was thinking Mega Knight, very popular. Haven't seen very many Mega Knights. Hasn't been banned once. We just haven't seen too many people play it, so maybe we'll see it in this game here.
Yeah, let's see what deck. I think Craap's gonna go with a balloon deck potentially here.
He's nodding his head. Maybe he hears you. Maybe he's thinking, yes, I am playing a balloon deck. B-Rad splitting the Goblin Gang there behind. Tombstone.
Oh, Lava Hound. I think he has a Lava Hound deck. He's got to switch it up and probably play Lava. But does B-Rad have also a Lava Hound deck? Or
it does look like Lava Hound so far.
Yeah, it does. But let's see what B-Rad is. He's going to have Executioner in his deck here potentially.
He could be playing Spellbait again.
Right. There's a Lava Hound coming out from all Craaap there. And wow, B-Rad has a lot of anti-air. He has minions.
B-Rad got real mad there. You see that? He was like, I made a mistake. Right?
Yeah, maybe that's his only card left that he had maybe for anti-air potentially here. And the minions come out
so
just in time.
Cycle back. He's trying to figure out how do I get a card out of my hand and still cycle well. I don't think that balloon was necessarily the right play.
This is tough for B-Rad because look at that. The Mega Man gets taken out and like Craaap has Mega Man pushing out and beautiful Tombstone drop here to this track.
Pull the Mega Man over. He's just going to clear out the Goblin Gang and just come right. No, it is going to go back to the Tombstone.
Yeah. But wow, that's such good defense by B-Rad there.
It wasn't like a lethal amount of damage or anything. Right. But notice that Craaap didn't have to back that up at all. Followed up. He just countered the balloon and just like kind of put his hands up. Goes back up to 10 elixir.
Look at the amount of damage the Pups did. 1539 already at Taro.
Yeah. And the other side hurting too from the minions that countered the balloon and then counterattacked. So if this even goes to a one tower down on each side kind of game, he has a damage lead in the other tower.
It's so funny when players switch their decks for the next matchup, they always switch like the same deck. The same archetype usually. It's so weird. It's like such a coincidence every time.
This is not the first Lava Hound mirror match we've seen today.
It's so funny.
It's probably not the first Lava Hound mirror match we've seen in a game 3 today.
Yeah, and there we go. Mega Minion and Minions. They have very similar decks to each other. And the Rocket is going to be popped out there.
What was that?
Whoa! Oh no, B-Rad.
He's got a sense of humor about it though.
Did Colton rub off on him or something?
I think he expected a balloon there at the ring. He was trying to go for the prediction balloon. Didn't quite work out. The balloon gets to the tower, makes one drop. The death damage is going to bring it even lower, and that is within range of 1 poison, 1 log, even 1 zap.
And now Craaap knows. He just got to not push the other tower because he's usually got the left tower in the bag.
There's the log. Tower's going to go down. Just has to stop the side. Minions are going to come at the river. This balloon, though, is making pretty good progress. The Mega Minion's
however, Mega Minion's going to stop it right there.
Mega Minion's such a great defensive card. It can't be spelled off the board. It's no zap to get rid of it or anything. And now we have a lava balloon push coming down on B-Rad's right side tower.
Yeah, you know what?
Boo says B-Rad.
Yeah, B-Rad just gives up here. You know what? I think it's Cheap Pat. Cheap Pat, like, I think worn off from both.
Is he sitting in Twitch chat? What is he doing?
He is in Twitch chat. Let's just point the fingers.
The minds of the
Let's
youth.
just point fingers at Chief Pat right now.
Well, that is the second time today we've seen a whiffed rocket.
Look at all Craaap. He's like, yeah, I got this.
I mean, if you're gonna get a mechanical mistake victory against anyone, I'll take it against B-Rad because that's a player who doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. Hey, all Craaap, you almost lost to B-Rad though, man. So
that's twice.
Yeah.
Does Craaap have like weird voodoo magic when he's in studio? How do you make the best players in North America whiff on rockets? In the 2 crucial games, right? Hey, it's elimination game. Better
something about all
make you
Craaap, man.
forget.
Maybe it's just like his smile or his eyes. I don't know.
He was the only person not saying "oh crap" that match. It was B-Rad going "oh crap, oh the rocket."
It's those emotes in the beginning of the game. Just throws you off.
The mind games. Yeah. Mind games do it. They work. So Craaap wins. Now goes, I believe, to 4-2.
Yeah, 4-2. He's looking up. He's gonna be up there with Oxalate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's looking good. We've got a replay for you of the B-Rad rocket, but I definitely think that Craaap isn't going to be happy just making fall finals.
Right.
He wants that preferential seeding.
And look at this rocket here. Oh no! What was he aiming for? He's trying to get all 3. He's trying to get the Valley of the Rocket, hit the Mega, hit the Minions, and the Lava Hound there. That's what he's going for.
He was saying in chat that his finger slipped. I think he was hovering it. He was hovering it, waiting for that balloon, and then the balloon didn't come down. I think he meant to pull it, drag it back off the board. Instead, his finger came off.
Unfortunate.
Beep.
Feels bad, man.
Feels Brad, man, and that's what happened.
Brad, man.
Well, hey, B-Rad already did get a match win today.
Yeah,
Not totally
he did well.
out of it.
You did well, B-Rad. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it, man.
Craaap moves a little
Got a
further
lot
up
of
on the
weeks to go.
leaderboard. That's going to do it for these two matches
Yes.
up here in the caster booth. Oh, we actually have stats. Let's go to the stats recap. Sweet J, talk me through this.
Yeah, look at the amount of buildings played there. We were able to counter them, drag the balloon. I like what Craaap did when the balloon wasn't going for the tombstone. He dropped the 3 minions right on top of it, so it made the balloon change its pathing, and then it targeted locked onto the tombstone. But look at the amount of elixir spent. That's because B-Rad decided to give up there towards the end of the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a pretty good strategy just to spend 22 more elixir than your opponent. That's usually going to deliver a victory. But you're right, B-Rad with casting stuff, so I'm teasing. The effective rotation, though, for Craaap's deck, very low. That's easily the highest effective rotation we've seen.
Yeah, that's
for
a lot,
any deck,
yeah.
because he was just going like Lava Hound into Balloon over and over and over again, and was comfortable putting down other expensive troops with it. Like he wasn't really casting Skeletons or Ice Spirit or anything like that.
What's interesting too is Lava Hound is like the second deck archetype they pull out. You know, they'll play like P.E.K.K.A. or Miner or whatever, and then the second decks that we've seen so far would be like the Lava Hound deck. We saw it also yesterday too.
I've heard that it is the easiest of the major archetypes to pick up and learn. That's not a slight against the deck or a slight against Lava Balloon players, but rather that if you're trying to add more decks to your repertoire, that's an easy one to pick up, learn, and play masterfully pretty quickly.
That's what Rumhand plays all the time.
I wish I had a maxed Lava Hound for the ladder for sure. Well, that's going to do it for these two matches up here in the Casters booth. Let's go back to findable carpet in the locker room.
Man, that B-Rad pun is exactly why you're always going to be my number 2 caster here. All right, so I promise this is the last time I'm going to give you guys this recap, but let's see how we got here to this phase. We are in phase 4 of the tournament. It was a 5-phase tournament, or was. I guess it still is a 5-phase tournament. Phase 1 starting out with just over 27 million players in the 20-win challenge and app. You guys probably did it yourself. You had to get 20 wins before you got 3 losses, and you moved on to phase 2. Now, everyone thought it was actually going to be almost impossible because the 12-win Grand Challenge is hard enough. But over 8,000 players pushed on through to phase 2 all around the world. They got pushed in a bracket play where they were then narrowed down to just 16 players. Phase 3 was Elimination Week. So Elimination Week, we put them into groups. We took the 16 players, we separated them out. How do we cut them in half? They played each other, and only 8 players came out of phase number 3. Moving into phase 4, again, joining our finalists of last season, Oxalate and C-McHugh. So now we have our top 10, and they're going through a double round robin where they're playing each other twice. And at the end of this, they will be pushed into our phase 5, which is the fall finals live in North America, where we'll get to see who the true best North American player is. And remember, there's plenty of money on the line. Out of the $1 million prize pool for this entire year of competitive Clash Royale, these players are playing. First place gets to go home for $15,000, second place with $10,000, and just making it in this at all, you get $3,500. So a lot of money going home. And since this is a solo game, it's just 1v1, you go home with the whole cash prize. You don't split with anybody else. So they get to do a grand job doing that. Now, a lot of points have been distributed now. We're getting through the latter half of the day. So as far as the leaderboard goes, Oxalate now sitting pretty at the top, back where he belongs, at least as far as he's concerned. The North American champion right now at 4-1. Wings 3-1 in second place, and you'll see Colton and Trainer Lewis now tied 2-2. They're still in the blue trying to sit there, but Music Master wants his way out of there. C-McHugh still hasn't gotten that win. He lost earlier today in quite of an upset. B-Rad, again, the best Miner player in the world, as most players will consider him. 2-3, and remember though, if you end in the red, you are eliminated by the end of it. But they have a lot more points to distribute and a lot more things to go through. And remember, the rules are slightly changed this season. Usually, it's just blind deck pick. At least that's what it was last season. But now it's a blind double ban. So before the match starts, they each, in secret, kind of behind closed doors, will pick a ban, and they don't get to know what it is until they reveal it together. And then it's global ban. So neither player can play any of the ban cards. So sometimes they'll duplicate, which we saw earlier, 2 players banning Miner. But other than that, it's totally banned for the entire series, best of 3. But we have a lot more amazing matches to look forward to today. So BBXH, why don't you let me know what those are?
That's right. We've already seen 8 winners today. We still have 5 more matches to go. Next up is going to be match number 9, Bernstein Cat versus C-McHugh. Both of these players, no wins on the board yet, so we'll see who takes that away. We have as well a ton more exciting matches. We've got Oxalate and Colton ending the day today. They may look like brothers, but they are not. As well, here you can see the review of what you just saw this morning, matches 1 through 8, and again, 9 through 10 are coming up next. You see through 10 now. And then we'll show you 11 through 13, so you know what to expect. A lot of your favorites are coming up, so hopefully they can get a win for you. But let's get right into match number 9. Again, that's going to be Bernstein Cat versus C-McHugh. Rumham and Sweetenaires, who do you think it's going to be?
Well, there is good news for one of these two players.
If I were a betting man, I would bet against C-McHugh right now.
If you're a betting man, I'm going to take C-McHugh here in this matchup, but it's like this matchup is a real 50-50 in the sense. And not necessarily in odds, but the difference between winning and losing this game is going to be the biggest adrenaline dump or rush ever, because you do not want to be the last winless person in North America.
Yeah, exactly. You do not want to be. So this is a really nerve-wracking matchup for sure. And C-McHugh needs to prove himself, though. I mean, a lot of people, you know, are his fans. He's known as such a legendary player. So let's see he's gonna be living up. And Bernstein, he's got to step it up too, man. He's got to get something out of week 2.
Yeah, I think there's more pressure on McHugh here than there is on Bernstein Cat, because you mentioned because of the expectations. But man, I wonder if both these players are struggling with confidence issues. You know, a lot of it at this level is mental. It's behavioral, I guess. Like, are you practicing? Do you feel good on stage? We've seen already a lot of the players on stage seem very confident, and when something bad happens to them, it doesn't affect the rest of the match. They don't go on tilt or anything. But when you get to this point, wow.
Mega Knight, the Bash brothers are banned
They're
here.
both of them sitting home. Pekka's going to sit on the bench. Mega Knight's sitting on the other bench. This tells me that both players are looking. I think Bernstein Cat wants to play Three Musketeers, and that's why he's getting rid of Mega Knight. And McHugh wants to play like Minor and things like that. So you don't want to deal with Pekkas.
Yeah, maybe Hog. You think C-McHugh may pull off a Hog deck here? Because he's been favoring a lot of Spellbait decks.
He could. I mean, if he wasn't considering Hog, I'd consider it now, because the two biggest tanks that hard counter your Hog are out. Right?
Yeah.
Could even see something like the Mini Hog beatdown deck, the Mini Pekka Hog Rider cycle deck, because Mini Pekka has a kind of bad matchup against Pekka and Mega Knight as well, but with those two big tanks out of the way, you're free to chop up giants and golems and knights and whatever else comes in the way. So I could see it either way here. All right, gun to your head, who you're choosing. Gun to your head, who are you choosing?
Bernstein.
Bernstein Cat.
Rumham, man.
It's intense in the Royal Arena.
I think Bernstein. Like I said, C-McHugh has been playing really off.
Yeah.
So, and Bernstein may be coming back here.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, I definitely feel like this has been a little bit out of character. I like that they're playing in Barbarian Ball. I've seen too many battles today in Legendary Arena.
Oh, he's on the webcam this time. CMC, look at him go.
So the Goblin Barrel comes down. Guards intercept for Bernstein Cat. Takes a little bit of damage on that tower. Princess is going to be played opposite lane. Already we got Spellbait here.
Yeah, it's as predicted. I mean, he loves this Spellbait deck. It's like he's probably one of the best Spellbait deck players in NA.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he played this deck, I think, more than any other deck in the spring season, and it definitely was his go-to list in close game 3. So it's like your back's against the wall, this is what he would play. His back's kind of against the wall here.
Yeah, Night Witch beatdown.
Oh, no! Good catch.
Oh, he did. Oh, I thought he put it in front.
Good catch.
Behind. Yeah, that was a great catch. That was really close.
And the Knight's going to finish off.
No zap.
He might wait for the bats to come out and zap right after, but doesn't need to, because the Princess sort of functions like a repeatable zap.
Yeah. Wow, that Inferno Tower just completely eats the giant alive.
You can see the FC Barcelona banner in McHugh's background.
Beautiful Ice Spirit there. What a great counter. Bernstein put the Ice Spirit, didn't let it hit the tower, and then drop the guards to then catch those goblins from the barrel.
Guards are an interesting choice. We haven't seen too many of them. Kind of a fringe meta card, but they're very strong against Bandit, strong against Pekka, not that it helps you too much, but strong against Mini Pekka, cards like that. Yeah. They definitely are not as popular as like Goblin Gang or the Goblins.
But Goblins here is smart because of the log in his deck, so guards at least survive the initial log with their shield being removed, and then they can still at least take care of the Goblins.
Now, without any big major push coming through early, I feel like that favors the Spellbait player. Yeah. Because it allows you kind of slowly get your chip damage in there.
Oh, wow.
Great!
Look at that Electro
Wizard.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Electro Wizard. So we learned this last week. If you play your Electro Wizard just right, you can hit all 3 goblins from the Goblin Barrel before they spread out to the 3 corners of the tower. But it requires an exceptional time. We've seen Bernstein Cat, I think, do that twice now.
Yeah. Great timing for Bernstein. He is on point right now for this game, but he is behind in the tower health game against C-McHugh here. The Goblin Barrel drops again here. Guards? No guards will be dropped, but they get 2 stabs, or actually 1 stab each, taking that tower down to 1601.
And if he can guard this princess like he does here by using the knight to drag it away,
Wow.
he might be able to get multiple princesses out, and that's when the spell bait deck really starts to take over.
Yeah, that's such. Yeah, look at the princess. I mean, those guards will take it out though. Another Goblin Bear get dropped. Is there a counter?
Oh, wow, he does it again.
Yeah, and he did on the right side this time. Beautiful timing by Bernstein Cat there.
I don't even know how to do it. I've tried it a ton of times.
No, I think you can definitely do it.
I got to practice more, I guess. These guys have been practicing all day.
Does he have lightning here? Or Zap? Oh,
Doesn't
no.
seem- oh, Zap.
But
Okay,
he
Zap
zapped a little
down.
too late.
Yeah.
You got to wait about like, what, 2.5, 3 seconds, right? Before it really starts ramping up damage against your Giant?
Yeah, I count
Oh,
3
wow.
Mississippi usually. That's 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, zap. Boom. But
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
like
little
the
delay
best
on
time.
the zap.
Yeah, that's the best
and-
time the zap is right at
yeah.
the 3-second mark.
So Goblin Gang intercepts that Electro Wizard. We got Night Witch in the center. He's been really trying to build up these giant Night Witch pushes, but the high
Oh my
tempo
god,
gameplay.
these princesses are
Yeah.
just doing so much work, and poison value on the princess, beautiful. But look, CMC's constantly getting Goblin Barrel hit. Wow, it gets 3 hits. One Goblin gets 3 hits, and a Knight connects to the tower, and that's going to be
the
game.
tower. Did you
Wow.
see that the guards got hung up on the tower?
Yeah, they did.
They were like bumping into each other, and they couldn't get around on that one goblin. The tower's shooting the knight, so the tower's not focused on the goblins at all. But that
Right.
one goblin's like stab, stab, stab.
3 stabs. That's
as-
320 something damage, 24
yeah,
damage.
as the guards
18
were like trying to get around to the other side. Just rambling all over the place.
Yeah.
But so McHugh takes the game playing one of his favorite decks, Spellbait.
Yeah, and that's why that's
just
his
did it by
deck
being
that he
patient.
plays when he's in the corner.
Yeah.
He's I'm gonna pull that log bait.
But he was really patient. I mean, early on there wasn't a lot of action, but the worst thing you can do is overcommit, right? If you drop
Yes.
like Knight, Goblin Gang, Goblin, like, okay, let's give an example. C-McHugh goes Knight, Goblin Gang on the left side, throws Goblin Barrel plus Ice Spirit on the other. That's all 10 elixir, he's out. That's exactly when the giant Night Witch
Yeah.
deck just punishes you. So by always staying above like 6 elixir, he was never that vulnerable.
Exactly.
Was able to hold on until the moments revealed themselves. Let's take a look at a replay from that last game and see how McHugh did
Yeah,
it.
this is where the Goblin Barrel, this is the one where you
Yeah.
look at the top right Goblin
Look at the
there.
Goblin, look
like
at the
the
Goblin.
Knight's tanking, and look at it, he gets 3 stabs. And the Knight then connects to the tower too, because like the log timing pushes the guards away, clears the path for the Knight, and then he gets like 2 hits, 2 swings on that tower, and then the Rocket just seals the deal.
And that Goblin did
Like,
exactly... Or like the Goblin got it low enough for the Rocket to hit. If that Goblin goes down sooner, the Rocket plan isn't going to finish the game off. You have to get some more damage in there.
Yeah, here are the stats here. Win conditions played. 1, I think he played more Goblin Barrels there, but you can see C-McHugh was just in control of the game, rotating faster, getting those Inferno Towers out, and just denying the Giant to ever even get close to the tower.
An insanely even game. I mean, they spent the same amount of elixir.
Yeah.
The damage was pretty close, actually, up until those last few pushes where McHugh took a massive lead. So Bernstein Cat facing a sweep down 0-1.
Right.
Needs to turn it around with... I don't even know. I guess if I'm Bernstein Cat, I think I play 3 Musketeers because that's his second deck after like Mega Knight and some other stuff. And he's done really well with it. And there's not a lot in the Spellbait deck to counter the 3 Musketeers.
Yeah, but you look at that deck matchup, right? Princess did so much work. He had 2 Princess on the map, and he forced the poison on there. I mean, that's why Princess is so good in that deck.
Looks like this is
Wow,
exactly
an
what it was for
aggressive
Giant Night Witch.
Giant push.
But there's no Night Witch to go
He
along. He's
dropped.
just playing the Giant, plays the Electro Wizard after. Yeah, so this is what we talk about. You spend 6 elixir, you invest in an elixir collector. Perfect timing for the Giant push to come in and try to make it work for you.
4 hits on that tower, along with poison, and a beautiful push there by Bernstein, getting so much value from the poison, hitting tower, and the elixir.
Back to pump, though. Watch McHugh's going to play pump on the top right.
Yep, for sure. There we go.
Yep, because he cycled back. It only takes 4 cards, so you can count 1, 2, 3 on that first defense. Ice Spirit, best card to cycle with. It's only 1 elixir. It does threaten the tower for damage, unlike Skeleton, so you can just cast it and hope to make some damage. And gave him time to get back to the pump.
Yeah, Bernstein's going to do the Giant push again, along with a Mega Man and Electro Wizard supporting. Let's see here. Ice Spirit is dropping the back, and the Giant should come out soon. No, he does not drop the Giant. That means the Mega Mans will trade with each other.
He uses the log to take out the Ice Spirit and get a little damage to knock the shield off the guards is pretty good as well.
Yeah, I guess Bernstein doesn't want to push right now because he knows that the pump is up. He didn't poison it, so he's going to be behind in elixir here.
Oh,
Expo, wow.
All right. I see what you're doing here.
Okay. But Bernstein can just... Oh, he's going to drop the Giant, actually. He's going to go ahead and push.
I think he's expecting that a poison here will weaken that Expo
Yeah.
enough that it can... Because the Expo doesn't do that much damage. The Giant has more health than a Crown Tower. So, like, the Giant can absorb an entire Expo and be fine.
Yeah, however, CMC is gonna. No, he's not.
He
can't
pumps up
Yeah, he
twice.
pumps up twice here.
Because
So,
once the poison comes out, you know that he doesn't have that really good value poison.
so Bernstein has a better deck matchup. He just needs to play Giant against the Expo when it's dropped here. Oh, does he drop it in time? He doesn't!
Doesn't.
Oh
He
my
didn't have it in
goodness!
cycle.
He didn't have it in cycle. That's so unfortunate. That's gonna be really tough. He's gotta get something onto the Expo. He doesn't have Zap. He does. He'll Zap it, and that's gonna save him there.
And it does that Giant, though. Diz taking some damage, but you're right, that now we have Giant Electro Wizard coming in. The Goblins have to come down to swarm on the Electro Wizard. What are they going to get? They do
Wow,
stab him out.
look at that Giant. Just gets taken out so quick. He's not able to cycle that Giant in time here.
The guards are doing a great job buying time because his Giant is not in cycle every time. He's having to use the guards to buy time as a bridge from like the
Oh
2
my
cards
goodness.
in to the remaining 2 cards of the cycle.
Good poison, but it's a defensive poison. And like the archers and goblins
Still
just
locks on.
literally eat that Giant alive.
And this is where the elixir advantage of C-McHugh comes into play. He's not casting the same amount of cards or spending the same amount of elixir. He's spending more than you.
Yeah, he is. He's just ahead in elixir, and then Bernstein isn't
There's the Giant.
isn't
There it is.
rotating and cycling fast enough to his Giant.
He's just caught from the
can't-
very
yeah,
first cycle. He's
exactly.
been caught out, and McHugh is doing a good job at not cycling more than he needs to. He wants to keep it at a 4-card cycle, so he keeps putting out the Expo as soon as possible. Because if they waited, they play like 6 cards until the next Expo, then
Yeah.
Bernstein will have the Giant right away.
Yeah, and C-McHugh is constantly getting log damage onto that tower too. Look at it. It's
Look
down
at the
to
elixir bars too.
991.
He's ahead on elixir by
Way
3,
ahead, yeah.
and this is with a big damage.
Oh
so he put
my
that one down.
goodness.
But the damage is actually
He has
kind
the
of even.
Giant though. There we go. It's now the cycle's a little better for Bernstein here.
I actually don't think Bernstein's as out of it as it seems, because that tower on the top left is at triple digits. He's getting through with just like guards and goblins, and the kind of dumbo stuff is getting over there.
Yeah, oh my god, another Expo. Look how fast he's cycling. This deck is cycling so fast to the Expo here. And then the Giant is going to be dropped in time here. But the log...
Spirit will buy a little time. You're right, it's hard to say. He's not getting too much damage on there. It's been a while since the next post connected.
Yeah, it's been a while, and Bernstein is constantly
Another
putting
one
that Giant just in time here.
The Mega Minion's obviously not going to block the Expo. He's really saving the guards and the Giants for when he needs it, trying to cycle as little as
Bernstein
possible.
can't be bleeding Elixir
But
like
yeah,
this.
it's bad to bleed.
You can't bleed Elixir in a double. He's just saving a Giant, but he needs to make a play or...
Yeah, play Night Witch in the
Yeah, or
back then
just
or
poison,
something.
or maybe poison the other side. There we go. Now he's being aggressive. Now CMC has to play defensive here.
Yes.
He has to play defense here.
But Expo decks are so good at playing defensive.
Wow, look
I
at
think
this,
it's a
look
good
at this. A
poison.
Giant is going to... Oh, it's not. The log comes out just in time, and the Giant gets one hit.
Oh, but that's a
that is
brutal hit.
huge.
Yes.
And a Golem comes out, Ice Summon comes out just in time there. And then look at this.
He's going to have another
Is he
Giant.
have
He's
Giant?
already- yeah.
Does he?
Yeah,
He's got
he
it.
does.
There we go. Beautiful play by Bernstein there.
And we are a minute 30 left in the game. We have been in overtime for quite a while, but Bernstein Cat is slowly but surely getting
Oh,
but the Expo locks on.
The Expo locks on the
Expo
tower.
locks on.
That's
This
so
might be it.
unfortunate, and that's going to be GG 2-0.
Yeah, wow, a sweep for McHugh.
Wow. Oh, man, I thought Bernstein Cat had it.
And look, no reaction, no emotional anything
Oh.
of McHugh. He's like, you know, I did what I had to do. I won that game. And you're right, that was, it was such an emotional roller coaster, because at first I was like, wow, this Expo, and he's got so many pumps. He's
Yeah,
gonna
and
get
then
the Expo
Bernstein was
through.
able to get a good
Block,
cycle,
block,
got
block.
Giant right when the Expo dropped, and then that was a good Elixir trade there, and then was able to then drop Giant on left lane and push, and I thought he almost had it.
I genuinely expected Bernstein to win that game, and then McHugh just out of nowhere, suddenly you're like, oh no, the tower's locked on, and this Expo. I mean, it only needs to lock on for a split second,
Right.
and you're in trouble, right? And you're right, he did manage to get him out. I'm not even sure how. Let's take a look at the replay, because maybe we can see it if we slow it down a little bit.
This is the
or
key
maybe,
point here,
yeah.
when the Expo connects to the tower here.
So a Giant does come down. The Mega Minion and the Archer's already on it, so maybe
my
it was just
goodness.
pure damage.
Yeah, look at
And then it locks
the
on and
Archers
gets
and the
there.
Goblins also get down to the tower as well. But the Archers and the Goblins, they literally just eat this Giant alive. I watch it every single
Yeah.
time. I mean, wow. Like, he didn't have log to like counter. He had Zap instead of log, so it's
Yeah.
unfortunate for Bernstein there. But those Goblins really made short work of that Giant.
Yeah, I think it was, and there was really nothing fancy upon rewatching it. It was just in all the past pushes, he would have maybe just one Mega Minion for when the Expo gets played, but that time he had the Archers, Goblins, and Mega Minion, made short work of the Giant, locked on before the cycle could speed up. So that's going to do it for that match. We got our next match is in the studio, Trainer Luis against Music Master. Yes, so Trainer Luis obviously in studio. And Music Master playing from home in New York. Trainer Luis made a nice little trip up here, and we managed to get a little camera time with him, some interviews.
All right.
Let's take a look at Trainer Luis's background video. His interview.
Trainer Luis.
His trash talk.
But that was beautiful play by Trainer Luis there.
My name is Luis Pena. My in-game name is Trainer Luis. The reason why it's Trainer Luis is because I just thought it'd be kind of funny to just name myself after the bots in the game. So originally I was born in Venezuela. Around 4 years old is when I moved to Puerto Rico. In 6th grade, we finally moved to the United States. I would say that living in different places has definitely had an impact in my life. It's definitely made me a more sociable person. Hooray! My mom had breast cancer. I can't tell you a specific memory in which I saw her suffering or in pain because I never saw that. She did such a good job at sort of protecting us from that and just keeping a strong front. My dad and my mom both completely changed my eyes. Even looking back at it retrospectively, they're both warriors. The outlook I have has just completely changed. It's taught me to be a lot happier. It's taught me to appreciate things a lot more, and it's taught me to do the best with what I have.
The Trainer Luis 2-0s gives the fist pump on stage.
If I had to guess what other players think of me, I would say that they think that I'm a pretty strong log bait player, which I like because it casts a shadow over the rest of my decks that I'm good with. It makes me less predictable.
Oh, wow! The rebound!
I have, 15 decks that I'm comfortable with, and if I can help it, I will only use 5 of them because when I face somebody that thinks they have sort of a beat on me, I'm able to switch it up on them and use a different deck.
Could be something new and different. We might see a Mega Knight deck here.
Clash Royale has become an invaluable asset in helping me achieve my dreams. If I won the North American Championship, I definitely used the money to probably pay for my first year at UCLA law school. And once I finally graduate law school, I can get to exactly what I want to do, which is help out people. And when I look back at it, I'll be able to say that it was thanks to Clash Royale, as wild as it sounds, that I was able to sort of achieve everything I wanted to.
Kill shot. And there's Trainer Luis playing on the blue side with the fist pump and the big smile. I always like when players have a great attitude, win, lose, or draw.
Look at that wink.
It's easy to smile when
he's winking at me. I think he's winking at me.
Oh, I'm jealous now.
So Trainer Luis actually, when he last week played against J-Montie, he likes building counter decks. But before we talk about that, let's go into bans here. So Pump is being banned against Music Master here, and then Hog is taken away from Trainer Luis.
Now, I would say that's a targeted ban by Trainer Luis because it hits both Golem and Three Musketeers, Music Master's 2 most popular decks. But truth be told, Trainer Luis has banned that against everybody, I think. It's almost every single person he's banned the Elixir Collector, so it's a very popular ban, at least from him strategically, maybe because it allows him that those 5 decks that he wants to play, taking out some of the uncomfortable matchups.
Yeah, and then if you look at last week, in areas where he lost, it was because of deck matchup. He played Lava Loon, for example, into J-Montie's Expo deck.
Yeah.
Right, and then Expo usually beats Lava Hound for the most part. And I think this is critical because his Music Master are going to use that same Golem, double minions, Battle Ram, 3 Musketeers, crazy high elixir.
Pekbo,
right? Or he's going to play the same decks, and his Trainer Luis is going to counter build against that because I think that's what Trainer Luis is really good at. He can play so many decks we've seen.
Yeah.
Like Log Bay, all types of decks that he can throw, like Lava Hound, etc. So this is a person that wants to counter build his deck against his opponents.
But they did say that they think that he's a spellbait player, so I'd like to think that that's one of the decks that he still has kind of in his holster and can pull it out if the matchup is right. He could play it even with the bans that came in. So
yeah,
let's
see what he's going to do here. And Music Master, he's going to switch things up because that's what made him beat all Craaap last week. He played really off-meta decks, but he's got to change his hand a little bit and switch it up, and I think he will.
The Electro Wizard comes out behind the King Tower to defend against this.
Oh, Expo comes out!
Now you have to expect that against Music Master. He is, like I said,
and a P.E.K.K.A. comes out. Yeah, he is a siege expert.
So P.E.K.K.A. Hog, I assume it's P.E.K.K.A. Hog Rider. Could be Bandit maybe instead of Hog Rider in the deck, but a lot of the
P.E.K.K.A.
P.E.K.K.A.
so
decks
tough for
look
Music
very
Master.
similar.
Look at that! Look at the health on that. On the Electro Wizard and the P.E.K.K.A. But the Swarmy's gonna come out just in time there. And it's going to make short work of
Angry Face comes out because the log came and then the
but now watch the next
play.
play. He's going to do a prediction log, and it's going to kill the Swarmy. And that's going to be clutch for Trainer Luis here.
The minions come down to intercept the Inferno Dragon, make sure we're good. The real trick here for Trainer Luis is how are you going to get that P.E.K.K.A. or the Bandit onto Music Master's tower and get around the Inferno Dragon, whether it's a zap or whether it's...
Ooh, Miner comes out, and the bat's going to put, and then are we going to see an Expo drop here?
I think so.
Yes, there we go. And then P.E.K.K.A will be dropped for... And I like what he's doing here. If you watched last game, he's dropping P.E.K.K.A at the tower, and Bernstein Cat was dropping Giant at the bridge, and it allowed the units to then do damage to the Giant and take them out. You want to basically drop a little more back so that the units will come down towards the tower.
That's not exactly the the Electro Wizard timing that you want, but at the same time, he did get the Expo low. The Expo is going to connect for a couple hundred damage, but it should be above 2,000. Yeah, okay, 2170.
Yeah, wow. And they're about even for the most part. However, the Ice Golem is going to give a little nudge,
just 100 damage
in the way of Music Master. Oh, the Dark Prince!
That was someone we did not expect to see. I did not expect to see
that.
But you know what? Now that I think about it, Music Master has Skeleton Army in his deck, so that Dark Prince does have a good target.
Oh, look at it. He puts it right in the back. Yeah. And the poison just takes it out completely. Wow, beautiful play there by Charon Louise. Look at the amount of damage he gets on that tower with the Miner and the poison. Taking it out 1654.
That was pretty good because a lot of stuff was distracted with the Bandit that came out first. And there's P.E.K.K.A at the river. Let's see if a log comes down. The Skeleton Army should come out pretty shortly.
No Skeleton Army come on time. And
that's right. It's out of cycle.
Yeah, it's out of cycle. And that's why he dropped the P.E.K.K.A at the bridge instead of dropping at the tower the last time.
Great insight. All right, so here comes the Inferno Dragon. He's trying to build up for another push.
Whoa, look at this push. Bandit will come out. Bandit is being pushed up by... Wow, and Log comes out. It's going to take out those goblins. And look at that. The Stormy is going to come out. And the Dark Prince will make sure, however, that Inferno Dragon will take care of the Dark Prince.
I believe Music Master is the first player
will be dropping the bridge. No, the P.E.K.K.A's not dropping the bridge. It's dropped a little too late.
Oh, no. Double Inferno Dragon.
That is so tough. That is so unfortunate for Charon Lewis. He needed to drop that in time, and then that's going to be the game right there. Wow, one mistake. That's so unfortunate.
And that's the nature of the Expo decks. They're so all in. I mean, if you... We mentioned it in the C-McHugh matchup. If that thing locks onto your tower even for a little bit, you are just crippled. You're like, no, not 1,000 damage. It's worse than a balloon, right?
Yeah.
Like the balloon connecting, because it can just do so much damage so quickly. And if it locks on early when it still has a lot of health, that's the whole tower.
But I love what Charon Lewis did, though. He dropped the P.E.K.K.A right at the bridge when he knew the Squarmy was played, and was able to get onto the P.E.K.K.A and counter it. Had a good push there. But these Inferno Dragons, well, they're just...
The one coming especially back. Inferno Dragon is so hard to deal with when it's on defense, when you're attacking, right? Because lightning doesn't kill it. So you have to figure out some way to like tornado it, fireball it, hit it with troops, something. Let's take a look at the replay, actually. Let's take out the double Inferno Dragons burning down this thing. So you see the Inferno Dragon was on the left side, but it was kind of drifting one way. The zap there takes out on the minions and it survives.
Yeah, and the value, it takes care of the Dark Prince, and then look at the Goblins, dropped right in time there.
See you later.
Yeah, see you later. No log to come in time there, and then boom, Expo lock. And look how healthy the Expo is. Yeah, there's nothing Charon Lewis can do at that point.
Fireball comes down to finish it off, and Music Master goes up a game. Again, I think the streak continues, and Music Master has won only with Golem and Expo, but a majority of those wins have been
This is why he's known as the Siege Master.
Yeah, like
he's been playing
it's crazy
so
because it's starting to almost become a telegraphed thing. Like, he's going to play Expo at least one game in a match.
Right.
And I think Trainer Luis did the best he could in the sense that he did bring a deck that had a lot of answers to the Expo, but it just didn't play out in his favor pretty much right from the start.
Yeah, for sure. So let's see if Music Master is going to continue playing these Siege decks and switch it up. I want to see a Mortar come out.
Me too. Like, I like Mortar so much more than Expo as a player and a caster because there's a lot of suspense between those Mortar shots. Like, is it going to fire again? It does fire again, that kind of stuff. I'm much more of a Mortar fan, so I'd say, hey, what about Golem and Mortar?
Golem Mortar?
Nah, I'm making stuff up. Nah, I'm just making them up.
Well, Music Master is known to play a lot of interesting decks, so that could come out. He likes playing really high Elixir decks too, not like the 3.0 average Elixir decks usually.
Trainer Luis is saying, oops, that makes me feel like he had some other answer to that miner you didn't think about.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess.
Oh, Mortar comes out as predicted, and the P.E.K.K.A be dropped, luring the Mortar shots away there. Beautiful play by Trainer Luis.
Maybe it's because he knew there was another Siege deck, so he's sort of like,
oh, look at the Minion Horde coming out here. That's going to just completely eat.
Oh, he's saying good game.
Good game. Does he have arrows? Is something there?
No, wait.
Oh,
no.
Wow, look at the Mortar is able to connect a few shots onto the right tower, taking it down to 1850. Wow, 1557 health already.
It gets one
And
last
another shot.
off.
Oh my goodness. This is what makes Mortar so dang. Once it locks on your tower, you gotta take it out.
Trainer Luis looks despondent, but I want to know what the oops was. Because so I think, I mean, I guess I'm guessing wrong here because it looks like he's playing almost the same deck. Maybe he should have played the P.E.K.K.A. instead of the Electro Wizard to block the Miner. Like, I'm not really sure what the oops was.
But look at
about.
Music Master's deck. It's so I love his decks. It's just not decks like other pro players play. And it's slightly off meta.
A lot of swarms around it. I think he's trying to bait the spells out. You know, if you cast something like a fireball
And look at this.
on the mortar, then he hits you with the minion horde.
Yeah, beautiful Knight play to get the Bandit there, and then it's going to allow the Mortar to hit the tower. Once a P.E.K.K.A. goes too close, the Mortar has to switch range. Oh, he drops some Dark Prince just in time. No, it doesn't. It hits the tower.
Wow.
What? That's so unfortunate for Trainer Lewis.
And there's just nothing for the minion horde.
Yeah.
Like, I think Trainer Luis is just unfortunate because he's got the zap, but I don't know if there's another like spell.
Oh
like a poison or
no!
whatever.
Yeah, that's gonna be the tower
That's
right
the tower
there
for sure.
Yeah, he knew once. That's why he said good game because he knew he didn't have anything to counter Minion Horde. He didn't have
Maybe that was
arrows
it, yeah.
or nothing. That's why. And that's just tough because, again, Music Master with these minions, he just loves Minion Horde in a lot of his decks.
You're right. He plays it in the Golem variant as well. Yeah. Okay, the Miner is coming in. Knight blocks the Bandit to keep that off the tower. The thing is, Trainer Luis has to go all in, and from Music Master's standpoint, he doesn't have to do anything. He can play defensive mortars just like that, and defensive mortars are a pretty tough card to get through because it hits your stuff well before you're ever.
And it does AOE, so if you drop like a Bandit with that P.E.K.K.A., it's gonna hit for maximum value.
So the minion's going to clear that out. 25 seconds left. Kind of a formality at this point. I'm mostly just writing the down.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything Trainer Luis could do. He's going to go for this P.E.K.K.A. Prince push and try to stop those things. Great job with the double zap there.
That was a good play there. Zap with the
seconds.
Electro Wizard, but he's not going to make it, I don't think.
I mean, the Dark Prince actually can charge. I don't want to rule it out yet, but there's enough things you can block and distract with it.
Can he make it?
Too much.
No, he can't. Oh,
Trainer
so
Luis gives
unfortunate.
out an oh god as Music Master
It's
takes
okay,
the
Trainer
2-0
Lewis.
sweep.
It's okay, man.
Well, that's such an odd, like, I don't know what to make of Music Master. What an enigma of a player. Because with that win, he goes up to 3-2. He actually has a winning record now.
Yeah.
In this play, after starting off 1-1, where he kind of, you know, got a win against Craaap, then took a match loss after. I think against no, not against J-Montie, against Wings. I think he took the loss to. And then today he's come in. Two solid match wins, moving up.
Yeah, he's moving right back up there in like Siege deck. That's why Mortar was banned against him, right? So if you ban Mortar, he's probably gonna play Expo.
Yeah.
And you can see how well he played both these decks.
Yeah, and I think this is a good example of like sticking to your strengths. Let's take a look at the replay. Music Master has been playing Siege Mortar decks, I mean, pretty much his entire Clash Royale career, and it pays off because in these little moments, like you just know how the things are gonna work.
Yeah, and this was a key moment there when he was able to connect the Miner and then get the Minion Horde down there because, you know, Trainer Lewis didn't have a direct hard counter against Minion Horde. No arrows, and that's really, really tough. No fireball, no arrows.
I mean, the best he could have done, I don't think he had an Ice Golem in that deck, but sometimes what you see people do is they put the Ice Golem up front.
Ice Golem with Zap.
And people play the like Minion Horde. The Minion Horde kills the Ice Golem, you zap right
Or
after.
Ice Spirit Zap too.
Yeah, but the only combination we saw that worked was the Zap plus Electro Wizard, which besides only working on your side of the board, it's not even a positive elixir trade, it's 6-5, you know, so it's like, it's not easy to do when you're trying to also defend your 7-cost P.E.K.K.A.
Yeah.
I think we might have a heat map from the last game. We can take a look
yeah,
at
we can
some
see
of
how often the mortar was
placements.
dropped on that right side, right next to the bridge. Then when the Music Master got 4 mortar hits onto that tower, that was what got him ahead in that game.
Yeah. Actually, we're gonna skip the stats there. That was a sweep for Music Master. Takes it again. Expo in game 1, Mortar in game 2.
Yep.
The analysis part is gonna be handled by our fan. You know, I like Pineapple Carpet too. But let's go to one half of my favorite, BBXH.
Hey, I'll take the half, and then I'll split it between you guys. You guys are both my favorite casters out there. We are closing in towards the end of our day today with just a few more matches to go. So let's take a look at the leaderboard again and see how these points have been divvied out here closing in on week number 2, because it's been quite some changes here. I mean, we've got Oxalate sitting on the top there, Wings right below, tied with J-Montie. Craaap and Music Master tied. Colton sitting there just even 2-2, and then B-Rad, Luis, C-McHugh, and Bernstein Cat sitting in the red. But like I always say, we're still early in our weeks here, so we could have a lot of movement and still a lot more movement as we close out the day today. But before we do, Carpet, I know you got somebody with you. Who you got?
He's not with me just yet, but he'll be here very soon. I know he's an incredible player, and everyone expected to see him last season, but he couldn't make it. But I've got Colton here with me, so Colton, why don't you come on out? absolutely phenomenal player. I remember that last season when we didn't see him make it through, we were all pretty upset. And he's one of the few players I really hope no one would ever see stand next to me because everyone will see exactly how short I am, even with this advantage. How's it going, man?
Yeah, doing good.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So, all right, let's just, I guess, cover that since I've already mentioned it. Last season, you didn't make it. And I think when we all saw you get to the stage, it was really, really close. How did that feel for you? And what was that, at least moving forward, how did you feel?
Yeah, I had lots of really close finishes, almost made it the first season, but I think it gave me motivation. And then right after, I went to Spain and won Gamer G and won a big tournament there. So that definitely was a confidence boost. And then I was ready to qualify this time, and thankfully I was able to.
Yeah, we'll cover the Gamer G thing very soon, but I wanted to know, after last season, I'm sure you were a little disappointed in yourself. Did your regiment change, or did you just kind of keep on the grind? Did something different happen?
I'd say I took it more seriously because I don't like to say I've never thought I was gonna quit after like big losses. If anything, it's better than when I win because it makes me more determined to be a better player. So it definitely pushed me to play better.
And as far as that, pushing yourself to play better, I do want to cover the Gamer G thing because I think that was probably like the most emotion we've seen come out of almost anybody that's won anything. What did that do for you as a person? Like, how did it feel just to take that crown home?
Yeah, so it was awesome. As soon as I got into the finals, I just told myself I refused to get second again because I had a lot of second place finishes prior to that. So once I got into the finals, I 3-0'd and I was able to sweep it. And my teammates were there, my friends and family were watching, so it was a really emotional thing. It was really awesome.
So here, Rumham and Sweetjay talking about that you seem to be, so far, at least from their opinion, one of the smarter banners. Do you do a lot of research into your opponents and try and make sure that your bans are super worthwhile?
Yeah, absolutely. I look into my opponents, what their past decks were, how I think it'll fit in them with my decks, and yeah, I ban based off that, along with some help of preparing bans. Yeah.
Is there any particular player that you were going against this season? Since this is almost no one recurring from last season, so a lot of what you watched last season probably could just get swept under a rug. Only Oxalate and C-McHugh still here. Is there anyone in particular that you were either excited to see or a little scared to play against?
I'd say I was really happy when Wings qualified, and he's also one of the best players in the world, in my opinion. So I was happy when he qualified, and he's a good player.
All right, and do you think you're ready to take Oxalate down? Do you think you're going to be one of the players that's going to take him out?
Yeah, of course, I'm always ready.
All right, well, Colton, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. You've got, I think, one more match today? Two more matches today. All right, so you have a lot this week.
Yeah.
But seriously, good luck in those, and thanks a lot for coming.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right, well, let's just get right back into it, guys. Let's just get right into the game. Sweetjay and Rumham, you're tied for second.
One of these days, we're going to win the race for favorite cat. We'll see. But that's right. Our next matchup is Colton against J-Montie, perhaps Colton's fiercest opponent so far in the first 2 weeks of the Crown Championship.
He has also Oxalate later on today, too.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for coming into the studio. You're going to get beat down this week. No, I mean, it's probably nice to play some of your toughest matches all in one day, because if you have a good record at the end of it, you can sort of relax and scout your other opponents.
Right.
What I'd like to do if I were in this was I'd like to play the same opponent twice kind of early. Like if I'm Colton, I kind of want to play J-Montie like this week and next week, because then for the remaining weeks, I can just focus on my other opponents. I don't have to constantly scout 9 players every week.
Yeah, and J-Montie is the type of player that he's played Graveyard last week and this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only player that played Graveyard too, I believe. Yeah. So interesting decks that he's playing, and maybe Cannon Card will come out again.
I'd love to see that Cannon Card deck again. Yeah. Win, lose, draw, don't care. Let's play Cannon Card Graveyard.
Oh, both ban the Pekka away.
Yeah, second time's happened today. Now we both are going to get a ban of just 1 card. So
yeah, the other time was the Miner.
You're right. And I wonder what... I mean, I guess they're both just afraid. I mean, Pekka's just the default defensive card. It's so good on defense. It's so hard to get rid of. There's no good answer to it. If your opponent plays a defensive Pekka, you just go, all right, all right, a Pekka's been played. I can't get around that. So I think they both like getting rid of that like kind of rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, but
interesting we saw today is Pekka has lost to Golem, right? Pekka's lost to Expo.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Maybe is Pekka overrated? It's possible.
Maybe she is. Who knows?
It's possible.
So do you think Mega Knight will come out here because Pekka's banned?
Yeah, I think so. J-Montie played it last week, I believe. He played it in at least 1 match. So I think there's definitely an appetite for Mega Knight out there, but I think a lot of players have had a hard time committing to it simply because you just don't know what your opponent's going to play. If your opponent's playing something like Spellbait, the Mega Knight's not going to get there, right? There's just too many distractions.
Expensive.
Yeah. If your opponent's playing Lava Loon and they have Tombstone,
and we saw some Tombstones out there.
We saw a lot of Lava Loon today, too. So, like, the Tombstone counters that. All of the Mega Knights and Minion Hordes and Inferno Dragons counter that. So maybe right now, with everyone playing a lot of air-heavy troops, you just don't want to be caught with Mega Knight as your tank.
and
I don't
a
know.
lot of Ice Golem too. Ice Golem just is so good at distracting the Mega Knight.
Yeah, even Knight. Knight's pretty good at it as well. Just because, I mean, anything with a large amount of hit points for a low cost, you can distract the Knight or the Mega Knight for an extended period of time. So you're right. I think with P.E.K.K.A being out, I think we'll see Hog Rider out of J-Montie because he mentioned that he likes to play
Lightning.
Hog
He
Rider
likes playing
everything.
decks that allow him to play offensive and put pressure on his opponents.
Yeah. So I could see maybe like Mega Knight Hog Rider. We've seen those two paired together. Game 1 is starting right now. Colton in studio in red on top. J-Montie comfortably in bed along the bottom.
Yeah, he's in his former position from last week.
Yeah, he's mixing
switched
it up
a little bit. Yeah.
I don't know if he has the little emote papers this time.
Yeah.
If we're going to see those on the webcam. They both are waiting.
Oh,
All right,
Night
J-Montie-
Witch. So it looks like a beatdown deck potentially here.
Yeah, it's either Golem or Giant at that point. I can't think of any other decks that play Night Witch besides either Giant or Golem.
Yeah, let's see if the Giant or the Golem will come out here. Bandit is dropped in the backside here, and the Giant's going to come out right in front of that Night Witch.
Ooh,
Oh,
arrows comes down. Great arrows. Takes out
yeah,
the bats.
great arrows.
That allows the Mega Minion just to focus on. There's that Mega Knight.
There's the
so
Mega
much.
Knight coming out there. And that's going to be a nice little push here. However, the Mega Man is in front, so it's going to... Wow, the Minion Horde gets dropped here because he used arrow. He has
nice
double...
pull.
He's playing that deck, the Giant with double minions.
Yes.
But Colton has arrows and Tornado.
I mean, Colton, we've mentioned, Colton takes the bans very seriously. I think he does a lot of scouting. I think he probably scouts his opponents more than
Yeah.
any of the other 9 players.
J-Mon's already saying good game because he's like, wow, this guy has arrows and Tornado.
Yeah.
And that's going to be really hard for me to get my minions along with Giant to the tower.
We'll have to ask Colton after the match, but if he predicted that, if he's like, okay, I think my opponent's going to play Giant double minions, what can I bring to beat him? And you brought this deck and you guessed right, that is a huge change.
Oh, Miner comes out, and he doesn't go for the Elixir Collector, actually.
He faked him
which
out,
is
yeah.
nice. Nice
exactly
fake.
what you wanted. You put the Bandit goes by the Elixir Collector, and then it just gets stuck in the
Look at the
poison.
damage to the tower. Takes it on 1301. Wow.
Yeah. Bats think his Bandit's going to charge. Oh, it does not get the charge off so close. All right, J-Montie's got to figure out. He's got a huge Elixir disadvantage right now. I mean, he's down by 4 or 5 Elixir.
Oh,
and his opponent has a pump.
Golem! Wow, that is going to be really... And he has arrows saved for that Minion Horde. And he has a Night Witch behind it, along with a Mega Minion as well. That's going to be really, really tough.
So Colton said he likes to play beatdown decks. He's a beatdown
Yep.
player. I cannot think of a beatier, downier deck than
Yeah.
Golem Mega
my
Knight. I
God.
mean, that is the beatiest,
Jeez,
downiest.
and the arrows will
comes
come out. Boom.
Squish. Hits the bats, too, from the Mega Knight, or for the Night Witch. So a lot
Yeah.
of great follow-ups there.
I mean, from that interview, Colton looked like he was on a mission. He wanted
yeah.
to beat someone up.
What do you say? Not getting second.
He's not getting second.
So J-Montie's saying good game, still putting up a little bit of a fight, but it looks like we might be seeing a 3-crown
Yeah,
shortly as
yeah.
these tanks are just building up. The Night Witch is still going. Colton has 7
Wow.
Elixir, right? He's got plenty of Elixir to keep pushing this
another
issue.
Mega Knight, and arrows will come right here onto the Minion Horde.
And
Look
jumps
at
onto the
yeah,
tower, and a
look
few
at
bats. The bats are not hit by the tower, so they're adding in even more damage. And J-Montie is going to eat a 3-crown loss as Colton goes up 1-0 in the match.
Again, that's what like I said earlier. Colton's just so good at building decks. Like he normally is able to counter his opponents. You know, like that one time he played 3 spells against a log bait from
Yeah.
last week, right? And now this one, he played perfectly into J-Montie's deck.
I think Colton. It's weird because there's like creative deck builders, like people who like literally come up with new archetypes. I think like
Yeah, like-
J-Montie's Cannon Card Graveyard deck is like a
Graveyard,
very
right.
creative deck. But Colton to me seems like the most adaptive deck builder. Like he's willing to take archetypes that sort of exist or kind of exist and change out 2-3 cards to suit his opponent's matchup, and it's paid off for him really, really well. I mean, he's winning more of the matches than he's losing, and when he wins, you can tell that it wasn't just luck or like a random pick deck, but he's like, I'm countering you, and it works.
Yeah, very intentional. So we're going to go to a replay here where he pushes to the tower from the side of Colton, sorry.
So here we go. So the Mega Knight comes in. Yeah, this was the first tower that went down here on the left. And you can tell just like the Mega Minion, the Bandits behind, they're bringing follow-up damage. The tower goes down, and there's so much Elixir left for Colton. He's still ahead in Elixir after taking the tower that it allows him to keep putting down tanks, keep putting down Night Witches, and just
Yeah,
snowball his
he
way to
doesn't
victory.
have like a mini P.E.K.K.A. Or since P.E.K.K.A. is banned, there's nothing like high damage enough to take out that Golem quick enough. And the Mega Knight's also super tanky. So you have 8 Elixir Golem and 7 Elixir Mega Knight coming down your lane.
Yeah.
He didn't have the cards to take him out fast enough, especially with arrows coming down that Minion Horde. It just did quick work and countered J-Montie pretty hard.
Yeah, and even, okay, so let's take a look at the post-match data recap. Not that many cards played by both players because their cards are individually very expensive, so they weren't casting as many of them. And of course, a 3-crown victory ties the game up a little quick.
Yeah, this is going to be feeling great for Colton here because J-Montie has been performing so well last week and this week so far.
Look at Colton's effective rotation, buddy. 19 elixir, which is very doable when you spend 15 on just 2 cards.
Yeah, the win condition played, right? He played, I think, Golem pretty much.
2 golems.
Yeah, 2 golems. Yeah. And made it worth it every push.
Mega Knight's probably a worthwhile win condition. We'll add that to the list.
So,
but yeah, so we're going to go into game 2 here. Obviously, a lot of pressure on J-Montie. He had a 3-0 performance in week 1. If I just watched week 1, I would have been like, oh, J-Montie's going to finish like 15-3 or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's here only 1 game away from a second match loss today, and that shows your fortunes can turn around. Colton's not there yet, but I think he's got to be happy with that game 1 win.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, he activates the crown, the King Tower with their tornado. Very well played there by Colton.
And that's that's if you're ever going to activate a King Tower, doing it on the very first action of the game is great. Now he feels comfortable playing that. If it's a spell bait deck, he's got to rocket it.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Rockets come right in.
Oh, the pump came out! Do you see that 1 elixir came out of the pump right before the rocket hit? That it's not like a huge turnaround. It is just 1 elixir
advantage.
But
right.
got him. Yeah, got to be happy about that.
Yeah, and he's up a good, like, what, 3 elixir right now against J-Montie?
Yep. And if he can use that 1 elixir out of the pump to cycle a little bit faster and get back to another collector before J-Montie can get back
wow, and he knows.
to the rocket,
He
but
knows
he's going for it.
Yeah,
he doesn't need the pump
for it.
anymore.
And there, the Gone Bear comes out.
Arrows! Hits the Ice Spirit and
Ice
the
Spirit,
God. Yeah.
Such
so you need to take
value
the 100
right there.
damage, right?
Plus 1 elixir for him.
So Colton has this Golem push coming along. What can he support it with? J-Montie playing Spellbait is going to have an Inferno Tower. So what does Colton have to counter the Inferno Tower?
Does he have Zap here, potentially? He's got to have
Get
Zap.
arrows and Tornado, but I don't think he's got Zap.
No, no Zap. Ooh, look at his. He's like, darn, my Golem's disappeared.
And this is a bad. I mean, it's going to kind of a tough matchup because if you don't have Zap or Lightning.
Yeah, that's going to be really tough.
Or Minions or Minion Horde, and you've got a Golem and a Mega Knight. Now, the good news is that if you have Golem and Mega Knight together in 1 push, that's enough stuff to just overwhelm the Inferno Tower and knock it down, but good luck against Spellbait getting to build up a 20 elixir push.
Yeah, you think that last card is Mega Knight then, coming out from Colton here?
I think it's the same deck as last time.
Same deck?
I think it's the, card for card, same deck. So we'll see.
All right, Bandit's going to come down the right lane here.
J-Montie, both of his towers have not taken a single point of damage.
Yeah.
All right, so Colton, maybe he goes back to the Elixir Collector plan. I mean, it looks like he's going to try. We're in a minute. We're in double Elixir.
Coming out here. There we go.
You got it. So you can't let him build up those big pushes. He goes ahead and hits the King Tower this time because it's already activated. Right, so they might as well put the damage on there. You never know. Coming in, there's no
Gone Bear comes out. No log. Arrows will come out, though.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to start using
tornadoes.
tornadoes.
The Knight's going to get 1 swing on that tower, taking out 20-23.
Yeah, sometimes you see people use the tornado to pull the Goblin Barrel away from the tower, just let the tower shoot it up. I don't know if he's going to go for that.
I wonder what is Colton's last card. It's got to be.
It's Mega Knight.
Yeah, it's going to be sure.
Yeah, I would bet the other 7 cards that it's a Mega
Oh,
Knight.
yeah, you are. Right on.
It's just such a weird deck. There's no other deck out there that plays arrows and tornado like this. So I was just like, I has to be playing the same deck. I don't know why he would just change Mega Knight out of all the cards.
Oh, the rocket comes out.
Oh, I think he hit the I think he hit a Night Witch that just came out.
Yeah, it hit everything. It hit everything. Wow. Beautiful rocket there from J-Montie.
He does hit the tower with an arrows, but it looks like we're going to see a big counterattack here. Actually, Colton's still ahead in Elixir after all that.
Yeah.
So another Golem's going to come down.
Another Golem's going to come down.
3 rockets are what's needed to take his tower down. It's going to be very hard for J-Montie to cast 3 naked rockets and win the game, right? Because you just get killed on the counter push. So it's really got to come down to like the Goblin Barrels, I think, for the most part, doing that damage.
Yeah, Mega Man's going to come out. The Golem's going to get wrecked. Oh, it's going to put everything in there for the Mega Knight to then jump onto the... Oh, it's going to get the Princess? No, it gets the Goblins, and it gets pulled away by the Inferno Tower. Wow.
And without an Electro Wizard, or, I mean, I guess the Bandit can help too. You kind of want the Golem to tank, and then you need like a Bandit and a Night Witch, or sorry, yeah, Bandit, Night Witch, and the Mega Knight, because all of those things charge and create more Swarm Troops. Just the Inferno Tower alone is making like a +3/+4 positive Elixir trade by trading with tanks.
And then does he have arrows? You know, he used it against the Princess. He's going to actually use Tornado instead. Beautiful tornado there. That was a beautiful tornado.
Stopped Goblin Gang and the Goblin Barrel
in the tracks.
So here comes the Bandit charging in, held off by the Knight. Golem is coming down. I kind of think, I mean, I understand why he doesn't do it, but I almost feel like Colton would have to go like Golem in the very far back to build up the Elixir to do it, but I understand why you don't do that, because then you're really vulnerable to whatever attack comes in.
Yeah, he has nothing to, no Zap, no Lightning, so this is just really tough for the Golem here. And the Inferno Tower is just basically able to do so much damage.
I mean, hey, great Ice Spirit too, holding the Mega Knight in place, so it's getting shot by 2 towers and the Princess.
And then on top of it, he has a Knight to then counter the Mega Knight. And then the Goblin Barrel is getting, looks like I think got 1 hit there from the pull. And he's going to start slowly wheeling away from the right tower there.
Bandit countered by the Knight there. The Knight catches the Bandit and kills it. And now he's got to play a Mega Minion down on that side to get to that Princess.
Yeah, wow. He just used arrows too. He's going to
pull away.
Oof.
But no damage.
Man, these tornadoes, wow, have been right on point, actually.
Shout out to Colton, because for at 1368, that tower's been sitting there for over a minute. Actually, Colton's game plan here seriously might be stay on the same cycle and try to win. Try to go to a draw.
57 seconds left. Are we going to go into a tie?
Like, because Colton, if you have a bad match, just like a ladder. Think of it as like a ladder game. Your options here are lose or draw. Well, you don't want to lose, so do your absolute best to push it to a draw. Yeah. And he still hasn't taken any damage on that tower.
Yeah, so if a draw is going to happen here, right, that means in the next game is tiebreaker game, so whoever has the least amount of tower health left is the one that will lose.
Yeah, if they go to a second draw in the match.
Look at that tornado. I mean, our tornado is just pulling the goblins right, and the
timing's perfect, because sometimes you pull the goblins and they get a stab as they're being pulled towards the side.
They don't get any
timing is
It's impeccable.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Impeccable. 18 seconds left. He just has to defend for 16, 15, 14. Arrows comes down 10-50 on that tower, and 10 seconds left. I think Colton is going to pull off, I don't want to say the impossible, but I think that speaks volumes to his skill as a player that he was able to tie it up. 2 seconds left. Crazy thing is, just there at the end of the match, he was able to get the Mega Knight on the tower.
He finally connected to the tower.
Another 30 seconds, he might have actually been able to win that match in series, but I think he did what he needed to do, which is like, I can't get through this Inferno Tower reasonably. Let's just tie it up. Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to go to game 3 shortly, but just to recap the rules, as you mentioned earlier, this draw is a draw. It's just a draw. Nothing happens.
No one gets anything.
If they go to a second draw in this match, whether it's this game, whether it's game 4, doesn't matter.
Right.
Draw happens again. The lowest single tower health loses. So 1,000, 1,000 against 2,100. The 100 is the loser. That's it. It's not total tower damage or anything like that. It's simply the lowest individual tower left on the board.
So if it gets drawn out like this again, it's better to just focus on one side of the tower and get that one tower down as low as possible.
Yeah.
But I doubt we'll be going into another tie next game because they're going to switch up their decks.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they probably switch decks here. Unless Colton felt like, hey, look, I could have beaten Spellbait. I made some mistakes early and fell behind, and it took me 6 minutes to get back to the point where I could get a Mega Knight to connect to the tower. He could stay on the same deck, but I agree it probably makes more sense to switch, especially because he has a game to give. Like, he can lose a game, and we're still going to a tiebreaker game. Of course, you never want to lose a game, but
yeah.
We saw Surgical Goblin do that against Nem Sensei in the spring finals for Europe. Like, he was down 2 games, and he just started playing kind of weird stuff because he knew that he had a whole match to give.
Yeah.
And they'd play like the tiebreaker match after. So here we go. Game 3, which is effectively really just game 2 of the series, because Colton's up 1-0, and the tie has been used for this match.
All right, let's see if they're going to keep the similar decks here, or they're going to just change it up on each other. Maybe potentially, maybe a hog deck may come out this time around, because J-Montie loves his hog deck.
Yeah.
Loves those aggressive hog decks for sure.
Pump comes out for J-Montie.
Pump.
Could be 3 Musketeers.
Yeah, 3 Muskies.
He could be playing a Golem deck as well. Again, we don't really know J-Montie. He's hard to scout. He's probably the player out of all 10 with the least experience, the least like recorded tournament games that we could go back and reference.
Yeah.
Bandit charges on the Night Witch. Miner comes in behind.
Miner's going to get onto that pump.
Look at this follow-up.
Yeah.
Oh, good Ice Golem to block.
Oh, man. Look at the Ice Golem. But however, is the Bandit going to get a charge? Oh, it doesn't. Another Bandit comes out just to counter in time.
And pretty good. Got out of there with only about 100 damage. Downside for J-Montie, though, lost his Elixir Collector. That Miner did connect for Colton.
Yep. He's going to allow the Bandit to get a charge and an extra hit there on that tower in the top right.
He wants to build up. Colton has the Elixir advantage right now, so he wants to, parlay that into some sort of push, and the only way you can do that is to invest him in the back and let that Elixir build up again. Ice Spirit's going to do nothing. It's just going to jump on the bats. Who cares?
Yep.
Those bats were going to... Oh, no. Good timing.
Giant comes out with the Night Witch, and then minions are coming right behind it.
Now, Ice Golem is down already.
Wow.
The minions are getting cleaned up pretty quickly. The Bandit has nothing in the way. Charges onto that defensive Miner. Defensive Miner is not where you want to be.
This is going to be really tough here. And he takes them out. And Night Witch. And the minions will get hit on that tower. Taking it all the way down to less than 700, 687, 603 health. Wow.
J-Montie gives the head waggle, the shrug and the head waggle. And now
he
a
takes
big
a deep
sigh.
breath. Yeah.
Always emoting IRL. Oh, there's the oops. He did make new ones this season. Yes. We're all happy to see the week 2 J-Montie emotes. Okay, so again, you can pretty much do the exact same thing. Put the Night Witch back and invest behind the King Tower. Now, that's actually a dangerous move here because Colton already had the Night Witch on the tower.
Yes.
To put the Elixir Collector down is really opening up.
Oh, 3 Musketeers come out here.
Is there lightning? Is there fireball?
Oh, the poison. Poison. Okay.
So the Miner takes out the Elixir Collector. It's a 3 for 6 trade. The poison is going to take out all of those Musketeers.
Wow.
So Colton is massively ahead. Look at the Elixir
Oh, and
bars.
he has the minion horde. He's playing the giant beatdown with double minion.
And he just has so much more Elixir than his opponent. I think Colton just has to hold on for 28 more seconds. He's going to win this game.
Yeah,
This
well
match
played.
2-0.
Beautiful giant drop there. 2 basically tank for the bandit charge. And now he just got to play good defense here. And he's in a good spot.
Yes, and we always say that once you take it down, you don't have to play offense. You don't have to play your Giants anymore. You don't have to play your Miners. You can just use all of your better defensive troops and hold on to the victory. And it's easy for Colton because he had about 2,000 health on each tower, so he's going to win this match 2-0 over J-Montie and continue to stay in the upper half
And he
of
blows
the
the
leaderboard.
kiss. Now he's smiling. He's like, yeah, I got to win.
That blown kiss was for
right.
me. I'm calling dibs on that one. You could say the wink was for you, but I get the blown kiss.
I mean, he's 6'9", so you're going to have to like reach up there and, you know.
And I think he might have just grown an inch after that. After that battle, he's 6'10" now. That's it. So Colton takes it 2-0 over J-Montie. J-Montie goes from 3-0 in week 1 to 3-2.
3-2. He's lost twice today.
Yeah.
Both undefeated players are struggling a little bit.
Now, it's not really the end of the world, not even a third of the way through the season, so people can have up weeks, down weeks. It'll all shake out in the end. I think if I'm one of these players, the goal is just to have as many like 1-1 and 2-1 weeks as possible. If you get out of every week with a 500 record, or slightly better than that, you will be in the fall finals at the end.
Exactly.
You just want to avoid as many of these 0-2, 0-3 weeks as possible because those are holes you don't want to dig out of. So let's take a look at the replay from the last game. Colton did win this match 2-0, and he did it from plays like this. So the Bandit's going to charge in, hits that defensive Miner.
Yeah, takes out the Miner here, and then he has to drop a Bandit to counter up with the minions and the Night Witch along with Zap, takes it out, and then look at the amount of damage that tower then takes.
And the Night Witch, as you all know, spawns more bats when it dies. So even though the Night Witch was tanking for a little bit there at the end, when she died, it created even more spawn troops. And the Swarm just, everyone has had a minion horde shred one of their towers. You know how it feels. It's like your tower's at full health, and suddenly you're like, no, 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 no. And it's dead. And that's pretty much what happened to J-Montie there.
Yeah, you can see the stats here. J-Montie actually played more. He spent more Elixir than Colton. However, he wasn't able to get his win condition played with the 3 Musketeers splitting down, going down the lane. And then when he did put them all together to counter a Giant, Colton was able to get a nice poison right on top of them.
Yeah, Colton mixed his deck up. It paid off for him in the end. That Giant double minion deck is super popular, but it seems like it's very powerful in the favorable matchups, and it's very weak when countered. So it's a very high-risk, high-reward
or something. Exactly.
deck. And we saw it right there. Didn't quite work out for him. But great news for Colton. Came to the studio, wins 2 of his matches. He's already won his 2 matches today.
You know, he's got Oxalate.
He is in the 3rd and final match.
Yeah.
We are coming to the penultimate match next, our second to last match, and it's a good one. We have Wings against C-McHugh. So C-McHugh, still, he just came off a match win, right?
Just won against Bursting Cat, so he has some momentum here, but Wings has been looking very strong.
Yeah, Wings, his last matchup was actually near the top of the show against Craaap.
Oh, yeah.
Against Craaap.
Craaap, right.
And so, yeah, Wings takes a loss to Oxalate. Not undefeated anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sure that McHugh would love to get a win over Wings because if when you're at the bottom of the leaderboard, like, hey, dude, don't get me wrong, beating Bernstein Cat, it's good. It's a match win. A match win. It's a match win. But if you're both sitting there at 9 and 10, beating Bernstein Cat doesn't really move you up the leaderboard at all.
Right.
What you need to do is beat those players above you, knock them down. Wings is going to throw away his ban on a Wizard. So Wizard is not a real ban, right? We haven't seen it once in any of the CCGS tournaments in any of the 4 regions. So Wizard might as well not exist for this tournament. So that's a nothing ban. Meanwhile, McHugh's banning 3 Musketeers.
3 Muskies are out of the picture for against Wings here. However, Wings has known to play, a lot of very versatile decks. So I think C-McHugh's gonna try to play Log Bait and see if Wings will also play Log Bait, or is he gonna play maybe Hog into that deck.
Yeah, Wings is a good 3 Musketeer. I mean, I'm don't get me wrong. He's a great, one of the best 3 Musketeer players, but he's not as narrow as I think people think he is. I've seen everyone ban 3 Musketeers against him, and he goes on to win these matches anyway. So it's like he's known as a 3 Musketeers player, but when you ban it, he just goes, all right, I'll play my 2nd through 5th deck, and it'll be fine. and if you ever don't ban 3 Musketeers, get punished, I guess. So C-McHugh sitting at 1-4, 1-3, 1-4. Needs this match win to get closer to 500. Wings desperately needs to keep this win because you don't want to lose 2 matches in the same week and fall further down the leaderboard.
And the crying face comes out, the laugh. And look, he's playing an iPhone 5S. That's a pretty small screen.
That's a good eye that you could pick out
that's gotta be a
iPhones
really
from the
good
back.
iPhone.
I can't pick out iPhones from the front. I don't know how you did that.
Let's see, E-Wiz there, potentially minor E-Wiz type of combo here. Ooh, the
Great
fireball comes out,
Love
beautiful
that fireball.
connection.
When the fireball knocks a unit away, it stuns it for a second, so he was able to knock the Electro Wizard in forward while preventing it from attacking to let Wings' Electro Wizard pull off. That's the kind of mechanical play that we come here for, right? Like, I want to see these sort of crazy plays that pull off stuff like that, because I can't do that. All right,
Yeah, Baby Dragon coming out here. Wow, Cannon card comes out. Wow, this is a very interesting
This is the
deck.
Graveyard deck. This is the one that J-Montie played.
Ooh, P.E.K.K.A and a balloon is dropped on the left lane here. What's the response to the balloon, though? P.E.K.K.A is dragged away from the Escalum and a beautiful Electro Wizard.
That cannon card is not in tower range, too,
Yeah.
so it locks on!
does! Man, look at the amount of damage there. It has so much health, too. It's about 1,400 total health there.
It does so much more than a Musketeer
it does.
if ignored.
And
I mean,
look
it's only
at that.
one more elixir.
Whew. 1626. Taking that tower on 1620, now 1530 with a log.
C-McHugh's last 2 cards are Poison and Graveyard.
Yeah.
It's a lot like a Splash Yard deck, but it uses Cannon card, and then Graveyard is sort of the other big spell it plays when it starts to build up the counterattack.
There we go.
It's so fast.
Yeah, look how fast it moves. That's the first thing I noticed about it. And then is the Graveyard gonna come out here? Wow, look. Yeah, Wing is holding on to Elixir. He's bleeding Elixir here.
I'm not sure what the plan there was, yeah. Okay, so the bats are taken out. If you can take the shield off the cannon card, just the shield. No! Oh, it gets into range. That's not
and
exactly
the Graveyard
what you
comes
want
out
at
and it's gonna
all.
tank all that.
Wow, he says. He tried to knock
yeah.
it back. It didn't work. The Graveyard
That's so
overwhelms the tower. McHugh is going to take, I think he's going to take game 1 at least. When both of your towers are sitting at over 2,000 health, there's less than a minute to go. I think you're in good shape.
Wings does not look happy too. I think he dropped his iPhone
Look
there.
at the face. He closed.
Yeah, he's like
the
closing his
long eye close. The real long, like, collect yourself, Goose Fraba. Like, we're going to make it back, but it's not right now. So C-McHugh gives the thumbs up.
Thumbs up, and he's got this game.
And no emotions on his face, though. Of all the players we've seen on the webcams, the best I can make out of McHugh's face is there's maybe a little smirk when something goes well. Like the corner of his lip turns a tiny bit. We almost have a 3 crown right here. As
Yeah,
another
look at
Graveyard
CMC's
builds up.
face. He's like smirking. He's like, yeah, thanks for the
barely.
win. Thanks
Yeah,
for the win, buddy.
The curled corner lip. That's all he's going to give you. So C-McHugh takes the game. Obviously, Wings has a better record right now, so at least in the standings, you'd say Wings is the better player, but you could never count out McHugh ever in any match against any opponent. And here he is going up 1-0 against Wings, who everyone, from Colton, Trainer Luis, every single person we brought in, all like now top 5 global. He's really good.
Top 5, yeah.
And McHugh just took the first game off him.
Sometimes you're only as good as your last game, and C-McHugh is
What have you won for me lately?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's take a look at a replay from that game. The first tower to go down was because of that dreaded cannon card. Now, if you knock the shield off, it becomes stationary.
Yes,
look how
exactly.
little shield it has left, just a barely tiny bit.
Ooh, but he wanted to push it away, but yeah.
But as soon as it
didn't.
knocked off, I don't think it gets knocked
It
off
doesn't,
if
I don't
the
think.
shield absorbs the knockback. So like, it wasn't going to move even when it get hit. He was just trying to take the shield off before it got into tower range. Didn't work like that. It unfortunately did get into tower range. And at that point, you have bowler level hit points with Musketeer DPS locked onto your tower. And
yeah, and when it's in that building form, it has like that 700 health.
Yeah, and when you use the fireball at the bridge, you're definitely not hitting it on the Graveyard
No,
Skeletons.
not at all.
So here we go. Huge disparity in a lot of these stats because Wings kind of, scooped about halfway through it. C-McHugh, effective rotation of 31. That doesn't, I don't know if that's right. I'm starting to question that one. But the elixir spent disparity is definitely up there because, Wings,
He was holding.
we saw
he was
leak
bleeding
elixir a whole bunch,
yeah.
especially near the end when he was getting 3 crown, he just like quit playing stuff. So.
Yeah, his iPhone dropped on the bed. He's like, oh, he closed his eyes.
Yeah.
He's like,
dropped it out.
man, one play and just like, I'm done.
So Wings C-McHugh, they have 18 matches to play. Wings is already, I think, 3-1, 4-1.
Yep.
No, 3-1.
3-1, I believe.
3-1.
Yep.
And McHugh is 1-3. What do you think their final records are going to be? Like, try to predict. It's hard to say because
At
like
the end of the whole
18,
season here?
18 matches. So out of 18.
Well, I think like he did last season, C-McHugh was going to come back into the game, and just that the fact that he played this deck so well, right? I feel like he's getting back into his groove, and I think he's going to come out with a record where they play 18 matches.
Yeah.
So potentially, like he lost 3 times already. So I would say 5-13. I mean, 13 wins,
13-5.
5
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the tough thing there is that, like, I have a hard time predicting because I don't know what's going to look like. How even is it going to be? In spring season, we did see a lot of 6-1s and 1-6s. Like, across all the regions, there was a spread. But we have twice as big of a sample size in the second one. And I think the play skill across all the regions is much higher. I feel like fall season did a great job at truly finding, like, the 10 best players in every region. I can't think of too many, like, major players who didn't make it, or at least if they didn't make it, it's because they lost to somebody else very good, right? So if you double that from last season, I can imagine people going, 12-4 or 10-4, or I'm sorry, 10-4 or 12-2, plus whatever the extra matches are to fill it out, right? But maybe, right? Like, I'd like to see someone go like 17-1, but from the looks of it, they're so evenly matched that something like 10-6 will be
we thought Wings and J-Montie was like unstoppable from last week, and they're just playing strong. Look at the push here. Wow, Hog connects the tower, gets a few hits, three swings on the 1678.
Wings is so distraught, he's giving himself dreadlocks.
He plays a balloon deck again. And is he going to get to tower? It is.
But if he can zap that Inferno Dragon, that's definitely going to catch the tower.
Oh, he does. Wow. 1 hit.
2 hits?
2. Oh, it doesn't.
Falls
Wow.
just short. I wonder if he could have waited a split second longer on that Inferno Dragon.
Again, it's like the 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, right? And the Hog is going to connect. And a Fireball comes out, but the Hog Rider will get at least 2 hits on that tower, taking it down to 83 hits.
Oh, that hurts.
That's tough.
622 on that bottom right-hand tower. McHugh is playing a variant of some Hog Cycle deck. It doesn't look like the mini P.E.K.K.A. Hog decks that we've seen that have become so popular, but it also doesn't look like the Executioner Tornado variants either.
No, yeah.
This is a custom-built C-McHugh Hog deck.
And what is Wings doesn't have anything to really answer the Hog very strongly here. I mean, he does have a Electro Wizard, but then the Goblins are coming down with that. Oh, the Mega Knight gets dropped in the back here.
So it looks like he's going to build for a big counter push here. The Inferno Dragon comes up, but I think it's locked.
Oh, it's locked
onto the building.
Yes.
It is locked onto the... No, it wasn't
was locked on Ice Golem, actually. Ouch. And it's going to get 2 hits. Oh!
Wow.
Takes
so Wings,
the tower. Wow.
I would have not guessed that Wings takes the first tower, but this looks pretty good here for a counterattack. The Fireball comes down, hits the Electro Wizard, does not hit the mini P.E.K.K.A. though, and the bats are distracting it. Actually, Wings is doing an exceptional job here turning this around. What happened?
Wow.
That was a huge push for McHugh, and it just kind of got stifled.
Yeah, let's see what Wings is going to hear to respond. He doesn't respond, so let the Hog just go free, getting that tower here.
Mini P.E.K.K.A. was out of cycle. I think he just wanted to build back up. Remember, he's a balloon deck, so he really needs like 7-10 elixir to really make any sort of push, because everything he does is at least
the
7
zap comes out for that, but then Inferno Giant will lock onto that balloon.
Now, does it get a drop?
It
does get a drop.
Just 1 drop.
And now the King Tower is lower than the Crown Tower, so he might try to go for a 3 crown and give pay McHugh back.
Yeah, for sure. He's going to continue to push that King Tower. And the Miner comes onto that, and the Fireball comes out. Oh, misses the Hog Rider, and he's going to get 2 hits.
And the Electro Wizard's not hitting the Inferno Dragon, so he heats up and kills it. Oh, wow, and just like that, the tables have turned. So Wings is now, not only did he lose his right side tower, but he has a significant damage disadvantage on the other side.
Yeah, Hog's going to come down again. Electro Wizard's out, though. Is it going to stop the Hog in its track? Oh, it doesn't. 1 hit, 2.
Wow, I have not seen a Hog Rider play this effectively. McHugh might be the most impressive Hog game that I've seen all day here, because multiple times he's got his Hog Riders to hit 3 times against the defender.
Normally when you drop an Elixir Wizard like that, it should stop the Hog and only allow 1 hit on the tower.
Yeah.
But getting 2 hits in is huge.
And he was getting 3 like over and over and over again. The Mega Knight is getting taken on a walk by the Ice Golem. The Mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to turn. Actually, the Mini P.E.K.K.A. is pulling away from the tower now, so this Hog Rider is going to get in.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, that's going to do. Oh, he doesn't get the other hit in though, because there's 2 towers defending it. The Zaps are
wow,
traded.
and that's going to be game.
It locks on, and I think that's going to be it. McHugh with the sweep of Wings. What an
outcome. That is insane.
I mean, I thought it was going to go to a game 3.
Yeah.
I didn't expect a sweep like that. That was not what I was looking forward to. But congratulations, McHugh. 2-0 over Wings. Wings started the day undefeated. Took 2 match losses.
Yeah,
now he's
2 losses
He's
today.
3-2 now, so he's not.
Right.
Him and J-Montie are both sharing that 3-2 record, because he did win. Wings did win 1 match earlier today.
Right.
But 1-2 is not the sort of weekly performance you want when you are in the first, second spot and you want to hold on to those spots. You got to keep getting winning record. Let's take a look at a replay from that game. C-McHugh taking the final tower to seal the game, seal the match. Love how
look at the Electro Wizard drop here. Yeah, an Ice Golem distracting the Mega Knight. But the Electro Wizard needed to stay alive to counter that Hog. And look at the double zaps come out.
What happened was the Electro Wizard the goblins came down. The Electro
Yeah.
Wizard's 2 bolts both hit 2 goblins,
Exactly.
meaning the Inferno Dragon was not reset, and
No,
it burned up
it
the low-health
did.
Electro
Yep.
Wizard instantly,
And that was the
allowing it
key.
to come into the tower. Because, yeah, Electro Wizard never, ever dies to an Inferno Dragon, ever, if he hits it. You
Yeah,
actually get to
he's gotta
reset it
zap
over and
it.
over again. Post-match stats recap, very, very even game. And we saw that, I mean, all the way into overtime. It seemed like a very, very close game until the very end.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see that, you know, what made the difference was CMC connected the Hog to tower more often, got 2 hits usually, even with the Electro Wizard being like kind of the defense against it. And then the Balloons, you know, wasn't able to connect for the second tower.
I wonder if Wings is regretting his Wizard ban, you know? Like,
yeah,
maybe
the
could have
Wizard
banned
ban,
something
yeah,
a little
maybe
more
ban
relevant.
Balloon. Who
Hard
knows?
to say. Well, 12 matches have been completed. We have a 13th match, a final match to go.
And this is a fun match.
It's a fun one. Both are in studio. Colton W83 playing his little brother Oxalate. Just kidding, they're not related. They just look similar. And we actually, Colton was in studio again, lives in San Diego, came up for a little bit. We
Yeah.
got some one-on-one time with Colton to find out a little more about him. So if this is your first time, enjoy meeting Colton Wall.
My name is Colton Wall, and Colton W83 is my in-game username. I'm originally from Gainesville, Texas, and I now live in San Diego and go to school at UCSD. Mainly the things that I'd miss are like driving in my truck on a deserted road. People sometimes drive me crazy, especially being from a small town and not having nearly as many people around. So I go to the beach and I'll just sit there and listen to the waves, very relaxing. Started playing tennis my sophomore year of high school. I did play that very competitively. I ended up being like top 1,000 in my class. I definitely take some of my experiences from that, the mindset of not counting yourself out and just trying your absolute hardest no matter what.
Colton W83.
So my first tournament was King's Cup. I found a rideshare page at UCSD and I gave someone $10 on their way to UCLA to drop me off. And then I got kind of a shady hotel and had to walk 2 or 3 miles in the morning to the event. And then I got there and I just played well. I was a pretty good player. I knew I'd make it decently far, but then I just kept on winning, had a really good day. I got into the zone. So I spent about $100 total on the ride and the hotel to get there, and I made $10,000. So it was a pretty good investment. I enjoy just playing Clash Royale, my game, and I learn and I adapt to new metas. I don't like getting attached to decks because in any like pro game you have to adapt and be on top of your game, so I always just do what I have to do.
We got 333! That is a poison long range right here for Colton!
My greatest moment as a Clash Royale player is definitely Gamer G Masters. I had a lot of second place finishes in my big events before that, so being able to go win first place, sweeping the finals, and then have my entire team there to support me was a really good moment for me. I've always been like a top player, but as any pro player would say, you strive to be #1, so being able to prove that would be awesome.
Sweet J, fun fact about these 2 players, 2 of the only adult men that I've seen cry in person. True story. So I was here, I was watching Gamer G Masters live, and I remember when Colton won, I was so like happy for me.
Yeah.
I'd been there, I was at the King's Cup. I remember his series of 2nd and 3rd place finishes.
Yep.
Can be very demoralizing to not have that cup of your own. So when he won Gamer G Masters, you know, a bit of an emotional breakdown, but I couldn't have been happier to watch. And of course, for the spring finals,
Yeah,
Oxalate
Oxalate.
won,
Yep.
and I know that he just put in so much effort to win that, and he had a little wet eyes as well when he won, and who could blame him? I'd cry too.
Yeah, for sure. And their arrows is banned away, and then the minor is taken by away by Colton here.
Oxalate's banned arrows a few times this tournament, so I think it's one of those things where if he doesn't know exactly what to ban against his opponent, that's just sort of a default ban that I think plays well into his deck lineup. Colton, yeah, taking out the minor, definitely one of the most popular cards for pro players.
Yeah,
they
the
think it
control
helps them
minor,
outplay
poison,
people.
etc. With arrows being out the picture, though, now you have to kind of put, you know, fireball potentially in your deck in case they run the double minion beatdown deck with giant, etc. That could be something that potentially Oxalate could pull out. You know, so let's see.
I mean, I like the idea of the P.E.K.K.A. Battle Ram, P.E.K.K.A. Hog, P.E.K.K.A. Bandit, whatever. We're seeing every pro seems to have their own preference on like the P.E.K.K.A. shell and what they're going to do with it. And it wouldn't surprise me to see a P.E.K.K.A. mirror match in this game. But here they are. 2:52 on the clock. We're
he's
just getting
talking
started.
to them.
Yeah, they're definitely jabber-jawing against each other even before the game got started.
Similar hairstyles here, both of them as well, you know.
They're related.
Oh,
Actually,
Bandit dropped right at the bridge here.
Colton looks like Oxalate with the wings out. All right, that's ears. It's ear joke. See? It's like an Oxalate. You put the wings up.
Okay.
That's cool.
I know.
All right, back into the game. Back into the game. Here we go. Looks
Oh,
like
Hog with Executioner here is
and
going to be dropped.
I'll bet there's a lightning in this deck as well. It looks like the Hog Lightning Tornado Executioner deck that we saw to B-Rad some other players today. Meanwhile, Oxalate looks like he's playing Giant Beatdown.
Yeah,
or it could
Giant
be Golem.
Beatdown with double minions potentially here.
Could be Golem as well.
Yeah, could be Golem,
Haven't
but
seen
I
a
think he
pump.
may be running double minions, but that's going to be really tough into an Executioner. He's got to maybe distract the Executioner and try to get his minions through. There's the pump coming out.
Man, they are like actual trash talking each other during that. You can see them kind of laughing at each other and giving each other crap. I like it. This is the sort of camaraderie that we see in Latin America. Have you ever watched the Latin American Crown
the
Championship?
sombrero hat.
Well, Latin America has so much fun, and
that
I'm
was
glad
hilarious.
to see Colton and Oxalate here having a blast. All right, Bandit's going to charge in on that Knight. Knight, though, so much hit points, definitely gets several swings on the Bandit. The Bandit will threaten that tower, though. Something's going to have to come in the way for Colton block.
There we go.
That'll
the lava
do.
will come out.
Oh, he screams value.
Yeah.
As he knows he gets the Ice Spirit and the Bandit, taking out 4 elixir worth of troops for only a 2-cost log. The low cost of a log.
Yeah, let's see if Oxalate's going to play. He's going to pump up here. He's got to counter this Hog on the right. Yeah, there we go. Elixir River comes out. It's going to get 1 hit. Oh, yep, just 1 hit.
18-18 on that bottom right tower for Oxalate.
Colton is literally he's having fun right now.
He
isn't as focused as he was before.
It's easy to have fun when your defense is
the
this
tornado
good.
activates the King Tower. Nice.
There it is. Actually, almost didn't, but the 2 bats that came out at the end did
he's like,
the
thanks.
final word. Lightning comes down again. So Oxalate, from the looks of it, I think it's a Golem deck.
Yeah, it looks like a
it has
Golem
the
deck.
Pump. It doesn't look like a 3 Musketeers deck. It could be like a bridge spam sort of P.E.K.K.A deck. I'm not really sure. Those last 2 cards could make all the difference. Doesn't seem like it's a P.E.K.K.A deck, though. We've seen a P.E.K.K.A deck.
Yeah. Oh, the Hog Rider gets 1 hit. Nice connection there. Taking that tower down to 1458.
Bit of a split push here. Night Witch on her own can deal damage. Minions on their own can deal damage. So
there we go. The Golem comes on the right side.
Great job by Oxalate getting it down.
Bleeding a little bit of elixir, though.
And he didn't get punished for it. The Hog Rider didn't come in. And he's on the same side as the Hog Rider. So if Colton's coming in here with this Hog Rider, has to go onto like the higher damage side, the strong
beautiful
side.
placement for the Bandit. Getting a charge off that Hog, and then the Zap just takes care of it. Great
If that
Zap.
Hog had a little bit more health and survived the Zap, that would have been big time trouble for Oxalate.
Oh, this is a huge push for Oxalate right now.
Ooh,
and the lightning comes out. Yeah, he needs to get rid of the extra Electro Wizard.
That Bandit looks like she's going to lock onto the tower, though.
Oof.
And anything block her? Oh, she's going to jump to the Hog on the other
wow.
side.
Look at that placement there.
Great
Beautiful.
pull.
But it's going to take care of that Hog.
And looks like the Tornado, I mean, we see this so much with Golem. It's so hard to keep the Golem off the tower because even if you deal a lot of damage
the
to it,
death damage.
the death damage.
Yeah, from even the Golemite death damage adds up.
So we're in overtime now. I think the best chance for Colton has to win this because he's got to go in all
yeah,
in the Hog
he's
Rider.
got to go all in on
don't
left
even defend
lane.
this
Yeah,
thing.
don't even defend it.
You're
Just
not
put all
gonna
your
defend
elixir. Gets 1 hit.
Lightning,
Oh,
lightning. 2, 3. And now he needs to get back to a lightning, but that Electro Wizard is locked onto the tower.
He's got to go for the.
Great
Can he go for the left tower?
Get
No,
Tornado
he
to buy a
can't.
little bit of time.
Wow.
But again, the buying time may not be enough.
And that's going to be game here.
And I think so. One big old lurchy punch from the. Oh no! Psychic gets pulled back. And the Zap will do it. 64 health on that tower is exactly enough for the Zap to finish it off. And game 1 goes to Oxalate in this match. Oxalate has looked on every bit of the defending champion
Man,
today.
he's back in full form.
Yeah, it took. I mean, I can't even say that he had a bad week 1 because he went 2-1. So I was like, fine, right? You know what I mean? Better than his first week in spring season. So, but today he has just looked like an absolute juggernaut, racking up match wins against some of the most competitive players in North America. And now he finds himself up by 1 game against Colton. Colton, though, very adaptable. Said it in his own video. Like he really values being adaptive as a pro player. So I'd like to see how he changes it up for game 2. But before we get to that, let's get a replay from game 1, and let's take a look at this. So here was
this
the tower
is the final
getting really
push
low.
here.
Yeah, tower going down here.
Yep, even a tornado can't save him at this point here.
And I think that was a great. I mean, that's you do what you got to do. You try to pull it away as much as possible. But once it gets that low, just any spell. There's too many spells in the game that can finish you off, and that's going to do it.
So people gotta watch out
take
for this. Oxalate's been playing a lot of Golem today.
Yes.
I mean, and he's been very successful with these Golem there. He's gonna shoot the Golem win rate all the way up here after week 2 is done.
But you're right that you can only get away with that 1 week at a time. Because next week we might see Night Witch bans, Golem bans.
Exactly.
Too late for Colton to change his ban. Right? You're stuck with the ban for this match. But we'll see what happens here in game 2. Post-match recap from game number 1 went deep into overtime. You can tell because look at all that elixir spent.
Yeah, and you can see Colton actually did hold on and bleed some elixir there. However, Oxalate was able to get some solid pushes with the Golem.
I think that elixir lead was actually just from the pumps. He had a few pumps that were successful, but good job by Colton for staying close in elixir.
Yeah, because he also lightning the pump every time, I believe.
Right, and that's one elixir for the
one
pump
elixir,
player.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a little bit ahead there. Oxalate fist raise looks very comfortable on stage. We mentioned he's been in the studio so many times by now. This is his second home. He practically lives here.
Yeah, and I think Oxalate only had lost to Craaap, right, last week?
Yeah.
That was his only loss.
Well, he lost earlier today, I thought, as well, right? Did he win all 3 matches today?
I believe he won all 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's won his. Oh, sorry, yeah,
He won all 3.
This is his third match of the day.
So he'll be top of the leaderboard.
Yes,
he
so
literally
he's
has
currently
one
top
loss.
of the leaderboard. And if he wins this, he'll move to 5-1. You're right.
That's amazing.
Wow, so 2-1 week
Looking
1.
pretty good.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. He hasn't beaten Colton yet, buddy. Colton's got 2 games to tie this back up.
But he's looking pretty strong.
Our last game, or maybe last 2 games of the day. So I'm rooting for a game 3. I want Colton to win this one, tie it up. Let's go to a game 3 for the final match of week 2 CCGS North America.
Yeah, let's see if Oxalate's going to keep the same deck, because the last matchup he played Golem twice in game 1 and in game 2 as well.
Minions are split going either direction. Okay, we have a Knight in the back.
Pump. Looks like this a similar deck, I believe.
It's hard to say just from the pump. You're right.
Beatdown.
Could be 3 Musketeers.
Yeah, it could be 3
Could be the fast cycle 3 Musketeers that run minions instead of minion horde.
Wow, beautiful Ice Spirit. That's
I
going to
think
shut the
same
Hog
deck.
down completely. Yeah, I think so too.
One
It doesn't. Barely made the swing. Almost got it.
Oh, no!
Oh no!
Was that just a cycle? What am I
I'm
missing
not
here?
sure.
I mean, actually, I know what he was trying to do. He's trying to pull the Electro Wizard towards the center,
Right,
where
and a King
the
Tower.
forked bolt will hit the King Tower. So it wasn't like just a wasted card, but he clearly missed. That's not good. Okay, so you got the Knight. Hog Rider coming in. The Ice Spirit's going to freeze him in place. Tornado pulls him farther away.
Wow, but
I like that offensive Tornado, using it to get the minions away from the Hog Rider so we can get a swing
yeah,
on
but
the
look
tower.
at Oxalate's going to get so much elixir advantage now.
He's pumping up.
He's pumping up, and that's going to be huge. Oh, he decides to lightning the King Tower and the pump. That's a beautiful play by Colton there.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think like, oh, well, activating the King Tower is a bad thing, don't ever do it. But at the same time, he just took like 10 elixir pumps off of those 2 collectors.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're playing something like Hog Rider and you think your opponent's already, like you're only going to take 1 tower before the end of the game, it might be all right.
Colton's going to play defense here instead of rushing the Hog on the left lane. And let's see how he's going to be a defense.
Executioner Tornado, yeah.
Wow,
he
they're
had
playing the same
Tornado
decks.
already.
They didn't change up their decks, barely.
Which is crazy because I don't think that Colton's deck has a good matchup. Maybe he thought Oxalate was going to switch, but
yeah, that's what I think too.
I could be wrong though. So here it comes. Bandits coming in and charge on some of those goblins as the Knight comes in
the
to block the
Golem
bandit.
connects to the target, gets 1 hit.
So tough.
And then that Tornado comes out.
And yeah, once that Tornado hits the Night Witch, it's just, ugh. I mean, remember when Night Witch was just completely overpowered, was the strongest card in the entire metagame. People still ran Executioner because that was the best card for countering.
Yeah, it was.
We'll see a Hog Rider jump across the river here. Yes, we
Hog
will.
Rider will come with double Executioner
Wow,
supporting.
and the Ice Spirit goes down and gets killed by the double Executioner. And the Night Witch is right after. Hog Rider connects for 2 swings. A Lightning cleans those out, and the 1 elixir. Oh no, neither of the Executioners connect. That was a great opportunity there for Colton to push damage onto that tower.
Yeah.
Got very close. Did about half the tower damage. Actually,
Not bad, yeah.
They're
Not
tied
bad
up here
push
on the
though.
right
They're
lane.
tied up, yep.
The only
It's a
downside
battle
I
for the right
see
lane now.
is the fact that I think Golem is still probably better in double elixir time, but I think he did a great job holding that.
Yeah, and Executioner just takes forever to kill this Golem.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of damage. Just up there with Bowler, just like it's splash damage, but it's not a lot of damage. But I think he's doing a great job holding up.
Yeah, he's got a nice push here now with the Executioner
that Bandit's not going anywhere.
And a Knight still alive here.
So Golem comes down. We might see a Hog Rider now simply because a lot of the
There
elixir's
we
tied
go.
up in
Yes,
the
it
Golem.
is.
Only so much he can play. He's got the Electro Wizard. He's going to pull it all together, and the Log will take out, I think, oh no, the Electro Wizard survived. And now this push is looking really bad. Those
Oh,
things
he
did
used
survive.
his Tornado though this side. He doesn't have a Tornado.
He's got to cycle back to it,
He's got to
though.
cycle back to it in like 3 more card plays. 2,
3,
yep,
4, Tornado.
Oh,
Wow.
just in time.
And it didn't
there.
blow up on the
Wow.
tower.
Yeah, that's huge for Colton there.
I think Colton is doing, I mean, maybe
still-
he made a really smart decision keeping on this deck, because it seems like now that he knows what Oxalate's playing, knows what the
Right.
cards in his deck, he can prepare cycles that counter it right away. Once again, Oxalate has to go low,
Oh, beautiful Ice Spirit there.
And is
Lightning
Hogwarts gonna
comes,
connect
ooh,
once?
gets one hit.
but it's getting closer and closer. I
Yeah.
mean, as long as these golems are not hitting, notice that there's no big spell
Oh.
in Oxalate's deck. It's just a zap deck, right? He's trying to get him with the golem.
This is going to be, he's got to pull that
Uh-oh.
tornado right there. Nice.
And but the Executioner goes down.
Yeah, it goes
and
down,
the Night Witch is
and
still
that's,
around.
the defense
It's
is
gonna
down,
connect.
and that's going to be game.
And it's a sweep for the defending champion, Oxalate, 2-0s over Colton.
Wow.
And there he is, looking confident on stage. A 3-0 performance on the day. 3 players, 3 losses as Oxalate is clearing out the field of competitors. That's going to do it. That's our 13th match. We still got a little more to go. We'll
And
go through the
Oxalate
replays
beat
and all
Wings, he beat Colton.
that. Beat Craaap.
Yeah, he beat all these top players. He's looking like the contender now to beat.
When you combine with the 2 wins he got last week as well, he's already defeated half of the field, more than half the
Yeah.
field, because only 9 challengers, right? And now, of course, it's double round robin. But here's the interesting thing for Oxalate moving forward. If he can start completing the round robin sweeps of a player, like he defeated Colton, right? If he defeats Colton the next time they play in week 3, 4, 5, whatever, he can start closing out these sweeps against other players, being like, nope, swept you, nope, swept you. None of these players are coming for my number 1 spot. Right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the replay. Our final replay of the day from our final match of the day.
Yeah, this is where
Here
the
it is.
Executioner gets killed by Electro
Yeah.
Wizard. Boom, just like that. Night Witch is
hurt.
alive, goes straight to the tower, and that's going to be game.
If that Executioner had gotten off one more swing, I think the tower might have still gone down, but he would have cracked the golem before it broke
Yeah.
the tower, probably would have killed the Night Witch as well. I think he might have been able to hold off with if that Executioner got one more swing. But nope, Executioner gets Electro Wizarded, and he's done.
And look at how much Elixir he's ahead there. He's able to get 2 pumps on that one occasion, and that just puts Oxalate in a lead, and just that much Elixir on the map with Golem, Night Witch, Electro Wizard, all that Elixir on one side, just too much of a push for Colton to handle.
And the Lightnings, as you mentioned, they get 1 pump out of, like if you
Yeah,
lightning
1
a pump,
pump,
they
yep.
get 1 extra elixir. So it's actually a -1 elixir trade. You get the damage, so the damage is good for
Right.
1 elixir, but it just doesn't stop the snowballing as much as you'd want it to, right? Like you want
Yeah.
to stop them from getting 2 to 3 pumps out, and Lightning just doesn't always do that. Sweet
What a
Harris.
day.
What a day.
What a day.
13 matches, a lot of sweeps, some excellent game 3s. The leaderboard is different than what it was at the start of the day by
2
sure.
missed rockets.
2? Oh my God, how many missed rockets? Chief Pat is off the hook for now. That's going to do it from the caster's booth. I'm Rumham, Sweet Generis. We'll see you next Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Until then, take it away.
Rumham, what a genius. He knows that, I guess some points, the leaderboard should look different after 13 more matches. But either way, incredible. Oxalate going undefeated, trying to take that number 1 spot, and he has as well. We saw another cannon card graveyard deck.
Yeah, I'm sure that made you happy.
I'm a big fan. Bring me the weird stuff. Bring me the weird decks. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan. But 13 more points have been distributed now. That's 26 points total, 26 series. These players are giving it their all, and there he is. Oxalate, your reigning North American champion, not just in first, but in first by 2 games. He's got 2 matches over Wings. He's only got a single loss. We're going to see Craaap, J-Montie, Music Master, and Colton there in the middle in the blue. But remember, so much more for these teams to play. Berenstain Cat couldn't get a win under his belt, and C-McHugh was able to get 2 this week, even though he got a loss starting off the day, so he was able to bounce back. A lot of points given out so far. An incredible day.
It really was. I mean, what a shift in the points. It's pretty amazing to see. And make sure that you guys tune into our other broadcasts. We've got Europe, Latin America, China, Japan, Korea, and the rest of the world. And like Rumham said, we'll be here again next week on Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.
And don't forget to follow us on social media as well. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, everything. At Clash Royale, it's the same. All wide, just Google it. I'm sure you can figure it out. But that's going to be it for the day. Thank you so much for tuning in. From myself, Final Carpet, and from the lovely BBXH, and from the 2 in the booth, they already gave us their exit, so I'm not going to give them any more credit. But thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.